You can go live now. Is the camera still rolling? All right.
Live.
We are now live.
Here we go.
Gonna start the show in about a minute or so just to make sure everything is working properly.
Let's go.
The camera's recording. Can you guys hear us in the chat? Let us know.
Shut.
Yo, yeah.
They can hear us. Okay.
Let's go.
Let's get going. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with Trevor Brown, Velez, and Joe Dehls. And this is now episode 235. In this episode, we're going to debate whether or not the Bengals are Super Bowl contenders, draft rookie wide receivers, talk about the Dolphins and Niners game, Jimmy Garoppolo's injury, Baker Mayfield to the Rams, retweets, preview Tua versus Herbert, and more. First live stream in a very long time. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now. We really appreciate it. Before we get started on the jam-packed episode, how was everybody's weekend?
So far, so good, man. It was my first weekend free of any nursing responsibility. First time in a long time, so I've been enjoying it as much as I can.
Oh, the weekend definitely just passed.
Uh-huh. Wow. We went out.
We definitely
went out to D&B.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
Thanks. That was a blast.
Yeah, I thought today was like Thursday or something.
Now today's Tuesday, man.
It's Tuesday.
Liven the hell up.
It's that night shift that's getting to you.
Already, right?
Night shifts are horrible.
Oh, yeah? You
bro.
started working nights?
Yeah. I only worked because it was giving me $3 extra. So I said I'll do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of working nights.
I was in that shit watching the game because there was nothing to do at like 3:30.
What, the Warriors one?
I was rewatching it, yeah.
Andrew Nemhard violated your boy.
Yeah.
Curry looked cooked yesterday. Not cooked, but he just had a bad game.
In this past
He airballed
draft,
twice.
OD.
in this past draft, who were the point guards? I believe Andrew Nemhard was the best point guard in the draft, right?
Was it Ty Washington's another one?
It was Dyson.
And Dyson. Facts.
Dyson, Ty.
Ty was 2.
Nemhard was a sleeper, though. He was the guy that is the most pro-ready out of everybody.
Are you stealing my tweet?
I guess Jaden
Andrew Nemhard was my guy,
I was
too.
going to say, I guess
You literally stole bar for bar my tweet just
Said
now.
bar for bar.
Jaden Ivey's listed as a 1, but he really is a 2, right?
He was a 2 coming out.
I thought so.
Look, honestly, Riv, I can't help that we have a similar eye for talent.
Okay.
The Benedict Mathurin tweet had me cracking up. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I forgot I said that
Y'all
shit.
haven't seen our text messages. I texted him about Ben Mathurin a while ago.
He did. He also put Johnny Davis very high. He
I
doesn't
did.
tell people that.
I was high on
It's
Johnny.
so insane that Johnny Davis gets no burn.
He isn't good.
I understand that, but
He can
it's
probably
crazy.
get better,
He got
though.
He's
drafted
not getting
dumb
opportunity
early.
either, though.
What do you get drafted 9th?
We knew that, though. I mean, going to Washington.
Especially when they brought
But in
Bradley Beal back.
Not preseason.
Summer League, he wasn't
was
good.
fucking bad.
Nah, he wasn't good in Summer League. There's no doubt.
Your boy Shaden wasn't that great in summer league. Did he even play?
Like
Played
7
one game.
minutes.
Yeah,
got
1.
hurt.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shaden. He's really
He's
good.
been doing his thing.
So
There's
my
minutes he
weekend
plays.
was very good. Football was amazing this Sunday.
Dude, fuck you.
You know, I was
Football was
watching the game
amazing.
with Dehls. Listen, tough loss, man. 7-6 is it now for the Jets?
Damn, we jumped to 145.
Are we 7-6?
I thought you guys are 7-4. Is that crazy?
7-5 maybe?
7-5. I think
The
it's 7-5.
Giants and
Tough.
Washington
Tough
tied.
loss, bro. Tough loss.
No, you guys should have been there because Joel, as we were talking before the show, was elated when Mike White threw the game-sealing interception that lost the Jets the game. He was not happy,
7-5.
even though, last week he texted me and said, you know what, Dehls? I'm not a Zach Wilson guy. I'm a New York Jets guy. And he completely, to his credit, to his nickname,
Shout out
flipped
to
aside.
Santos.
And now you're a Zach Wilson guy, not a Jets guy. That's a terrible hill to die on.
I'm not dying on the Zach
No,
Wilson.
you
hill.
are. You're
No, I'm
dying.
not.
You're in a coffin on this
The
hill.
fan base, the Jets fan base, the lack of compassion for this young man has disappointed me. And the way Jets fans reacted to Zach and how everybody suddenly turned on him. This isn't a scenario where guys are supporting Zach. At least, hopefully he gets back. Hopefully son goes right. Y'all are just wishing he's just done.
No,
and that
that's
to
just
me,
not true.
I
Who's
don't like
preying
that.
on Zach's
There's
downfall?
literally nobody.
And you know
Nobody.
what?
Who's preying
And
on his
you know- and
downfall?
you know what?
Nobody's praying. He's
Answer that
He's
question.
making things up in his mind.
People
He's a
are
madman.
dumping Zach Wilson right now.
Rightfully so, though.
Exactly. That's what they're doing.
Are
They're
people
dumping
saying,
him.
I hope Zach Wilson never comes back and is never an NFL quarterback again? Nobody's saying that.
They're basically saying Mike White's the guy moving forward, though.
Aren't you saying that, though?
No, I think Zach should have finished the season.
But you're telling me
You
that
told me
Mike
Zach
White's
Wilson is trash.
Mike
That
White
was the
is
attitude.
Mike White is better. I think Mike White is better than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson hasn't been good this year, but I would have given Zach the chance to finish out the season, and that's all I've been saying. And listen, man, I told myself when the Jets drafted Zach Wilson that if we miss on another quarterback, I am done with the Jets. I see Chiefs fans have not accepted me. All right, that's cool.
why would they?
You're
Well,
not
guess
being
what?
Accepted.
Bengals fans love me.
Bengals fine.
And
You
if
can
I
take it.
want to
You
go
can
to the
take it.
Bengals, I could go to the Bengals anytime I want. And although you guys don't acknowledge my Patrick Mahomes fandom, Riv here does. You know what? I don't even have to use Mahomes. I can use Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's the best quarterback at this table between all of our fandoms of quarterbacks.
Between Mr. MVP,
Yes.
Mr.
Over
MVP,
Jalen Hurts.
Can't really hold on, move this. The green fellas. Look at that sexy quarterback. Sorry, my
He's
bad.
actually very handsome.
He's very good looking.
He's handsome.
Very good looking.
Joe Burrow is too.
He's
Nah, don't even play that.
he's swaggy.
They actually, you know they did a quarterback swap, like they made them into women, and Joe Burrow was by far the
I
best.
can't
looking one.
believe he really just.
That's insane of you to
That was actually nuts. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nah, you didn't see that.
No, I saw it as hell. And you're not wrong.
Joe Burrow was the best looking one.
You're not wrong.
Yo,
Oh.
the two of you need mental help. I'm crying.
Burrow was swaggy. I give him that. He's very
Yeah,
swaggy.
Joe Burrow.
Cartier glasses.
Swaggy guy.
Jordan Love to the Jets.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. Jordan Love's going to be a phenomenal quarterback.
Maybe.
He's going to be a phenomenal quarterback. So, Boom Fantasy slips. Before we start the first segment of the show, we're going to each give our Boom Fantasy slips. Now, these games are going on tonight. They're going to go on in 30 minutes, the Lakers and Cavs game. So, Riv, I'm going to start with you. What's your Boom Fantasy slip for tonight? And you guys can use these picks with our link for Boom Fantasy in the pinned comment.
Thank you. Shout out to Boom Fantasy. Today I got an NBA slate. I picked the Dallas and the Nuggets game for this one. $20 makes you $200. I got Luka Doncic over 8 rebounds. I got Dorian Finney-Smith to hit 2 3-pointers today. I have Nikola Jokic over a block. I just need him to get 1. And then I got Aaron Gordon over 6.5 rebounds.
Okay, I like that.
I think Luka might be the one to mess that up.
Think so? 8
Or
rebounds?
Finney-Smith.
It'll probably be Finney.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be Finney because he's been dog shit.
John, is AD playing? Is that why you texted me that he's ass?
No, Davis.
Oh, Johnny Davis. I almost had a stroke, actually.
Shout out to John. He's here. Indeed.
Facts,
John, the
absolutely.
GOAT.
So, thank you. He needed that for sure. All right, so for my slip, I have Anthony Davis over 24.5. You know what he's been doing over his last 9, averaging over 34 points a game. This guy's just been on a different level. It does not matter that Jared Allen's coming back. It does not matter how great Evan Mobley is on defense. Anthony Davis is going to have his way.
Interesting.
I have Darius Garland over 19.5. These are the favorites, by the way. I like to play it safe. I do my favorites and then I do my long shots. You know, I take a little safer gamble, but then I take a pretty significant gamble. I didn't love the long shots today, though, so I'm sticking with the favorites. I have Darius Garland over 19.5. The defense in our backcourt is not horrible, but it's not the best, especially when it comes to defending a guy like Darius Garland, so I feel like 20 points should be fine. Tyler Hero has been a menace passing the ball of recently. He's had multiple, let me say 2 since returning from injury, 10 assists plus, and of recent he's been averaging a little bit more than 5.5 assists, so I'm going with Tyler Hero over 3.5 assists against Detroit. And lastly, Luka Doncic. Just take his over on points, it seems like, every night. Over 29.5 against Denver, whose defense is not the best by any means.
I'll give my slip. Now, I'm going with matchups. You guys know I love matchups.
Matchups are lit.
I just like that better because betting over-unders is cool, but matchups, when I get to pick one player versus another player, it just makes it, for me, a little bit more exciting. So this matchup I have, it's $20 entry for a $120 payout. Anthony Davis most points versus Darius Garland. Darius Garland has a +1 cushion. Based off of how Anthony Davis has been playing, this should be a lock. I'm expecting this to be a lock. I'm a bit worried, though, because Jared Allen is back. Evan Mobley's playing. That's going to be tough for AD. If he goes off against them versus them two.
Don't you know who he is? You know who he is.
If he goes off against them, then that's going to be a fantastic performance.
MVP campaign's really going to be in motion?
It is, definitely. I think it's already it is in motion.
It is in motion.
Next matchup is Tyler Hero, most points versus Bam Adebayo. He's been on a scoring tear.
He has.
Granted, Bam Adebayo has been scoring the ball pretty well, but the last couple of games, not as well as Tyler Hero. I think Tyler Hero does it against the Detroit Pistons guards. And then the last matchup is Nikola Jokic, most points, rebounds, and assists versus Luka Doncic.
Tough. Okay.
Yeah, I think
That's bold.
I think it is bold, but I look at the Nuggets, KCP, Aaron Gordon. They can switch defenders on Luka, and I don't trust any big man on Dallas to contain Jokic.
And what's the line? Is it just even?
It's just even.
Okay.
It's actually Jokic +4.
All right, that's a little safer. Yeah. But Luka's just a triple-double machine.
No, I know.
It's going to give 30.
If somebody messes the ticket up, I think it's going to be
that's
Bam
the one.
over Hero, because that's unpredictable.
He's been hooping. Hero's been hooping.
And it's going to be Luka over Nikola Jokic. Something wrong with it?
Yeah, no. The Warriors starting 5 isn't playing tonight.
The whole starting 5?
I think only Looney, because he has like a streak of like 2.
I saw Wiseman got recalled.
Now that the Pacers beat the Warriors, the Lakers lost against the Pacers, not as bad.
You guys blew a lead.
A big one.
Yeah, that's a little different. No, yeah.
Are we better than y'all?
Hell, we beat y'all.
Opening night though, when we weren't this.
What the fuck?
We're not this.
You were.
We're different now.
Okay.
We are different.
We weren't. Okay. I think we're a little better than.
Off game 1, people were throwing parades for you guys to win another championship.
Against you guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Warriors are still the Warriors. This is the Warriors team that we know.
No, I don't think you guys are better than us.
All right.
The Lakers aren't better than the Warriors.
Nobody's playing tonight though, so it's in Utah. I think we're getting ready for Boston.
Yo, Clay Fake has been cooking up recently.
Yeah. So
Ever since the Would You Rather.
Yeah, I'm glad that I.
He saw the Would You Rather.
He heard us for sure.
I'm glad that I.
Well, he stopped taking dumb
him.
shots. Now
That also
everything's
helps.
good. So if he's just missing, he's missing a good shot.
I think he took 16 threes yesterday, hit 8 of them.
They were all good shots.
He was wild.
I won't even lie to you. So yeah, we're waiting for Boston. So I guess we're resting everybody. We'll see you on the 10th, buddy.
I'm excited.
You shouldn't be.
It's gonna be a good game.
You're gonna get a lot of PTSD.
But
we'll
Dehls,
win.
this staring you in the face, these episodes, it's been a treat for me.
What the fuck?
Y'all did lose to the Pacers.
I know.
Not only because we have this back and forth Jets thing going on. Listen,
I don't understand why there is the back and forth. I really don't get
because we just see opposite sides of the
it. You
spectrum.
guys
when
are
it comes
Jets
to the
fans,
Jets.
though. It's like
We should be uniting. It should be a time
You're
to
the
be
one. You're
united.
the reason why we're not united.
You're not wrong.
Okay,
You're not wrong.
As long as you know.
But I was telling Drew this earlier today, though. I have to feel it. And Drake once said this in a lyric in a song. He
let
said,
him get it off. Let him get it off.
He said, I hope I'm saying it verbatim because I really don't want to. I don't want to mess it up.
Please don't.
But Drake said, once I stop loving it, I'm going to stop doing it. I forgot where it was at. I'm not saying it verbatim.
What song was it? You forgot?
For
Drew should know.
Too much.
Too
much. Done saying I'm done playing. That's how it starts. He said the lyric somewhere though, right? When I watch the Jets, that emotion is not there, Dehls. When I watch the Jets with Zach Wilson, every single pass, despite how bad it may be, my heart raced. I was on my toes.
Yo.
Any pass could be a pick 6 with Zach. That's why.
With Mike White, I just watched the game and
bored.
he makes passes, and he makes some good passes.
Really good passes.
And you know what I say? My body doesn't lift up. Like, yes, it goes. Because with each of those passes, Zach is further and further away from seeing the football field.
Without a doubt.
And that's been my biggest worry this whole time. We gave up on this guy too soon. I wish he would have finished off the season. Now, we were watching the game together.
Never told you. I invited him. I don't know why I thought we'd be rooting for the Jets. I'm a fool for thinking you would root for the Jets. Should have told
Mike
you to
White
stay
threw the
home.
interception. Did it put a slight smile on my face? Yes. Our schedule down the stretch. I see 2-3, maybe 1-4. Mike White's so good though. He should win these games.
You're making up a hypothetical record. What are you saying? Mike White should win these games. These games haven't
Based
happened.
off of my projections,
Should he not have won this game against Minnesota?
no. He threw an interception in red zone.
It was 4th and 10.
Did he not,
20
though?
And Cam
second
Dantzler
play.
saw that
Can
route.
I ask you a question? Should he not have completed that pass to Braxton if Braxton had hands?
Oh, he should have, yeah, for sure.
All right, so then that's the end of the conversation.
It's
Shout out
not
to Mikey.
because it didn't happen.
But that's
you got
on
to
Braxton.
you had 6 red zone trips. Ain't convert.
He threw a touchdown.
You ain't convert
Braxton
on
He was
one.
catch.
touchdown and rushed for one.
You ain't convert on, and he rushed for one, but the entire team had to bully him in there.
Was
Have,
Zach
have
winning
you
this
seen
game
the
for you?
Eagles do
Zach
a
was
QB
winning
sneak?
this
That's
game.
how
Zach
all
was
of them
winning
work.
this
Because you know what? Zach's won
Zach
5
would have
games
won this
for us
game.
this year.
I'm actually.
Because
Zach would have. Zach would have won
beat the
this
Broncos
game.
defense. Zach beat the Packers defense. Zach beat the Bills defense.
How many points did those teams put up? Did they ever put up 27?
Brees Hall beat the Broncos defense.
Did any of those teams put up more than 20 points?
All I know is
Somebody had
that
to
when
say it.
Mike White misses the playoffs, his record's going to be 3-4 as a quarterback. Zach's is going to be 5-2. And when they miss the playoffs,
And you know what's
When they
crazy?
miss the
You know what's
playoffs-
crazy?
Bro, Joel, someone said, tell Joel to jump out the plane. We don't want you.
and when
the Jets
and when
game.
the
Talking
Jets,
about Nobody's gonna
He's talking
care.
about a Jet.
If the Jets don't make the playoffs, that does not mean Zach Wilson gets another shot with the Jets. You know that, right?
I
So
don't care about that.
you're just rooting for the Jets to fail at this point. You're rooting for your favorite team
Not my
to
favorite team
fail.
anymore.
Oh,
I, like what he said.
You're out.
I've already
You're
jumped out the
You're
plane.
out.
Wow.
The Jets are out. The first time we have built a team,
So you
a
got the
top
table alone,
5
buddy.
defense, some weapons, you're out. At not the ugly 2010s where we had fucking Jermaine Kearse as our wide receiver one.
The best team you had.
This is the best roster we've had since 2010, and you're leaving. You're a fool. You're a fool. You're a fool.
No, Joel, with respect,
an idiot, bro.
I say this with love and admiration in my heart.
You're crazy,
You're an
bro.
idiot.
You're
20
leaving now?
When has the Jets'
2015.
future ever been brighter? It was in 2015.
All because of Zach
I can
Wilson.
promise
If
you that.
if you don't have the quarterback, you don't got nothing. That's a fact. 2015, we had a big time year. What did we do the next year? Fitzpatrick stunk it up. See what the Jets are going to do. They're going to let Mike White ride out the season. They're going to bring in some bridge quarterback next year. They're going to underperform. Now, for me, listen, it's always a distant love. I got love for you, brother. I do. As a Jets fan, I hope you have success. I have love for you.
I'm happy.
But me,
I'm happy you're jumping ship.
I cannot
I'm
emotionally bear every time the Jets let me down. Draft night was one of the happiest nights of my life. So I got to see Zach Wilson walk the stage.
Oh, my God.
And now he's not my quarterback. I just can't go through that
You know
emotional
who
turmoil
you
anymore.
just got to see walk the stage? Sauce, Garrett Wilson.
It was an amazing
Jermaine
day.
Johnson.
it was an
Brees Hall.
amazing
Elite
day.
class.
All of them
It
clear
was
your
an
buddy Zach Wilson.
Yes, they do. It was an amazing day. When Sauce was drafted, I said he's the next Darrelle Revis. When Garrett Wilson was my wide receiver
Joel.
one, I loved him coming out of the draft. Jermaine Johnson, we talked about how much he wants to be a Jet. Listen, I got love for some of these players. I do. But Zach Wilson not being the quarterback hurts me.
Joel,
It does.
You are the reason you're jumping ship on the Jets is because your evaluation of Zach Wilson was wrong.
I'm jumping on
You
the
felt-
Jets.
Hold on, no,
they
because you've been
benched Zach.
talking. You've been talking. Your evaluation about Zach could not have been more wrong. He was your guy coming out. You damn near had him number one. You might have had him. I don't know if it was him or Trevor Lawrence. He goes to your favorite team, the Jets. He stinks it up. Not only does he stink it up, he gets in a better situation year 2, gets benched, and his replacement is playing at a level that a Jets quarterback has never played in arguably the franchise's history through 2 games, nonetheless. The reason you're jumping ship is because your evaluation of Zach Wilson was wrong. It's nothing that the Jets did.
My evaluation of Zach Wilson was just as wrong as Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback.
I'm not
Tony
saying
Romo, Hall of Fame quarterback.
For sure.
I wasn't the only one wrong about Zach Wilson.
Without a doubt.
Emotionally right now, brother, I cannot watch the Jets. I cannot watch them right now. It's going to take me some time to heal. I hope you understand that.
So are you going
Man
to
to man.
No, don't come back.
I hope we're
when we make the
respecting each
playoffs,
other.
don't come back. When we're better next year, don't come back.
Are y'all making the playoffs?
Yeah, we're making the
How
playoffs.
sure are you?
We're
How
making.
sure-
We're making the playoffs.
Are they beating the
way.
Lions?
Yes.
No.
That's a tough game.
my
With
God,
Jared
no,
Goff?
that's
Yes.
cap,
Mike
that's
White
cap.
can't hold
Yes.
a candle to
That's
Jared
cap.
Goff.
Yes, we're beating the
you
Lions.
really
what
are
are
by
we
yourself at
talking
this, man.
about,
Oh,
bro?
Nah, I'll be honest, that's cap. You're not
What?
beating the Lions.
I'll be honest. He just
What about the
beating the
Seahawks?
just giggled at you.
What about the Bills?
We could beat the
I'll be honest,
entire
that might be on
schedule.
three.
We
Wait,
can
so
beat
hold on.
everyone on our schedule.
Wait, Drew and Riv, what happens when
can't beat
we
the Bills
face
at
the
home.
Bills on the road and Mike White loses to the team Zach Wilson beat? What's going to happen then?
Zach
On
Wilson
the
didn't
road,
win that game.
there'll be an
bro.
excuse.
Zach
how-
Wilson had
oh,
150
but he won the game the
yards.
first time.
He had 150 yards.
And he played his role. He played amazing.
Jimmy
Bro,
G vibes.
He did what he had to do.
Every time Zach Wilson started, the defense was fucking amazing. They never let up more than 17 points in a game Zach Wilson played. It's hard to lose games when your defense is doing that shit.
Joel.
Besides the Patriots game where they put up like 30 because Zach Wilson threw 3 interceptions.
Joel, honest question. All right. Is there a chance you guys go 0-5 to end the year?
There's no chance.
No chance.
There's
05 is
zero
crazy.
chance.
05
All right,
is
I'll
crazy.
tell you this.
Have we been watching
asking.
the New York Jets?
All right.
Have we been
05 is
watching
crazy.
a top 5 defense?
That was a
Have we been
wild
watching the
question.
offense
And
rookie
they
of
just
the year?
had the worst
Have we
game.
watching Mike White have back-to-back 300-yard games? We have improved the quarterback position, our worst position all season, and now we're going 0-5. Now we can't beat the Lions. Now we can't beat the Seahawks. We got better
getting
at
red.
our worst position, and everyone thinks we're gonna get worse.
All right, hey.
It's fucking. I'm dumbfounded. I'm
how ready he is.
flabbergasted at how fucking stupid you guys are sometimes.
All right.
This team just got better.
Goodness.
And you guys think we're gonna go
I
0-5?
can't look at him right now.
0-5.
Because I barely got a word off.
Because it's insane to
Nobody
even
said
say.
0-5 though.
No, he
I asked the question.
He said
I
0-5.
asked the
You
question.
guys,
He said there a
you guys
chance.
talking
He's
about the
implying
Lions
that
losing, the
question.
Seahawks losing.
He felt the question was extremely
All right,
disrespectful.
hey King. All right, let's go through it then, because you just went on this whole thing, and you know what? You needed to get that out. You needed to get that out.
That red was nuts.
Listen, at Buffalo, there's a. If you guys win that game, I will Venmo you 25 cash.
Okay.
All right.
won't win that game.
All right. Versus Detroit, you can win that game for sure. That being said, this is not the same Detroit Lions team.
It's not.
It's not.
They've been
been
awesome defensively.
They have been very good since firing their secondaries
Bro,
coach.
it's flabbergasted.
Let's just be real too. The offense is good. Your
The
defense
Jags is the only
amazing.
win, for sure.
Exactly.
The Jags is the
Jaguars
only
is the
win.
game that you look at and think you guys can win. At Seattle, that is a tough game.
On the
Your
road?
defense is great. It's a tough game. Are you guys favored in any of these games outside of Jacksonville so far, in your opinion?
They're all toss-ups.
I'm asking you, do you think you're favorited? Yes or no?
I would.
All toss-ups?
Yes.
The Bills is a toss-up at Buffalo?
We just beat the Bills with
dude.
Zach Wilson
it is a
throwing
toss-up.
for
It is a
150 yards.
toss-up.
Wait, he's actually, are you favored?
Are you?
though. I don't
So
think you're favored.
the Bills are
I
going
think the Bills will
0-2
still be
against the
favored
Jets.
Yeah,
heavy in
sure.
that
The
game.
Bills will be favored,
Especially
but
at
it's a
their
toss-up
home, they'll
game.
be
It is a
heavily
toss up.
favored
It is a
at that
toss up.
game.
Seattle Lions, that's Miami.
then
That's
at
toss-up.
Miami,
That's
like-
toss-ups. But those are a lot of road games outside of the
Exactly.
Jags and
Have
Lions.
we not been fantastic on the road? Have we
for
not been
sure.
better on the road than we are at home?
You just lost on the
But
road.
Seattle.
To the fucking Vikings, who are 10-2.
Mike White though, he's savior, right? Two
many
interceptions.
How
Two
many-
interceptions.
How many times has
Wait,
Zach
wait,
Wilson
hold
put
up.
up 22 points?
How many times has Zach was the two interceptions in the game and cost us the game outside of the Patriots? None. Shut
Mike
your mouth.
White did not cost us the game, dude.
Let me ask you a
Braxton
question.
Berrios did.
Oh, really?
unfortunately.
Really?
it-
What about the first interception? It was a bad read.
It was DPI.
Okay.
How many points did y'all give up?
Oh, okay. Now it's DPI.
27.
All right.
27.
To Minnesota, 27.
Okay. Probably would lean Vikings minimally, but whose offense is better in your opinion, the Lions or the Vikings?
The Vikings.
Nah.
It's
Lions.
close.
I would take the Vikings.
It's
Lions
close.
Lions
the
have a better
Vikings.
defensive line.
Offensive line.
Yeah, line for sure.
The wide
I'm taking
receivers, I would
weapons
probably
over-
take
No,
Jettis
Vikings
just
for
you
sure.
got it.
And-
but
yeah,
then
and
you
Bell.
have Jamal
But the Lions are
Williams
consistent
and you
offensively.
have DeAndre
You
Swift.
have Dalvin Cook.
I would take the combination of
I
Jamal.
would take Dalvin.
You're talking about
2022?
names.
I think you're bugging out.
No, I would take Dalvin.
I think you're bugging
Jamal
out.
Jamal Williams having a James Conner season from last year. Let's
Okay,
be honest.
I'm not
He could score touchdowns.
Okay, we have
he's
nothing
not.
to do
He's
with-
not.
all right,
He
so
doesn't do
On
much
this
more than
show,
that.
on this
Let's
show, we
not
use
be-
facts. On this show, we use facts. Detroit is 9th in offensive DVOA. Minnesota is 18th. Detroit has been a better offense this year.
Who would you be more scared to face? Minnesota or Kirk Cousins and Minnesota?
I'm
with
gonna think it's
Jettis?
more
Both
Jettis or
offenses,
Jared
I'm
Goff?
kind of scared, to be honest.
I'll be honest. It is a good question. It's a good question. It's not disrespect.
Don't sleep on the line.
I'm sorry. Who'd the Lions just play?
They just played the Jags and blew them out.
The Jags. Word. Okay.
And they played the Bills and almost beat the Bills.
The
did.
Lions
We did
put
beat
up
the
the
Bills.
Lions put up more points
Oh,
against the
okay,
Vikings
shit.
than the Jets did. You do know that, right?
We put up 22
Jared Goff.
and we had to drop touchdown.
You think Jared? You
bro.
think
Like,
Jared Goff is mid?
Jared Goff's been a solid quarterback this
Is
year.
he mid?
He's
though?
definitely been above average
I
this
wouldn't
year.
say he's been mid this
No,
year.
he's
In a
been above
vacuum,
average.
he's
Is,
mid.
is,
but
is he
in
better
a
than
good-
Mike White?
Yes.
They're basically the same
So-
guy.
Oh my God.
They are.
Joel, basically the
the
same
same
guy's crazy. Joel.
In every
Did Mike
single
White not
game-
just have back-to-back 3
I'm not
games?
getting. Yes, obviously.
In a
he
vacuum, were they
did.
not basically the same guy? They could both put up numbers, but you probably don't want either of them to be your franchise quarterback.
understand
Is
that.
In a
I'd
I'd
vacuum,
rather
no,
Jared
no,
Goff was a franchise
no.
quarterback for a point in time and he was a quarterback
And
for
what
a team that
happened?
went to the Super Bowl.
And what happened? You've been talking the last fucking 2 months about, Tua is just Jared Goff. When you're a perfect system, all
you can
goes
win
right.
with him. Yes, I never said you can't win with him. You
Okay,
can win with
that's
him.
all Jared Goff is. He's in a good system.
But Mike
right now.
White's had 2 games, bro, and you're elated over that.
They're basic, bro. Like neither of them are franchise quarterbacks. They're not guys you're
But Mike
building
White's
an
a
offense
backup.
around.
Mike White is a backup.
And Mike White has elevated this offense.
He's a backup.
He's elevated this offense.
he's a backup.
He's elevated this
over
offense. He's
Jared's
elevated the
crazy.
players around him. You could do more with Mike White. He pushes the ball down the field. He makes tight window
But how
throws.
And
wait,
you'll still
do more
miss the
with
playoffs.
Mike White
Then
than Jared Goff?
no, I'm talking about this
okay.
offense. You could do more with Mike
okay.
White.
and the
All
Jets
right.
will still miss the playoffs.
It's not saying much.
Okay. It's cool.
I'll be honest.
It's cool.
The odds aren't in your favor.
It's cool. Nah, I'm fine with this, man. I'm actually happy you guys are all on this side. River, are we on the 0-5 side?
No, 0-5
side.
side.
No.
Where are we?
We never said 0-5.
Where
I
are we?
think
This
realistically,
5-game
you'll go
stretch.
2-3.
I'm on the missing playoff side.
Yo,
I'm going-
He just spoke facts.
I'm going 3-2.
I think-
I think in
I
my
think 2 and 3.
the best case scenario is 2 and 3.
I didn't say that.
Best
Best case is 3 and 2.
I
I
know,
think
in
best
my
case is
opinion,
3
We
and 2.
got the Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles. Like, no, bro. We have games that we can win.
I think you lose the Buffalo. I think you lose the Miami, and then the Lions game is a toss up, and the Seahawks game is a toss up. So 2 and 3 realistically.
we could win one of those two divisional games. For
No,
sure.
I agree, but I think
You
you
already
lose
won
to
them
Buffalo.
this year, though.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't think you
look,
go.
listen,
I don't think
listen.
you sweep Buffalo. That's my
listen,
thing.
right
You
here.
won't sweep
It'd be
Buffalo.
hard, but it's not
I don't
You're
think
impossible.
saying, you're
sweep
saying a lot of
Miami.
facts. You're saying a lot of facts. Listen, I want to stop it right here because I apologize, Dehls. I apologize. Sincere apology because the Jets, first time in a long time they're able to make the playoffs. I want you to enjoy this moment, man. And your birthday's coming up too.
Your birthday is
Deli
B
Shout out to Dehls. His birthday's coming up. I want you to enjoy it, bro.
Yo, how old are you?
So you know what? Let's spread the positive vibes in the
old
air.
as fuck.
And I'm sorry because I started this whole negative Jets
We
thing.
didn't even have a Jets topic on the show.
We
did
didn't.
not.
We did not.
We never
but
do.
We have to kind of talk about it a little bit. I want to talk about it too much because last week we spent
talk
too much
about
time
it
on
an
it.
hour, yes.
But listen,
was
Dehls,
11-1.
you're my brother. I want you to be happy watching football. I'm not gonna lie. At the expense of Zach Wilson, it's hurting me. At this point, that's hurting me.
And it hurts me because you're a Jets fan and you've suffered.
No, he's not. No
You've suffered through the Jets for the last 12 years of being bad outside of one season. And now we have this bright future. We're 7-5. We have a chance for the playoffs, and you're out.
This is a situation that has not happened much in NFL history. And being a fan of it right now, witnessing it, I'm having a tough time dealing with it. Imagine Drew, Riv. Y'all draft a quarterback that's supposed to be a franchise guy. Y'all haven't had him for 4 or 5 years. It's only his second season. You guys are 5-2 with him. It's not like we're losing. Despite what you want to say about, oh, he's just a game manager, whatever. You're winning with him, right? He deserves blame for getting benched. The press conference was awful, no doubt. A new quarterback comes in, and the franchise quarterback you had so much faith in now is getting thrown to the shelves. For me, that's hard for me to deal with.
It wasn't good.
It is.
I'm just tired of hearing the same thing over and over.
I can't believe you guys are
Riv
hyping
dealt
up
with it
this Lions
slightly.
team, bro.
Riv dealt with it slightly when
they've been
Carson
playing
Wentz
very
got
well.
hurt, when Nick
They
Foles.
beat the
Let me ask you,
Packers,
Riv.
Bears,
Let me ask you.
Giants and the Jaguars.
Giants are a good team.
You were definitely happy with Nick Foles
they're
winning the
an
Super Bowl,
average
right?
team.
Yes.
They're good. Okay.
So the Lions.
Am I wrong for saying you would have been happy if that was Carson Wentz?
I know. I would have
Jaguars are a
been.
good
I would have
team.
been way happier if it was Carson Wentz. I wish it was
Beat the
Carson Wentz.
Lions, bro.
And I wish this was Zach
Can
Wilson.
beat them.
I get it.
And this is hard for me
But
to
I
deal
think
with
they'll
right
win.
now.
I get it. I do wish it was Carson Wentz. I was actually upset
with
when
that.
Wentz got benched for Hurts. I was very upset.
I agree with that.
I understand your pain.
You understand my pain.
I was hurt when
That's
Wentz
my
got
pain.
benched, but I understood he was garbage.
And if you would have jumped ship,
No, I didn't.
would you have been upset right now, you think, with Jalen Hurts possibly MVP,
I'd be-
number 1 seed,
Yeah,
11 and
but I
1
ain't
Super
jump
Bowl
ship,
fit?
baby.
Exactly. I'm not saying the Jets are going to have this type of leap or Mike White's going to be Jalen Hurts, and the Jets have been well run, but you just stick with your squad, bro. Just stick with your team.
Well, you guys
I'm
see more
emotionally
misery
broken
than me,
right now.
so it's
Or
actually
lots
it's
more
actually,
misery.
you know,
It's actually not even comparable.
But why emotionally broken if you have a winning record?
he does not care about that.
You know who's emotionally broken?
I'm emotionally
You.
broken.
Andrew. I'm emotionally broken.
I know. That's a tough situation.
Yeah, but so I
you're in
understand where
pain.
you're coming from. That being said, you're winning. You're good.
So if Russ got benched and you're winning with Brett Rippon, you're fine?
Yes, I think he is.
Are we making the playoffs?
You're
Possibly.
in the hunt.
Yeah, you're where the Jets
I'll
are.
geek the fuck out.
But Russell Wilson is,
Do you know?
is on the
Do you
bench.
know we're the last team? Because you guys have a chance of making. We're the team right now who hasn't made the playoffs in the longest. If the Jets make the playoffs this year,
You're the longest drought.
correct. But the last time we were there, obviously we won the whole thing.
Tough titty. I'm sorry.
So that's why I've been able to cope with it a little bit better. But you're telling me I have a chance to be in the playoffs? It's a dub. I'm lit.
I get you.
Would I love to see Russ do it? Sure. But if somebody else is doing it, they're doing something that no one has done since Peyton Manning left.
They call me Mr. Flip Aside for a reason.
It's disgusting.
Maybe next week
not
I
something
change.
to be happy
Maybe next
about.
week I
You
change my
probably
mind.
will because that's what you just did in the last 4 days. It's going to happen again. And
You have to-
honestly,
you
I'm not even going to acknowledge it.
Dehls, you have to understand something. When I sent you that text, see, I'm a mastermind. When I sent you that text, I know Dehls is gonna post this. It's calculated.
That's true.
Calculated, my brother.
Yo, we
it's
got
calculated.
340 people in here right now.
Shout out to the 340 people in here.
Goddamn.
If you guys are in here
we
right,
were done speaking.
Shout out to John.
To analogy. Facts. Shout out to John, man.
if you guys are in here, drop a like on the stream. We got 340 people, 74 likes. Drop a like on the stream.
You heard.
Tell a friend.
You heard.
To tell a friend. To tell a friend to join the stream. Can we stop fucking talking about the Jets?
Nah,
and get
I'll
on
be
the
honest.
show?
Despite the coin nickname, Mr. Flip aside, we can all agree at this table that an area I did not flip in was Mr. Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty. Right?
No, that's your guy.
I mean, it's early. It's very early in his career. Give it another couple years. Who knows what happens?
The Bengals beat the Chiefs 27-24.
This guy, you never know where he's going to switch.
Right,
he might switch. He might flip sides on Mahomes.
Yeah,
I will never do that.
I don't think Mahomes will ever give him a situation to flip on him.
The Bengals beat the Chiefs 27-24. Joe Burrow. This is his third time beating Patrick Mahomes head to head.
For that, I love him.
Hard to do.
For that, I love
First time, only guy who's done it
Brady,
this
right?
many times has been Tom Brady. And we know Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, both all-time great quarterbacks, definitely different tiers of it. Tom Brady's the GOAT, but Joe Burrow's trending that way. Joe Shiesty
him. Trending what way?
as one of the best all-time
What
to
the
play
fuck?
the position.
What are you doing?
Joe Burrow's going to go down as an all-time great.
Let's calm down. Let's calm down. Let's let him play his second full season in the NFL first.
I'll allow this with Mahomes. All right, I will
Mahomes,
allow
yeah,
that statement.
Mahomes
with
is valid.
What are we doing?
Burrow has
Why is that
nothing.
crazy?
Why can't Burrow just be great and that's it?
He is
Why
great.
can't it just be isolated?
He has nothing.
Why do we always gotta
Great.
gas it?
I think, what do you mean gas it? What do you mean?
One of the greatest we've ever seen.
Bro, like,
Joe Burrow's
what are
been
we
phenomenal.
doing?
Let's relax.
It's too early.
Let's
There's
way,
nobody
way, way
that's
too
done what
early.
he's done in his first full season in the NFL, going to a Super Bowl appearance.
He didn't
What are we
win.
talking about? But he made it.
But he didn't win.
He didn't. He
has
made
no
it
hardware.
though. He made it. He won an AFC Championship. Right now in the Bengals
You keep
facility.
that same energy for Tatum?
Right now in the Bengals facility, they have the AFC
Yeah, in
Championship
the
trophy in
Bengals
it.
facility. Just
say the number one pick.
What do you mean? I
because
think Jason Tatum's going to go down as an all-time great Celtic.
He's also in year 7.
Because also Big Ben had the most wins to start a career out of any quarterback outside of Russell Wilson.
And he was an all-time great.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
after the
got
fact.
to that.
Russell Wilson is an all-time great,
Yeah, after
despite
the
the
fact.
horrible season this year, right?
Didn't you tell me that Matt Ryan's more of a Hall of Famer than Russell Wilson?
No, I did not.
You did.
I said then Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, he
Stop
said
lying.
Stafford. He said
Stop
Stafford. He
lying.
said Stafford.
Stop lying.
Could have been
I'm
Russell.
pretty sure. I'm almost positive
No, I
he
was
said
not.
Russ, bro.
No.
I hope
I'm
not.
almost
Let's get on to the
positive.
Bengals
Okay,
and
my
Chiefs,
bad. Let's
though.
go. Let's go.
I don't know about you guys, but this was one of the best games I've watched all year.
It's very good.
I'm just looking at the biggest plays of the game. Deep pass to MVS at the beginning of the second half. Mahomes to MVS. They scored a touchdown. Mahomes, the touchdown dive in the end zone to take the 24-17 lead. He got sandwiched, and he still was able to make that play.
He went Michael Jordan right there. It was crazy.
But I think the biggest game changer of the play was the Jermaine Pratt fumble on Travis Kelce, just ripping him. It was a controversial call, forward progress, whatever. But that changed the game. That led to a 10-play, 53-yard drive, touchdown drive. Joe Burrow to Chris Evans on like a broken coverage.
Yep.
They took the lead 27-24, and then Osai sacking Mahomes, and that was really the game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Lou and Arumo.
I'll say this really quick, and then you can do what you
Third
wanna
11,
do.
third and 11.
No, I only say that Butker. It's a 55-yarder. It's a difficult field goal to make, no doubt. You're Harrison Butker. You're in that elite class
able
of
to hit
kickers. You should make that. It's not an excuse on why the Chiefs lost to the Bengals. That being said, you need to make it.
Special teams has been an issue for the Chiefs for the majority of the season.
Low key, because Butker's been hurt.
The Bengals are rolling. They're rolling.
They are.
4 straight wins.
Some good wins, too.
2 of them, it came without Jamar Chase. For all those that say Joe Burrow's a Jamar Chase merchant, T. Higgins has solidified himself as a true wide receiver number 1.
no,
The real,
new this
I was going
already,
to say,
though.
the real new.
Yeah.
The pass protection before this game, next gen stats, they were ranked 30th in pass pro. This game, they were amazing. The Chiefs had their lowest QB pressure percentage of the season. They only pressured Burrow on 15.6% of snaps. Burrow did get pressured 26 times. He only took 1 hit, I believe, or 1 sack. So Burrow's being much better at getting the ball out, not taking sacks. That was a flaw he had last year. And since week 5, the Bengals are number 1 in run success rate from the gun, number 2 in EPA per rush from the gun. P. Ryan, he looks better than Joe Mixon. And last year, a lot of people questioned why P. Ryan was the third down back over Mixon. It's because he's a good pass protector. He can pass block. Joe Mixon is not quite on that level. But it's another elite defensive performance by Lou Anarumo. I hope I get that right. He's an elite play caller, and he should be in talks to be a head coach this upcoming season in the offseason for a new team. He did a fantastic job showing Mahomes different looks. He did it in the entire playoff run to every team he faced, including the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. The Bengals this year have beaten the Jets, an in-the-hunt playoff team, a team you think is going to make the playoffs, though.
With Joe Flacco?
The Joe Flacco's better than Zach. And Zach went 5-2.
I mean,
They should have won.
All right,
the early
we're
Jets
not
game doesn't
talking
lose me.
enough. We're not talking about the Jets.
But the Jets had an elite defense there, would you say?
I feel like the defense kind of came along a little
Okay.
bit later, but whatever.
But they beat the Jets, a playoff team.
Joe Flacco.
They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Titans.
Back up.
And they beat
Titans
the
won.
Chiefs.
The Titans,
the
Titans was a
one?
great
Yeah,
win.
the Titans won.
The
I
Titans
am
was an
counting the
excellent
Dolphins
win.
one because when Tua was in the game, they played well against
yeah,
them.
it was
So
early.
it would have been a
Tua's out for
toss-up.
2.5 quarters.
It would have been
I
a
was gonna
toss-up
say.
either way. It's whatever. These
They
are
lost,
four of the
though.
top teams in the AFC. The Jets, you don't place them in there, but these are four of the top teams in the AFC. The Bengals beat all of them. Now, when talking about the best team in the AFC, the Chiefs, they're still up there for me. I know they lost to the Bengals. The Bengals have had their number. But if you said the Bengals are the best team in the AFC, I wouldn't be mad at you.
It's funny you say that because on my list of teams that I have the Bengals as the best team in football. And that's only because they seem the most complete to me. I look at the Chiefs and I don't love their defense. Mahomes is Mahomes. Yes, he can win you games with minimal weapons. Of course, Kelsey is one of the elite of the elite. He is the elite of the elite. He's the best tight end in the game. But outside of that, there's no reliable option. Of course, Mahomes is going to elevate these guys. That was a question of mine that I had. He's completely taking that narrative and throwing it in the trash. But the defensive side of things, you can't really trust it. The Bills, similarly. You looked it up before the show. They're still 7th in pass DVOA defensively. I just don't believe in their defense as confidently as, let's say, the Jets. Of course, the Jets have probably the best defense in the AFC, but the offense is a question. I look at the Bengals. Their offense is still one of the premier in the AFC. I look at their defense. It's still one of the better in the AFC, where it's not all world. It's not the best of the NFL. It's still better than the Chiefs. Bills probably you still would take slightly, but as a whole, I think the Bengals are the most complete team in the AFC.
It's not crazy to say.
It's not ridiculous to say. And I tweeted out that we don't talk about my Bengals take enough from last year.
Are you going to flip side right now?
No, because I can still be right on it. Ultimately, my
You don't talk about how wrong you were?
What
my-
was the take?
It's because
my
there's
final
people that
point-
they like to point out more than you know.
my final point basically was the Bengals had an easy road to the playoffs, and that's how they got to the Super Bowl. Although they beat the Chiefs, I gave them credit for that, which I could still be right on. If they lose in the first or second round, and be like, it's hard to go to the playoffs, right? It's hard to go to the Super Bowl, I should say. But this Bengals team right now, you can make the argument. You definitely can. It's not ridiculous to say, and the main reason for that is because they have the Chiefs number. And with that being said, the Chiefs are due. The Chiefs are due to get one over the Bengals. You don't lose
Are they?
3 games in a row
I don't
by
know.
a field goal here or there. Some weird things happen. That playoff game in the second half, things don't go your way. So that doesn't mean when the time comes, if it comes in the playoffs, I wouldn't select the Chiefs to beat the Bengals. They'll probably have home field advantage as
Did it
well.
last year.
But they did for sure. But right now, you could definitely make the argument because, I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons, right? You talked about Samaje really coming on, who I thought was honestly a scrub, right? And I'm not a big Joe Mixon fan either. But offensively, the thing that we talk about a lot of teams is you need more weapons. It's always more, right? We even talk about it with KC. You have Kelsey, but these surrounding guys are solid but not great. Even the Bills, you're a big Gabe Davis guy. We still view him as a high-end 3, low-end 2, at least me. But the Bengals, not only do they have Jamar Chase, but they have the 2 other guys that surround it with T. Higgins, who is a number 1 wide receiver, and Tyler Boyd, who had the dropped touchdown, which is unfortunate. Tyler Boyd, you give him that throw 100 times, he's catching it 99.9% of the time, right? It was just one bad drop. So they have the weapons too. Even if you have one great corner or you have a great secondary, it doesn't matter. You have too many guys out there with Joe Burrow's accuracy, his poise in the pocket. When you have to make a play in the fourth quarter and overtime, Joe Burrow and Mahomes are probably the 2 top quarterbacks you want to lead you down that drive. That is how poised Joe Burrow has become since entering the NFL. The leaps he has taken is not one to really talk about compared to the Josh Allens of the world, Jalen Hurts this year, Tua this year, just because he tore his ACL year 1 and people weren't really expecting him to go to the Super Bowl year 2. But Joe Burrow has, without a doubt, taken that leap year 2, and year 3, he's just continuing what he's doing. And you mentioned the defense as well. We've talked about it, for the last couple months. They just don't have that big name player that gives them that respect. They don't have that Bosa. They don't have a Myles Garrett. They don't have a Sauce Gardner in the secondary that we look at and be like, damn, this guy's elite. But they have a bunch of guys who play sound football, a bunch of guys who really don't make mistakes. They play their role really well. And this Bengals team, if you're looking the AFC, nobody wants to play them. The way they play the Chiefs, nobody wants to play them. Them, the Bills, and Kansas City, I think, are in the tier 1 in the AFC right now. I think Miami is in tier 2.
Miami in tier 1?
They're in tier 2.
The defense is not.
They're in tier 2. You can't have Brock Purdy do what he did. But I mean, the Bengals are phenomenal.
Still bad too.
Yeah,
without Armstead,
Armstead,
it's a
for
joke
sure.
actually.
That's very interesting. So Miami, what you said? Miami was tier 2.
Tier 2. They're top tier 2. Yes, they might be the only team in tier 2. Honestly, like
who?
You don't have your Baltimore in there no more. That's dead.
Nope.
Dead in the waters.
Lamar knee injury out 1 to 3 weeks.
Do you have them ranked out or no? Because
I don't.
I have it listed. I have Cincinnati. I have the Chiefs. I have Bills and Miami together. I really can't lean one over the other. Just for the fact that obviously Miami still does have an explosive offense. When Teron Armstead's there, I expect the blocking to be a lot better than it was.
That would depend a lot on who's home. If the Bills are home, I'm pretty comfortable with the Bills. Miami's home, it is a toss-up.
That's a fair point, especially because we still haven't seen Tua in cold weather. And as a Tua fan,
it was
I
breezy
still can't
in
hide
San
from
Fran that day.
No,
it actually was really breezy.
We'll talk about it later. But then I have Tennessee, Baltimore, and then the Chargers. Chargers and Baltimore could be interchangeable as well.
The Baltimore will not make the playoffs.
You don't have the Jets with the Chargers?
The defense definitely is one that you have to account for because they are the best defense in the AFC, but the schedule does worry me. I don't know if they'll... I'm being real. I don't know if you guys will make that last seed. And another sleeper team...
The Chargers have to win out. Basically.
Exactly. The Chargers have to win out also, and the Raiders have been playing decent football.
They have... What's their record?
I think right now they're a game...
They're 5-7.
5-7
right now.
Are they?
So the Jets have 2 games.
The Raiders have
They
to
have
win
two,
out.
Two.
The Raiders
Yeah.
have to win out.
Yeah.
They still have a
The
chance.
The Chargers are facing the Dolphins, Titans, Colts,
They've been
Rams,
clutching
and Broncos
recently.
next.
They should have clutched in the beginning.
Okay.
They would have been in.
That sounds like there might be a couple else
OD.
on
They were
there.
choking OD.
But the Ravens look like the team that are going to fall out. If you have Huntley in there for 1 to if it's 3 weeks, I don't see
This what happened
world.
last year, right?
Yeah, and they went 0-5 with him, I want to say.
Shame.
They didn't win a game. He was putting up decent passing numbers, but the team obviously loses a step when you don't have Lamar Jackson.
We understand the greatness of Joe Burrow, and you talked about the leap. The reason why we don't view Joe Burrow as him taking this leap is because
He's been nice.
he's been elite.
He's been nice.
So it's the small improvements take him from before the season. I had him as the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. Patting myself on the chest for that.
You needed that.
The improvements he's made this year has taken him from number 5 to there's a debate he's number 2. He's the 2nd best quarterback in the NFL right now. Aaron Rodgers has dropped out in that.
Yes.
Tom Brady has dropped out in that.
Herbert.
And Josh, I never had Herbert over Burrow.
Really?
Never is a
Before
is
the
a
in the
fallacy.
offseason, in the offseason, I didn't.
God,
In the
I hate
off-
when
You're
you
talking
do
about
that.
2 years ago, bro. In the
That's
offseason,
why
I did
both
not
fans
have
gave him a
Burrow
boot.
over Herbert.
Both fans
And
have-
each week I would come here and you guys would say, "Oh no,
Wait,
Herbert clears."
Joel.
I never wavered
Can I ask you a
once.
question? Has Herbert looked mid to you this year?
He hasn't been Joe Burrow,
Quick question. If you had
that
Burrow
his-
at 5, where was Herbert?
Interesting.
huh?
If you had Burrow at 5 for the season,
6.
where's okay.
They were neck
It was
and neck.
6.
So it was Rodgers and Brady.
Rodgers, Brady, Allen, Mahomes.
They deserve that respect.
No, I was just wanted to make sure.
But right now with Joe, we know Joe Burrow is him. It's simple as that. I want to really talk about Lou Anarumo for a little bit because this defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they lost Chidobe Awuzie, their best corner. Right now, their corners are Eli Apple, Cam Taylor-Britt, Mike Hilton, who's a great slot. I love their safeties, Von Bell and Jesse Bates.
Yep.
But their secondary, they don't have these elite level corners, but you don't see them getting gashed. And that's because Anarumo has been one of the best defensive coordinators in the game, and them getting DJ Reader back makes their run game elite. Trey Hendrickson is one of the best edge rushers in the game.
Absolutely.
Nobody talks about him enough. But Joe Burrow has earned his seat at the table with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
he is.
Since the start of last season, Joe Burrow has the best passer rating in the NFL. He's 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes and never lost. No other quarterback can say that to the level Joe Burrow can. 19 consecutive games with a passing touchdown, the longest active streak currently in the NFL. And Joe Burrow against any team not named the Steelers this year, which was 2 games, 19 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, a 109 passer rating, and really Joe Burrow's only bad game was week 1 where he threw 4 interceptions.
What about
but
against the Browns?
The second matchup, he had 4 touchdowns to 2 interceptions and a 104 passer rating. Joe Burrow wasn't great elite against the Browns. He was solid. He wasn't bad. His only bad game was the Steelers game.
He wasn't that good against the Ravens either.
It wasn't a horrible game. No, I'm just saying, like his
200
only
yards, a touchdown,
his only
interception, 82
stinker,
passer rating.
his only stinker
Wasn't good.
was against. His only stinker was
Like
against the
playoffs,
Steelers.
basically.
When we talk about Joe Burrow right now,
This
he's
is
been to a
interesting.
Super Bowl, did something in his second season that no other number 1 overall pick can say. This is coming off an ACL injury, and the Bengals right now are better than they were last year. They're a Super Bowl contending team.
For sure.
And guess what? It's because of Joe Burrow. The team deserves his credit for sure, but we're only talking about the Bengals because Joe Burrow's their quarterback. That's a fact. You know that.
It's not a crazy statement at all.
No, it's not. It's just
It's interesting.
you put Herbert in that situation. He's probably being talked to as number 2 as well.
It's very interesting.
You know, there's a bunch of guys.
Listen,
that
you
do it,
see
and
what
that's no
happens when you
discredit
get
to Burrow.
when you get a great supporting cast.
Yeah, it
Case in
changes
point,
everything.
my boy.
Changes everything for sure.
Josh Allen. he's
Josh
been
Allen's
amazing.
another
I
one.
wish happened with Zach Wilson.
Josh Allen has been amazing this year, but his injuries is holding him back some. That's definitely true.
That's interesting that you say that because this has been a very roller coaster year, for all the top quarterbacks. We had Lamar Jackson running the league for 3 weeks. We had Josh Allen by week 5 and 6. He was consensus best. Now we have Joe Burrow putting himself into the conversation as he should be at the table after 4-game winning streak. Tua's been amazing all year. Hurts has been amazing all year. It seems like the consistency has come from Hurts and Tua all year. Those guys have been good. Well, Burrow too, but they weren't winning games as much as these 2 guys. Those 2 guys have been the consistency of being great almost every week while their team is also winning. Allen, of course, the elbow injury, he's still playing. He's a dog. Mahomes has been great. Burrow's been great. The Bengals should be considered a top 3 team in the AFC. Them, Bills, Chiefs. I'm not fully ready to put them over the Bills yet because that's they just haven't played, so it's tough to really assess them. But both teams have beat the Chiefs in the regular season, so hats off to them for that. But I think Miami, you have to kind of put them in that conversation just because at any moment that offense could just get it go. Like they can score with any of those teams, and like I said, if they can just get 1 or 2 key stops in a game, it's over because you're not going to stop them from scoring. So
The
I think
Dolphins, the Niners did it.
The thing we're going to talk about
no
the
defense
Dolphins,
is the Niners.
but we're talking about
Out
the
of those 3
AFC right
teams.
now, so it's hard not to speak about what the Dolphins can do against these other top teams. Like against the Bengals, their defense is not what we just saw from the Niners. Again, we're going to go into more in depth when we talk about Tua's performance as a whole against the Niners. But the Dolphins are not going to face a defense of that tier the rest of the way through. Nope. The Jets are the best defense that they're going to face in the AFC. That's it. The Bengals have a solid defense. The Bills have a solid defense. But these aren't defenses that I'm looking at and thinking that the Dolphins offense can't still have their way with. So long as Teron Armstead's there and they have some blocking up front, the Dolphins are going to be able to put up points with any team. The Chiefs versus Dolphins, that is one of those games that I am begging for because it's going to be an offensive shootout. The Bengals would be a little bit better performance because their defense is better than the Chiefs. The Bills is a division game, so of course that's going to be a great game. But when you talk about the Dolphins, you have to have them in that conversation with the top 3 teams. The one thing that you do point to, you have to. No, you have to. You have to.
You don't.
And I understand where you're coming from because the defense is not up to par.
It's not
of
even
the 4,
the
it's the
defense.
worst for sure.
I think the defense is the main problem for sure, but it's also Tua. Like Tua we're going to talk about the Niners and Dolphins game next segment. Tua has been phenomenal this year. There's no doubt, but there is still a question about how he will perform in those games.
Why?
Because
Cold weather.
It's still a question.
But why?
Playoff moment, high leverage game, jitters. You never know. I mean, the playoffs are a different atmosphere.
It is.
They scheme up for you differently.
Tua's been pretty clutch this year.
In the playoffs, you got 17 weeks of game film on a team.
But that's why the 3 best teams have the 3 best quarterbacks in the playoffs in the
And
AFC.
Tua, when there's been pressure on him, let's just be less generic because he's had pressure.
No,
the
he's
entire
been a dog
season.
all year.
But in the fourth quarter, he's has the best passer rating. On third down, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't know if he's still number 1, but I know that he led that for weeks on end. This is his first performance that we're looking at.
No,
and
he's been
thinking that
amazing
this
all
was
year,
not
but
Tua.
a playoff game in Buffalo is a different atmosphere than a regular season.
I'm
game.
with you.
That's why. So it's like not saying he can't do it, but we just have to see.
And this was an important game for the Bengals because they beat the Titans last week. A good win, without a doubt, one of the best coached teams in the league. But they didn't have that statement win. Their whole schedule, they've been playing some pretty easy opponents. Their biggest test was against the Ravens a few weeks prior. They lost. It was a one-possession game going back and forth, but still, that was the only game you could really look at and being like, this is another playoff caliber team when Lamar is on the field. So the Bengals had that test, and they succeeded. The Dolphins, on the other hand, had the test this week, and they failed. Now, they've had other moments like that Ravens game they came back and won, like the Bills game, but that's in September. That's 3 months ago. At this point, we're not really... Those games we're going to think about and be like, that's a vintage moment for Tua. That's a great win. But you have to look at it now.
200 degrees that day.
Without a doubt. But still, being the Bills is being the Bills.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's not.
And everybody was injured for the Bills.
It's very
and
abnormal.
Oliver
That's an
was out,
abnormal
Trey White
game.
was out.
So
Very
when
abnormal.
you're going into the playoffs, we're having this final, 5-game push here. These are the games that when you're going in, you want to have that momentum. You want to have those statement wins over these other playoff teams. That's why when you could look at the Bengals, you could put them in that tier 1 without putting Miami in that tier 1 yet, just because they didn't pass their biggest test.
But not only that, this win was so big for the Bengals because it now puts you at 8-4 instead of 7-5. They were going to be an in the hunt playoff team. Now this puts them in a position
Strong
to win the
chance to win
division.
Yes.
Lamar is injured, so this is the
And they were playing
Bengals'
bad.
opportunity to take the lead in the division and have a
believe they
home
won that
playoff game.
Oh,
The Ravens.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, it honestly came
Broncos
down to the
gonna
wire.
Broncos. I mean, what do you?
Yeah,
got?
But
Broncos
you
are
mentioned,
defeated.
but you mentioned something
10-9.
really good, Riv, that I want to touch on because you said Joe Burrow after this 4-week stretch, we're now putting him in this conversation, and it's not just this 4-week stretch, and I want to make that abundantly clear because Joe Burrow last year he had a tremendous season, MVP caliber season. He finished top 3 in voting. In playoffs, they picked against him. He went and won each game. Super Bowl, he lost. And then this season, people did say, Joe Burrow is not going to be as good as he was last year. The Bengals season was a fluke. We saw in the beginning of the year, teams were playing them differently in coverage, and Joe Burrow didn't look as great. But now Joe Burrow's playing at an MVP level again after defenses had adjusted. Zach Taylor has switched his scheme to mostly shotgun. They everything is spread out.
Yeah.
They're running from the gun as well. So he deserves a lot of credit for adjusting. Joe Burrow has been playing at an elite level for 2 seasons, and he has playoff success. You ask why I question Tua. The answer is simple. He hasn't done it yet. Once he does it, I'm not going to question it. Joe Burrow, I'm not going to question.
That's fair.
And maybe he loses in the first round, right? Maybe Joe Burrow does. But I'm not going to question how ready he's going to be for that moment. I know Joe Burrow's going to be prepared. I know he's going to shine on that big-time stage, as he usually does.
For sure.
He's been this guy since college.
There's always guys coming in and out of this conversation, as you were saying, Riv. But I'm over it. Mahomes is going to be one. He's going to stay one. Barring multiple Super Bowls from another quarterback, I don't see a world where Mahomes doesn't fall out of that number 1 spot. Josh Allen's going to have great years. He might win MVP, he might win a Super Bowl. Same thing with Joe Burrow. But until someone does it consistently for 4 or 5 years like Mahomes has, I know we're just talking about number 2 right now.
So who's 2 to
but
you?
we're talking...
It's gotta be Allen.
I still think it's Allen,
There's
but
no
Burrow has put
quarterback-
himself in that conversation without a doubt.
There's no quarterback that you can have a better argument for being number 2 than Joe Burrow right now. And I love Josh Allen. You guys know I love Josh Allen.
Though.
Josh Allen has been elite. He has not won an AFC championship yet. He has not gotten over that playoff hump
That
yet.
doesn't- but Josh Allen he's been better
He was
his
amazing.
last 2 postseasons
Yes,
than Burrow.
this last postseason for sure.
The
This
year
last
before
postseason.
he was really good.
Burrow wasn't there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I can't. But last year let's be like, 'cause
And
last year,
year-
Allen's been in that moment. He's been ridiculous.
And last year in the regular season, Joe Burrow was better than Josh Allen. Josh Allen had the better playoff run, but regular season only, Joe Burrow was better than Josh Allen.
but you still had. This is my thing because you still coming into the season. We all knew Josh Allen was a better quarterback than Joe Burrow. Not
Was
just,
he?
Like he was a better, not just because the way he
Joe
could do it
Burrow
with his
better
arm.
than Josh Allen last year in the regular season?
He was.
Are you
looking at
taking
it now.
rushing into account too?
Yeah.
Because
Joe Burrow
the fact
was
that
better.
this
He was higher in the MVP conversation.
But that doesn't have to do with what I'm saying.
I think he was better. Joe Burrow was better in the regular season than Josh Allen.
In
the playoffs, Josh Allen was perfect.
No, Josh Allen in the playoffs was
and that's
by
the
far and away
separator.
the better quarterback.
But Josh Allen, let's not forget, they got
neck and neck,
I was going to say,
they
and
got
then the
blown,
rushing
they got
aspect of
they got
things.
blown out by the Colts. They had a stinker versus Jacksonville, and they had some games last year where Josh Allen was good.
Because if the separator wasn't Joe Burrow making the Super Bowl, and you still had Allen 3 spots ahead of him, what's the separator now? Him being injured and Burrow playing better for 4 games?
Consistent now. Burrow's doing this at an elite level again this year, and they're a top team in the AFC again.
But so is the Bills.
So is the Bills, but this year Burrow has been better. The past 2 regular seasons, Joe Burrow has been better than Josh Allen.
Your argument's inconsistent.
No, it's not.
It is.
Josh Allen in the playoffs was better than Burrow last year, but Burrow did make the Super Bowl.
So the two were neck and neck in the regular season, but Josh Allen was significantly better than Burrow.
They were not neck and neck in the regular season. I think Joe Burrow was better.
But I'm telling you.
It's pretty close. It's pretty, like, I do think Burrow was better, but it wasn't by a landslide or anything.
And then rushing, the fact that he had to be their leading rusher on top of being one of the best passers in the league,
Burrow
too.
had more yards, better completion percentage.
So this is the stats, right? Last year, Joe Burrow completed 70% of his passes, threw for 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns to 14 interceptions, a 108 passer rating. This last season, Josh Allen had a completion percentage of 63%, threw for 4,400 yards, had 36 touchdowns to 15 interceptions, and a 92 passer rating.
And the rushing?
Similar.
The rushing, Josh Allen has rushing for sure.
But that's what
you're
have to
You're
also
talking about
account
Joe
for.
Burrow having 16, a pass rating of 16 better. That's not close.
You got to count for the rushing.
If it was 95 passer rating,
he led the
okay.
team in rushing.
His team in rushing.
Yes, but as a passer, as a quarterback, Joe Burrow was better.
Well, when you're just
he completed 70% of his passes compared to Josh Allen's 63%.
When you're a dynamic quarterback, you have to take into account the rushing.
Sure,
That's why we do it for Lamar. That's why at times we do it for Mahomes. You have to do that. That's why we do it for Hurts.
I'm taking into account the rushing, but from the quarterback aspect, 70% completion percentage.
Strictly passing the ball. Forget about quarterback because there's more things to being a quarterback than passing in 2022.
Is 70% completion percentage not way better than 63%?
Sure.
That's the top of the league compared to the bottom 15 of the league.
No, I agree with you.
Is a 108 pass rating not significantly better than a 93 passer rating? But is that not a significantly better passer rating?
No, I agree.
So Joe Burrow was the first graded quarterback in PFF.
Hey, just stop arguing that point because as a passer, I'm with you. But you're saying quarterback. Quarterback's not.
Yes, as a quarterback, Joe Burrow was better than Josh Allen in the regular season.
Now you're losing me.
Josh Allen was not as high up in the MVP race as Joe Burrow. That's because Joe Burrow was better in the regular season. The separator, Josh Allen separated himself in the regular season. But this is 2 straight regular seasons. Joe Burrow has been better than Josh Allen. That's why I'm saying there is a legit conversation for him being the second best quarterback in the NFL right now. And he has put himself in that tier with Mahomes, with Allen, with Joe Burrow. When Joe Burrow was drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals, everybody said his career was over. They're going to ruin him. That was the narrative around Joe Burrow.
The MVP ladder, Burrow was 4 with 16 votes, and Allen was 5 at 13 votes. They were neck and neck.
So he was in the MVP race.
Cup actually had more votes than both of them at 20.
He had a historic
Cup should have
season.
been MVP,
That was
honestly.
But he was higher up in the MVP conversation.
I don't know, bro. Your argument just sounds inconsistent.
These guys are so close. Like I don't know if it's really worth debating.
It is.
It's not inconsistent. You're just overvaluing the rushing aspect.
No, you put
Overvaluing is nuts.
And also,
How do you overvalue that?
And Joe Burrow is once again one of the worst quarterbacks in terms of when he faces pressure, he gets sacked at the 3rd highest percentage. He's still struggling with it. I know he's improved with the Chiefs. I get it, but he's still struggling back-to-back years with that. Josh Allen is, one of the best.
What a 100 passer rating, right?
For sure. We're nitpicking. We're talking about the top 3
have to
quarterbacks
nitpick
in
when
the league.
Josh Allen has been inaccurate on short passes these past couple of weeks too.
He's been hurt.
Now I got a nitpick, right? Nitpicking Joe Burrow.
There's a difference between being injured and not being good at something for 2 years.
Joe Burrow has had the stats neck and neck with Josh Allen, and also last year Joe Burrow had the worst. Behind the Dolphins had the worst. They had the 31st worst offensive line in football. The Bills had a top 10 offensive line. We don't take that into account either.
Do you think that really matters?
Josh Allen.
We saw
it matters with
saw that.
Joe, what do you mean? The offensive line matters.
Josh.
The offensive line matters anywhere.
Josh makes things happen no matter what.
But the offensive line matters anywhere. We know that. It matters anywhere.
If you had to take one quarterback, would you take Josh Allen and Joe Burrow?
It's very close.
It is.
It's a toss-up. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Joe Burrow's definitively better, but if you look at the regular season numbers, the last 2 seasons, Joe Burrow has been better in the regular season. Josh Allen was better in the playoffs. All I'm saying is this a conversation. It's not a crazy conversation.
It's not a crazy
Joe
conversation.
Burrow changed the Bengals culture.
It's just you're like tossing away Josh Allen's one of the things that separates him from all these other quarterbacks.
And you're tossing
is rushing
away
ability.
the completion percentage
No,
and the passer ratings.
I'm not. I'm just saying you have to bake that in when you're talking about Josh Allen, who's one of the best playmakers in the game.
I do bake that in. They design more runs for Josh Allen too. As of recently, the Bengals this year have designed 21 designed runs for Joe Burrow. Last year was at 11. They've already doubled that. Joe Burrow's very athletic and great in the pocket.
Definitely.
Like he is.
It's one of my favorite aspects of his game.
Yeah,
honestly.
Joe Burrow versus the Chiefs made a lot of big time runs in that game. He doesn't run as often as Josh Allen. Let's be honest, Josh.
He's not as nearly as good of a runner.
But Josh Allen is a bit reckless when he runs. I'd actually prefer him not to run as much, and the Bills not use him as much in that way.
Wait, but reckless in what sense? That he doesn't
When he
slide?
jump over people and shit.
He tries to truck everybody.
Is that wrong,
Six,
though?
like,
The only
no.
thing that you could
He's
be
a big
worried
guy.
about is
He's
injury.
huge.
Which,
No, I love Josh Allen for that. I love his play style, but it is a reckless play style, and I think with everything the Bills asked Josh Allen to do, and that's not a recipe for durability long term in his
I
career.
understand that part.
Shout out to my guy Nick Reeder, $7 donation. He said,
Give him a
first
round of
off, love the
applause.
show. Can we talk about Dallas' draft class this year? Smith, Sam Williams.
Shout out to Nick Reeder.
Smith.
So what did
yeah,
he say?
the
First
tackle.
off, love the show. Can we talk about Dallas draft class this year? Smith, Sam, Williams, Bland, Hendershot, and Ferguson all contributing to a
reading this one
9-3 team.
Shout out to Dallas.
Dallas did have a great draft.
We're going
and
to talk about Dallas later in the show.
We are
will
gonna
for
talk
sure,
about
so stick
them.
around.
This next upcoming topic, Mojo draft. We're going to be drafting the top 8 rookie wide receivers. You know,
Let's do
names
it.
like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Traylon
Traquan
Burks,
did.
Christian Watson. Jameson's going to make his debut. He made his debut,
Facts.
but didn't play many
he didn't.
snaps.
Nope.
Now, who's going to go first?
Well, there's only one way to do this.
Little rock, paper, scissors
Rock,
action.
paper,
As we
scissors.
always do it.
As always.
I like to spin the wheel better. Last time I went out first.
All right, let's do the
We
spin
spin
the
the
wheel.
wheel?
Okay,
Let's spin the wheel,
When
whatever.
did we do that?
We did it last episode
Ah.
for the Mojo draft.
Because you don't win rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I don't know what it is. It's,
Not bad
I
luck.
usually do win it, though. We got to spin the wheel up right now.
We got these prices, too.
All right.
Yeah, I got the prices. Don't worry. And
Let me-
John, for each pick we make, is going to have the picture of the player
Let's
on
go,
the
John.
screen.
Shout out to John.
All right, we ready?
Yep. Let's
Here we
get
go.
to it.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Snake draft, by the way.
Come on,
Crazy.
Daddy.
Snake
Come on,
draft
Daddy. Come on,
with
Daddy.
the number 1 pick.
Looks like Dehls has
It's
The
rigged.
fix is
It's me.
in.
It's you?
The
I
fix
did
is
see it move a
in.
little bit more.
All right.
Dehls got number 1 pick. I know who he's picking. You better pick him.
They didn't want to pay rock, paper, scissors because I always win.
Number 2.
This is unbelievable.
Riv.
Riff.
Between Drew and I.
You know what? I'm fine with 4-5, honestly.
It's a snake
Well, there's
draft?
only 4.
I know.
Oh, I know.
Because
It's
you
8.
get back
Yeah.
to back, right?
Yep.
Nice.
And, of course, I will be getting...
Joel, then
Yeah.
Drew.
So, Riv, Dehls, you have the first pick
I do
in
have
the
the first
rookie
pick.
wide receiver draft. We're drafting the top 8 rookie wide receivers.
With the first pick in the rookie Mojo wide receiver draft, I will be taking Garrett Wilson. I know a lot of you were thinking I was going to take Traylon Burks, but
I thought you
I thought you were going to say Chris Olave.
when Garrett Wilson has a competent quarterback, these last 2 weeks, 5 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, 8 catches for 162. He was on pace with Mike White, very small sample size, for a 1,500-yard season. This guy is an elite wide receiver. The Jets have a superstar. That's why he's my first pick.
And right now, Garrett Wilson is $15.40 on Mojo. 709 yards for the season, 4 touchdowns. He's wide receiver number 1.
AD just
He's
went to
an
the
elite
locker room.
receiver.
No. Laughing's nuts. Laughing's
No,
just
it's more laughing at his face. Like I need my boy to have a good year, man. That's just Denver
That
put
does
him
suck.
down. Yeah, Denver put him down. LA. Damn.
Riv, you got the second pick in the draft.
Oh, this is easy as fuck. Yeah, you know music. With the second pick in the Mojo draft, I'm taking Chris Olave. I think that's a pretty easy one. Arguably the best wide receiver in his class. Garrett Wilson has definitely put himself in that conversation over the past couple weeks, but I think, having Michael Thomas on that team and asserting yourself as the number 1 guy is something real impressive. Hopefully they get a quarterback that can definitely put him in a better position, but I think he's fully established himself as a top 2, if not 2, definitely 1 best receiver in his class. So give me Chris Olave.
Just looking at Garrett Wilson's game logs, you have Flacco to start, the numbers he was putting up. Zach comes in. Ooh. Yeah. Then Mike White comes in. He's right back up. It's not great.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Just stop it. My goodness, you have no shame.
Damn, they're spamming 80s hurt.
With the number 3 pick in the wide receiver rookie draft, I'm going with the pick that might be a little bit surprising, but he's one of my guys. I'm going with Christian Watson.
I figured.
Hate to hear that.
Christian Watson, 25 receptions, 401 yards, 7 touchdowns on the season, and only 330 snaps. Now, he's been injured. He was injured early in the season, but since he's been healthy, he's been taking off. Whether it's been Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love, he's been going bonkers. I love them coming out of the draft, and he's my 3rd pick in the Mojo wide receiver draft.
I'm sorry, guys, if I'm a bit dejected. This Anthony dejected? It's like you're kind of like not in the scenario that you're in.
I definitely tried to use that one.
This hurts. I can't believe AD's in the locker room. I hope he's all right. So you can cue my music. With the 4th selection of the Mojo wide receiver rookie class draft, Andrew will be selecting Jameson Williams. Now, Jameson Williams has not really played his first full game yet. And even still, he's still the 3rd highest rookie wide receiver. 4th highest rookie wide receiver at $13.35. And this Lions offense is extremely good. And this is with Jared Goff. Who knows what happens when they go and they improve on their quarterback situation next year when they have a high draft pick from the Los Angeles Rams, ironically. So Jameson Williams, definitely still high on him. He was my wide receiver 1 coming into this season. And that's still to be waited on. Of course, he really hasn't arrived yet, but I do believe in his talent, his abilities. And you can cue my music one more time. Now, I'm torn because one guy I definitely like over the other. I think he is more talented, but he has not had the consistent production as opposed to this guy who he was hurt, of course, in the beginning of the year, came back, but since he's come back, you've seen his ability on display, and I'm talking about Treylon Burks. But the guy who I am going to be selecting is Drake London. Drake London has some of the most for sure hands in this rookie class. Before yesterday, actually, Olave hadn't dropped a pass, which was insane to see. But even
needed those 5 receptions.
Yeah, that's tough. It was a tough beat. But even still, Drake London has been or has shown abilities to be a future wide receiver star in this league, and he's doing this in an offense that does not pass that much. He started the year out hot, has cooled down because this offense has committed to the run, but it's not gonna allow me to ignore his skill set and his obvious talent. So that's why I'm going with Drake London.
Free Drake London, man.
Now I have the 6th pick, and I'm gonna be honest with this pick. I'm kind of torn because left on the board you have Treylon Burks, George Pickens, Alec Pierce, who I think is slept on.
Just for the record, if he doesn't pick Burks, I will not pick Burks.
I really feel like even though George Pickens has been the guy that when he makes a big-time play, he's on the highlights and stuff, Alec Pierce has been just as good. And you can argue Alec Pierce, if he has a better quarterback, because, Matt Ryan isn't as good as he once was.
Interesting.
Alec Pierce has been really good this year. I mean, you look at the stats. Treylon Burks has 359 yards, 1 touchdown. He's been injured. George Pickens, 512 yards. Alec Pierce, 510 yards. But you know what, Dehls? Gotta be fair. And because I'm fair, with the 6th pick in the wide receiver rookie draft, I'm going to go with Treylon Burks. I think Treylon Burks, had he not been hurt for most of the season, his numbers would look very good. And you look at the snap counts. He's only played 240 snaps this season compared to Pickens 643, Alec Pierce 531. And he has 359 yards, only like 150 yards shy of these guys in half the snaps. Yeah. And 1/3 of the snaps, actually. I'm going to go with Treylon Burks. He's been good when he's been on the field.
Superstar in the making, man. Hate to see it.
Nah, Treylon Burks is him.
Oh, really? I thought that was about to be, his breakout game. I mean, he has been in the last 2 weeks, but against tennis, the Eagles, then crazy touchdown catch and gets lit the fuck up.
He's really A.J. Brown light.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sure.
The pick is yours, Dehls.
No, it's definitely not.
That's Riff.
It's me.
Yeah.
You're going to skip my pick, man.
You better pick Alec Pierce.
No, I won't. This one's tough.
Better pick Alec Pierce.
Cue my music, please.
I know you're going.
This one was a tough one for me, but I'm going wild card. I'm going to take Jahan Dotson.
Ooh.
from Washington.
Okay.
5 TDs in limited snaps. He doesn't get the ball a lot, but when he does, it's damn near TD.
He's exciting to watch.
I like that. I like what they have in Washington. If they can get a quarterback out there to get Jahan Dotson some love, he's going to be a dog. So I'm gonna take the wild card on this one. I would have picked young boy, but
over George Pickens and Alec Pierce.
I was thinking about Pierce.
Nah, I'm fine
To be
with
honest,
bro.
I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with his game.
Nah,
but
I'm
Pierce
keeping
has been way
but
better.
he's not
He could be a wide receiver.
way better.
the young boy, I was
Yes.
thinking about young
Bro,
boy.
before he got hurt, Jahan Dotson was on pace to be the best rookie in
He was eating.
this class.
He has 232 yards on the
He
season, bro.
missed a lot of games.
Give me,
Alec Pierce has been better.
give me
That
Dotson.
touchdown
That's
against the Giants
a fire
was crazy
selection.
too.
Give me Dotson,
Jahan's
man.
him.
Jahan Dotson has 436 snaps on the season. Alec Pierce has 531.
Jesus Christ.
100 more snaps, but Pierce has over 300 yards.
It's more
on
of
him.
a
Dotson has
loaded room.
5 TDs.
I guess it's similar though.
It is similar.
Yeah, it is.
Pittman,
Pittman and
Campbell.
Harris.
How many yards Pierce has?
5 to 10.
Dotson has 233. 5 TDs.
5 TDs.
3 of them came with Wentz in like week 1.
That
100
Casey,
less.
the Giants touchdown last week was.
I know Jahan Dotson played well last week,
Sunday.
but
100
I'm
less
just
snaps.
saying. Like Alec Pierce he had a game-winning touchdown
Okay.
versus the
fair.
Jaguars.
Respectable. That's respectable.
Game-winning
Alec
touchdown.
Pierce.
He had a good game against the Giants.
You sleep on Alec
did.
Pierce, and
Dotson,
I don't
he
like
did.
that. I don't like that you sleep on
I
Alec
think he
Pierce.
could be a wide receiver 2 in the league.
Dotson?
All
Right next
that's
to
fair.
Scary.
That's
No,
not disrespect.
He right there with Scary. Open up the game.
I think that's the ceiling.
Not a fact.
21.
21-21.
That's great
Not
though.
a fact.
Number 2 for a second round pick.
AJ Brown's number was a second.
You
round
saw
pick.
that George Pickens was crying on the sideline because he wasn't getting the ball.
Yeah, I don't like to see him complain. He just hasn't earned that yet, sadly.
You have the last pick.
I do
in
have the
draft.
last pick, yes.
And
This
it's
is
between
easy.
2 guys, I think, right?
It is. It is
Him,
between 2
I
guys.
love it.
And with the last pick in the Mojo wide receiver draft, I will be taking George Pickens, my number 5 receiver in this draft class. I know Alec Pierce maybe been more consistent than George Pickens, but the upside that Pickens has, you can't really debate it. He has the size, the athleticism, the profile. He dominated Georgia year 1. He's had moments this year with the Steelers. It's a bit of a loaded wide receiver room, but with Chase Claypool there, I was expecting him to step up. He hasn't really. It's really been Pat Freiermuth has taken a step over these last few weeks. He's been playing at a really high level, but I still like Pickens' upside long term.
Let me ask you, I feel like the only word in my head right now is antics. Him being upset that he's not been getting the ball. He was like screaming on the sidelines, asking for it. Do you think that he's overstepping as a rookie, or do you like to see that?
He's overstepping as a rookie.
I don't love it. Not this soon into your career. Especially with the Steelers are right now. They're losing games, right? And you have a rookie quarterback. I'm sure he's trying to get everyone involved, make sure everyone's happy. So you're not just it's not really just a bad look for the team, but it's also this rookie quarterback who you're trying to elevate, who you're trying to, everyone wants to prove that he's the franchise guy. It makes it harder on him. Now Pickett feels like I have to get Pickens the ball. I have to give him X amount of targets per game, because if not, he might say something after the game or on social media that is gonna stir some things up.
Wow, Alec Pierce was snubbed. He was snubbed.
Why didn't you get him?
Because, come on, bro.
It's
I'm not
Jahan
going to take him
Clears.
over Traylon Burks.
Jalen Clears.
Who would you take him over?
I'll take him over Jahan Dotson, and George Pickens is tossed about taking him over George Pickens too.
Hell.
John, I want you right now to show the Alec Pierce price on Mojo. I'm going to go 1 through 10 in a bit on the prices that we have.
John, aren't you a Steelers guy?
What are your thoughts on what are your thoughts?
Chase down block LeBron.
What are your thoughts on Pickens?
I think he's a top 5 receiver in this class for sure.
Okay.
He had Trubisky throwing the ball half the year.
That's fair.
You said a top 5 receiver.
In this class.
Christian Watson, Wilson, Olave.
It's possible.
Drake
It's
London.
hard. I don't know if Christian Watson can score a touchdown.
I'm saying right now, Alec
He said
Pierce.
Aaron Rodgers.
Alec Pierce on Mojo is $7.64. I think he's severely undervalued.
that's a good
Jared
value.
Allen is
Alec
killing
Pierce
y'all.
is a very good
Who's
receiver.
around that? Do you have that top?
I don't know who's around that.
I mean,
Off
80's out right
7
now.
for 7.
I know.
It's 14
Gotta get
points.
80 back
Who?
on the court.
Jared Allen. You don't need 80 to know what he's going to do to stop him. It's
Anthony
Jared
Davis's
Allen.
rim protection
What's
is
the score?
essential.
He's
Thomas Bryant,
14
yeah.
He's 7 for 7.
No, what's the score of the game?
Oh, it's 24-25. I don't think they called LeBron for goaltending there, but I don't think it's goaltending.
To recap the Mojo wide receiver draft, these are the top 8 that we selected. Number 1 was Garrett Wilson at $15.40. Number 2, Chris Olave at $15.15. Number 3, Christian Watson at $8.44.
Steal.
Number 4, Jamison Williams at $13.34. Number 5, Drake London at $13.55. Number 6, Traylon Burks at $11.23.
That was steal.
Number 7, Jahan Dotson, $11.34. And number 8, George Pickens, $10.69.
No love for Romeo Dobbs.
No love for him.
I would have
More-
loved to have Watson at 4. That was ideal.
would've been hot.
That would have been ideal.
It would have been very good,
Very
yeah.
handsome.
Watson's really that dude, man.
He's been tweaking.
He's so far.
Watson's been my guy at it.
He has
Alec
been your
Pierce and Watson. Alec Pierce and Watson were both my guys.
They
coming
were.
out.
They were.
Hey.
Shout out to our boy Nasir, man. Shout out to the donation. Love y'all podcast. Which young player do you think can potentially be top 5 to 10 all time? In my opinion, I think Luka, Giannis, or Tatum.
I'll be honest.
There's
Jason Tatum cannot be a top 10 player.
I don't know. If,
Top 5, 10
Top
all
five, yeah,
time.
that's
Top 5
tough.
is fucking
The
nuts.
only-
Top five's
the
great.
only
Giannis is
one
the
right
only
now.
one.
Exactly.
Yeah, Giannis
It's
is the only
Giannis and Luka that can do it. Those are the two.
Luka needs to get some hardware.
I mean,
Hilarious
but yeah,
coming
but,
from the Tatum guy.
I just said I don't think Tatum's gonna be a top 5 player ever.
Oh.
but I think Luka and Giannis on
He
the
won't be
skill
top
level,
10.
yeah.
It would be very hard for him. He would need to win
A lot.
like 4 rings plus.
Giannis has the best case, though. In the comments down below, drop down your top 5
Giannis could
rookie
be
wide
top
receivers
10
from the
probably next year.
2022 class.
Is there a top 10 player all time that was bad on defense?
Bad?
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson wasn't bad on defense.
He was average at best.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He said bad.
Luka's not bad on defense. He's average.
He was bad. He's not bad now. He
Since
was
the-
He
bad.
wasn't
the
bad
first
last
he's
year
been
either.
Average.
Bad. Wait, his first 2 years in season in the league?
Yeah, I mean, Luka plays the passing lanes very well. He's a great team defender.
Okay.
He's just slow-footed. He can't keep up laterally, but Magic Johnson could not keep up in the perimeter with
I'm
guys.
going to get back to you on that Magic defense because I don't know enough.
Larry
about
Bird
his
was
defense,
a
honestly.
significantly better defender than Magic Johnson.
Larry Bird was actually
Larry
a
Bird
really
was a
good
great
defender.
He was a
defender.
great
He's
defender.
a great defender.
Magic Johnson was viewed as
I don't think there is one
somebody who can expose
bad defender in the top 10. I don't think there's one bad one. Average is like 1 or 2, maybe just 1. Depends on who's in your top 10 though.
Love that Tatum was in the question.
But
I'm
Magic
happy
is
about that.
obviously he's a locked top 10 player.
He's
Yeah,
locked top
they
5.
said he wasn't that great. He said average defensive player. Okay. I mean, I'll do my own homework on it. Interesting. Okay.
Now, this is the topic I've been waiting for.
You were trying to prop up Tatum's.
What did I say?
I don't know. I just love it.
Did you really? What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
He didn't say a
actually.
word,
I
actually.
don't think he said it.
He actually just asked the question. That was all it was.
Interesting. You ask a question and you get attacked.
I've been waiting for this topic all show.
Have you?
And I think the audience has been waiting for this topic all show. Dolphins and 49ers game. Dolphins lost 17-33. They're both 8-4 right now. It was cool. I thought the game was cool, right?
Yo, thank God you weren't at Max's. You should have saw the way this man was acting when Tua was getting sacked, throwing interceptions, and I've never seen him more excited. He was jumping up and down, screaming.
He's a hater.
Yeah, that's actually
it was
level 10
generational
hating.
hater. Yeah,
I am a hater. I saw this tweet from Drew after the first play of the game. Tua, 75-yard touchdown pass.
That
Trent
shit was
Sherfield.
fire.
Don't play with that boy.
I was
play with his
lit.
name.
I was lit.
And the way Drew tweeted it, I was like, it was a slant. and as the game progressed, tweets weren't coming as often. Just want to know what your thoughts were on the roller coaster of the game.
Roller coaster.
I mean, Tua was bad.
It was
That's
up
no
and
other
then
way to
just
put it.
down. Yeah.
And I guess we do a lot of semantics here, right? So Tua was
fine.
okay, right? Tua was okay.
That's very well said. Because
was
there's no other way to. No, listen. There's no way to prop it up. He was okay. I mean, what do you want to say?
He was bad.
I wouldn't say he was bad, because there was moments of being bad, but there was also moments of him being who he's been.
Like a drive.
I would disagree with that
Like
statement.
2 drives.
I was
No,
gonna
he-
say
it was more than 2.
In the fourth quarter, he was pretty clutch. The fumble, I don't really care about. They're already down 2 scores. They had no timeouts left on the clock. The game is over. But people have been mentioning that as a blemish on Tua's game. They just wanted to add to the bad game. That's fine. They can just run with whatever narrative that they have. But let's go off that I do care about. So the last 2 drives that he had, the perfect ball to Tyreek Hill, that was an insanely clutch, a perfectly dropped in there pass, excuse me. And then on the last drive of the game that he was trying to take the lead or tie the game to potentially take the lead with the extra point, he was clutch. He made some big throws. That throw to Tyreek Hill on 4th down didn't even need to happen because Trent Sherfield should have secured that catch on 3rd down. I mean, it looked as a catch, but of course you go to the ground and it moves. Any type of movement.
To Mike Gesicki?
No, that was to Trent Sherfield that he caught it on the out route, but then he went to the ground to secure it and got hit and kind of the ball moved a little bit and they called it incomplete. So now I'm talking about the one that Tua rolls out to the outside. Should have hit the fullback, honestly. It was a way easier pass, would have got the first, but instead throws the ball to Tyreek. Safer because it's Tyreek Hill, but As soon as he let that ball go, my stomach sank. I was nervous, but it was a perfectly put pass. Tyreek made a great catch on it. And now about the Gesicki dropped pass as well. It's certain plays that make or break a game. Think about it. All that happened prior to that drive. Tua was oversailing balls. Really, the most inaccurate we've seen Tua all season long. The pressure definitely got to Tua. It seemed as if every single play, Nick Bosa was in that backfield. He had one of the best games we've seen all season by a defensive player. He was all world. And we knew that was going to happen. We've said it. If Teron Armstead wasn't going to play, Bosa was going to have his way. Bosa is too good to not feast on those matchups. But Teron Armstead, as the week went on, it looked more and more unlikely that he was going to play. And, of course, Bosa had a spectacular game. But the pressure was too much. It seemed really as if Tua really didn't have enough time. The pressure was coming in, and it was kind of messing with Tua's psyche a little bit, had errant throws that we hadn't seen. But even with all that, Tua was still in position to win the game. And it's a drop pass on an out route to Mike Gesicki that honestly could have gone either way. Do you think that it was a catch?
I think it was a 50-50 play.
Yeah.
So a 50-50 play makes or breaks a game that Tua was easily the worst we've seen, and even still, he put his team in a position to potentially win the game.
With the backup quarterback they're facing.
And
Backup.
And we can talk about that also, because although Purdy is the backup to the backup,
Swag was there.
Purdy did everything that he was asked, which was not a lot. Hit McCaffrey, hit DK, hit Debo, see George Kittle. No doubt. He was very comfortable. Yep. I was telling this to Joel. It reminded me a lot of Mike White's performance against the Bengals. Not nearly as good, but just doing what you need to do. Don't do more. Don't do less. Just do what is being asked of you. Hit the easy throws, and that's exactly what Purdy did. He was big time. You can't take that away from the kid.
I agree.
But ultimately, you know what? The Tua haters can have this one. Tua did not play his best game by any means, and they did lose this game. I thought that Tua and the boys would be better. But Waddle goes down. Teron Armstead doesn't play. The run game really wasn't that great. Jeff Wilson really wasn't featured that much. Mostert really got a bulk of the load as well. A lot really went against Miami. Not to make excuses. The Niners defense is for real. But again, this is not something that I'm going to overreact to. The Dolphins aren't going to face a defense like this for the rest of the season. The Jets have a great defense in their own right, but I'm telling you, it's not on the level of the Niners. I did say that I thought that the Dolphins and Tua himself were going to overcome. But I was not expecting Jalen Waddle to go out as early as he did. He did try to return, but he made that one catch and then was out for the rest of the game after that as well. And Teron Armstead's absence, that I did talk about. That I did know that was going to impact the game. But I was not expecting Nick Bosa by himself to impact the game as much as he did.
He's DPOY.
So you have him over Micah?
They're
neck and
1-2.
neck.
Yeah.
It's a conversation.
He's
Absolutely.
He's the elite of the elite.
But Nick Bosa, perfectly said, Nick Bosa is in that top upper echelon defenders in the National Football League.
Can I go before you? Because I'm sure you're going to have like
15-minute
yeah, you're going to have a very long
To simply wrap up, I'm not really overly concerned about this. He did not have his best performance, and even still, he's one of two quarterbacks to throw for over 250 and 2 touchdowns against this Niners defense.
That's interesting.
You know who the other guy was?
Who was it?
Patty.
Nice.
But that's not a celebration. It's not a celebration. They lost.
I saw a tweet. Wasn't one of the part of that was the 75-yard short slant route?
Yeah.
Just want to go quickly, because I know you two. He says Tua haters. I am not a Tua hater. So,
no, I'm not talking. I'm talking to the masses.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of people in these comments, even 30 minutes before we had this section, were talking about how they couldn't wait to hear me try and make up excuses. There's no excuses.
We was propping this game up all week. This was one of Tua's first real tests late in the season against the Niners defense, one of the best defenses in the league. To me personally, I watched the game. I watched the full game. The Niners defense is elite, but I still saw Miami get a lot of open looks. I saw guys get open still. And realistically, if I'm being honest, this game was really on Tua. I think he had a bad game. He was missing a lot of guys. He was throwing the ball too high, especially for Tyreek. Wilson had a drop. A couple guys had a drop, but I think for the most part, Tua.
That Wilson drop was bad.
I just think for the most part, Tua was just very uncomfortable that day. I think he was being very abnormal. He wasn't as accurate as he usually is, and he was missing a lot of throws in the first half. The second half, he had about 2-3 good drives, but for the most part, I think he just had a bad game. And I do agree that the Niners have an elite defense, but I still think Miami was able to get open looks down the field. I still think they was able to get in their spots. Tua was just missing them. It was very abnormal of him that he was just missing them. So I think ultimately when you play a team like this and you have to come to play, your quarterback needs to be at your best, especially with somebody like Tua who gets scrutinized as he does, and somebody who's the radar is on him every single week. You can't afford to have a blemish, especially against a team like this in a moment like this, a big game like that.
You can't afford to have it because you know the guys are they're begging and waiting.
And it's one thing if it's like what Hurts, right? When he played the Commanders, his receivers was dropping the ball, they was fumbling and shit, like it was bad. With this one, it was really just all on Tua.
I disagree with that. All on him.
It was.
All on him implies that
part.
Tua did nothing to benefit the boys.
Okay,
all on him implies that.
Wait, all right, you're straight. He benefited them, but he was making a lot of bad throws.
All on him also implies that the boys didn't drop any passes.
They dropped a few.
He missed more passes than they dropped
by a significant
But
amount.
they dropped. They listen, no doubt, he did not play his best football. But that Wilson drop is bad.
It was.
He made that
just
throw.
like that Tyreek Hill throw where he threw it completely over a 5-5 guy.
He made that throw a couple weeks ago against the Lions.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle, perfect drop. Pass.
But
he made that exact same throw to Wilson, and Wilson just could not hang on.
That's why I said it was an abnormal game. He was just off.
But he wasn't off. That was a perfect pass to Wilson.
No, I'm talking about last week with Hill.
Wilson didn't even have his head turned around.
That was a good pass to Wilson.
Wilson had right on his body.
Wilson should have caught it.
I think,
but he's not that type of level to catch that.
I think that pass is safe to say that there was some miscommunication there. Don't know whose end it was on. Still not a good decision. Even if he passed it to
Wilson.
There was a linebacker right there.
No,
that's why he intercepted it.
I'm talking to Jeff. Bro, I'm talking about the pass on the sideline.
I'm talking about the interception.
Oh, that's different. First off, Wilson did slip, and so did Tua.
He slipped, but his head wasn't even turned around at that point.
Because
he
fell.
If he didn't fall,
if he didn't fall, he was probably gonna.
If he doesn't fall, it's not an INT.
It's probably an incompletion.
Yeah, but
which
it's still
much better.
Yeah, but it's still not a great decision.
But we can talk about the one interception that was egregious. Was the one to Tyreek Hill for sure.
That was bad.
That throw I saw, and of all the throws that we want to talk about, that's the one that I look at and want back more than any other one.
Now, where do I start with this?
There you go.
Right.
I wish I had water.
Now it's funny because a lot of Dolphins fans on Twitter. I got a rivalry with Dolphins fans on Twitter. Each time I tweet about Tua, Dolphins, I mention the name. Oh, there's a boatload of replies, right?
Even I don't like them. And let me say something before you go off. Take it easy on this man, all right? He's just tweeting his opinion. Just because he does not agree with you does not mean that y'all can come nasty at him.
To be fair, sometimes he trolls.
Nah, but the way that they come, the way that they talk, the way that they be talking about Joel is honestly disgusting sometimes.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's all I wanted to say.
Sometimes
it comes with the.
It does come with it, but they take it to a different level that is beyond. That's all I wanted to say.
It's funny because Dolphins fans, and I think that the leader of the Dolphins fan club who's really pushing a lot of agendas is this guy VBS, right? When Tua went on this run where he was beating up on bad defenses and everybody was pointing to the run of elite defense he's going to ultimately face, you know what he tweeted? Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
I was one of those.
Yeah, you were. And last week, I remember you saying he's going to throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns and have a signature performance.
It was close. I was close. Wasn't I?
No.
I was close.
Now, Tua, my goodness. You beat up the Bears. You beat up the Browns.
As you should.
You beat up the Lions. You beat up the Texans.
The Ravens.
Yeah.
Great game.
Keep going.
But these were the past couple of games, right? That, Tua was having these great, perfect performances, throwing to wide open guys. He passed the quizzes. This was the first test.
No way you're repeating yourself from the Joel Moran show. Come on, man.
Oh, that was a great line. And I love that line.
I actually do love that line.
Don't bring that on PSA, man.
He passed the quizzes. Yeah. He didn't pass the test. He ain't had an answer, Sway. He didn't have the answers. Now, when talking about this Tua game and the Dolphins in general, we know the first play of the game, 75-yard touchdown to Sherfield. That was just something that Sherfield took it to the house. To Sean Gibson had a bad angle on it.
It was a good read by Tua, even better play by Sherfield.
After that first drive,
it got bad.
It was a pile of 3 and outs.
The pressure was insane.
The start of the third quarter, there was some momentum going. Tua broke away from a sack and hit Tyreek Hill on the sideline. That was a phenomenal throw, something I didn't know he had in him.
He's done it all season. What are you talking about?
And then penalties piled up, and then Tua threw an interception to Jimmy Ward. That was a great drive. It stalled out because of penalties. And then the Ward interception happened. The 49ers go on a scoring drive. They go up 20-10. Now the Dolphins need to score. I mean, this is desperation. They need a drive. They need a great drive quickly. And on that drive that they needed, the Dolphins need to score, and Tua throws another interception. The 49ers get a field goal, make it 23-20. That was a bad read by Tua. He just sailed it over Tyreek Hill. And the fourth quarter happens. He has that touchdown bomb to Tyreek Hill. That was a great pass. It was right on the money. Tyreek Hill was wide open. So when it comes to that play, I don't want to take anything away from Tua, but I want to highlight Mike McDaniel in that play because that was a similar concept they used in the Ravens or Bills game. One of those games, I can't seem to remember which one it was, where you have the safety bite on an in-cut route, and that frees up the post. And I thought that was just another amazing play call for Mike McDaniel to get something going. When that play happened, I was having flashbacks to the Ravens game. I was like, maybe it's going to be an array of touchdown passes and Tua's just going to get going. And after that, just really didn't get going.
They had the drive after.
They had the drive, the Gesicki drop, yes. Right? But then the next drive, Tua fumbles, Nick Bosa.
The game was over.
Yeah, I mean, over. I wouldn't say it's
9
over.
9 points, no timeout.
There was
2 minutes and like 30 seconds left.
It would have been really hard.
But Tua gets sacked, fumbles, returned by Drake Greenlaw. That was basically the game.
It was.
And I will mention this. The second drive of the game, I believe, Tua, there's a wheel route called for Tyreek Hill. Tua sees it. He's about to pass it. He hesitates. And he ultimately does pass it. Lenore, the corner, almost breaks on it and has an interception. That was another bad read, and I think it was just hesitation.
Is that the second drive?
It was the second or third drive. It was very early in the game.
Because what happened was, now that I know what you're talking about, because I think Emmanuel Acho, he went over it. It was the exact same play as the first play that was a touchdown, except flipped. So they had Sherfield, which is, if you wanted to highlight that, I'm with you. And it was also a weird miscommunication between Tyreek as well. But he had Sherfield in the exact same play flipped for probably a good game. I don't know about a touchdown, but for some reason, instead of seeing Sherfield, he kind of hesitates there and then goes to Tyreek. Mistake there.
Now, it's simple, this game, what it was for Tua. It was an off game. He was missing throws high the entire game.
He was.
Which is honestly surprising to me. He kind of usually underthrows things, right? He was overthrowing his entire game.
It was inevitable. I was waiting for a backhanded one. That's fine.
2 interceptions.
You've been calm so far. I'm fine with this.
Neither was good in my opinion. Nick Bosa, 3 sacks.
The first one, come on.
So was a game
Fred Warner, his lengthiness, ranginess.
He's a problem.
To cover the middle of the field. Dre Greenlaw, his speed. I remember week 1 when Drew came here and we had the Russell Wilson debate, right? After they lost to Seattle. And I relate this to that because I'm about to explain it in a minute. Many viewed my take on Russ an overreaction. Weeks later, it wasn't.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Q sent us $50. Shout out to Q.
Shout out to Q.
Shout out.
Continue.
It wasn't an overreaction. I don't feel the same way about Tua right now. I do think it's an off game. I do think the Dolphins offense will be good.
Wow.
I don't see them dropping off.
No, I knew this was coming.
Growth was the word I was going to use.
No, I'm be honest. I knew this was coming. Because watching the film back, yes, you can say Tua did not have his best game by far, but there were moments where he did step up. That's why when you started the segment saying he wasn't bad, he was okay, I knew we were going to have calm dialogue. Because this wasn't an overall terrible game by Tua. It really wasn't.
And like people said, it was against the 49ers defense. This is a great defense.
Absolutely.
An elite defense, the top of the top.
Facts.
The Dolphins offense will be fine. I still have worries about Tua in playoff games, and I think he will slow down as he stretches defenses he faces. You know, they're ultimately better. That it is what it is. I don't think he is going to stay where he's been at.
Why?
Because I just don't think it's going to
happen. I don't like that reasoning. I don't like that reasoning.
But I am worried about their defense. I am.
That's the statement.
And Josh Boyer is way too aggressive. He blitz blocked Brock Purdy most of the day when I don't think he should have really blitzed him because they were getting home without pressure anyway. Look, Brock Purdy was okay. Everybody's overreacting to this performance. I thought he got away with a lot of stuff. Watching the film back, I thought that Brock Purdy made some terrible decisions that just didn't come back to bite him.
Fair enough.
the 49ers are done. They might win a playoff game, maybe 2. They're done. They're cooked. Jimmy G's not out for the season, but Jimmy G is going to be back by the NFC Championship game. Maybe he comes back earlier and plays through pain.
I was going to say he avoided the Liz Frank, which is enormous.
But Brock Purdy's not doing anything. Let's not hype this up. He made some clutch third down throws. I understand. He was prepared. I like that he was prepared.
Time.
I'm not overreacting to that. When it comes to Tua, when you take away that first read, when you make
be careful
him
with the
think,
statement.
He does
that
hesitate.
Is incorrect.
And all I've been saying this entire season, and I don't know why it's so controversial. He's not on the level of Herbert or Joe Burrow.
Come on.
Right? Have I not said that Tua is like a Tannehill, is like a Jimmy G, is like a Kirk where he can win? That's all I've said. I never called him a trash quarterback. I've said you can win with Tua.
Never called him a trash quarterback?
This season.
In 2022? No. Since the start of the NFL, 2022
Since
season.
September of 2022.
I never called him a trash quarterback.
Never?
I have
in your
not.
life?
In my life, I have.
Okay.
But even in 2020, when he got drafted that year, I already had a take that Tua is Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what the take I had.
And that
I
take
compare Tua to Goff.
It's wrong.
To Goff. I compare Tua to Goff, to Jimmy G, to Kirk, to Tannehill.
Just keep finding
that
them.
range of guys.
Keep finding them.
When I look at Tua, although he was pressured, I don't think the pressure is what made him have an off game. Like, it was definitely there, but he was just missing throws.
Come on.
He was missing throws.
For sure.
He was, and there were clean pockets where he was missing throws. And Tua does not have the same pocket presence as a Burrow, where he's moving around in the pocket. He's finding lanes. He doesn't have that same.
He's got pretty good pocket presence.
He doesn't have that same. I get out the pocket and throw a dot.
Oh, okay.
Tua doesn't have that, and that's why I think there's a limited ceiling with Tua in this offense. They've been playing fantastic. It's the first year.
Limited ceiling?
Limited ceiling is number 1 overall.
I do think it's to this point.
All right, and
We'll
I know you want to go.
I know
You want to go, but there's 2 statements you made that I didn't love. The first one, that once his first read's gone, that he struggles. That statement is wildly incorrect, King. You're talking about the Niners defense, who got some of the best pressure we've seen on the Dolphins.
They made him think a lot.
Absolutely. But that is not pressure that he has seen this season, especially without Teron Armstead. I mean, without Teron Armstead, it's a completely different story, because we understand how bad the Dolphins O-line was last year. And this year it really hasn't been great, but even still, Tua is still getting the ball out relatively quick. And Teron Armstead's on this offensive line, automatically that makes you better. But without your best without arguably, what is Teron? A top 3 left tackle in the game. Without him against the best pass rush in the NFL, it was going to be a trouble on Sunday.
Joe Burrow last year faced the 49ers, elite defense. They lost in overtime 26-23. Burrow, we know, has a trash offensive line.
Joe Burrow's better.
348 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He played a phenomenal, great game.
Joe Burrow's better, though.
And
he is better.
But this is also with Waddle missing some of the game, and by some, I mean
70%.
basically the whole game.
Fair.
And the whole first read thing, dude, that really, to me, you watched the game, so I won't throw you that statement. But if you do watch Tua, you understand. He sees his first read, the eye manipulation, draws the defense. He sees his second read. Oh, that's not there? Then you said he doesn't have great pocket presence. He's shown this season that narrative is wrong. He knows how to step up, get to his left, get to his strong side.
It's solid. It's not Burrow.
But no one's saying that it's Joe Burrow.
You said he's better than Joe Burrow.
I did say that he's better than Joe Burrow. I never said that his pocket presence was better than Joe Burrow.
So what makes him better than Joe Burrow?
I just think that his accuracy, his ability to
Joe Burrow led
know
the league
what's
in
going to
accuracy
happen
last
prior.
year.
Okay, and this year Tua is arguably the best in the game. I mean, we know
Not
when
better
it
than
comes
Geno.
when it comes to accuracy, I would take Tua over every quarterback in the league. When it comes to accuracy, Tua is the most accurate.
Geno has 9 games of an above 100 passer rating than most of any quarterback in the NFL.
Listen, I'm not throwing slight to Geno or the Seahawks for the rest of the season. He's earned that. Geno's been spectacular. But I'm talking about Tua specifically. Tua's accuracy is second to none. His ability to manipulate defenses with his eyes is second to none.
Not better than Burrow's.
I disagree with that statement.
It's just
Burrow
not.
does some great things as well. Is there a throw that Tua can't make?
Yeah.
Which ones?
There is.
Is there
throws
throws
a lot of throws.
That's not.
I'd
that's
worry
wrong.
about him going to his right and making throws.
That is well said. I'm fine with that.
That's the
but
one area
we've seen him complete passes going to his right. It isn't his most.
There was
level
actually
of other
one play
quarterbacks.
in the game where he was rolling to his right, or he stepped up in the pocket and rolled to his right. Trent Sherfield was wide open.
That's the one.
And he missed.
No, I'm talking also. That's also the pass that Trent Sherfield dropped the ball. That was also him going to his
he
right
didn't,
too.
he didn't drop it.
No, Trent
The play
Sherfield
I'm
dropped.
talking
Oh,
about.
the one that you're
He
talking
didn't.
about.
He
Okay.
sailed it over him.
I was gonna say Tua definitely did not have his most impressive game by any means, but even still, that can't take away from the fact of all season his ability to see the first read, see the second read.
You're gonna go. Just let me say this stat.
One of these days.
Against the top defenses, the Ravens, the Bills, the Patriots, the Niners now. I think I'm missing one. I know it's 5. The Bengals.
Well,
Tua has.
Don't count the Bengals. Are you going to count the Bengals?
Why not?
Come on, man.
Why not? All right. But even if, right, he only had 1 interception in that game anyway. It's not like it was crazy, right? Mm-hmm. He's completing 65% of his passes. These are against top defenses.
That's a good
He's
number.
completing 65% of his passes, has 10 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and a 96 passer rating. That's good.
That's pretty damn
pretty
good.
It's not elite.
But you're singling out the top of the defenses.
And to
So
do
Yeah,
that
Joe
against
Burrow
the top
performs against
defense.
top defense.
I know, but Joe Burrow stats last year, some of them were against bad defenses
What
too.
top
That's just the
defense
schedule.
has he played this year, Joe Burrow, in your opinion?
the Jets, and he torched them.
Early in the year, our defense was not what it is
this.
today. We both know that. The
He-
defense
he
today
torched
is
them.
elite. The defense in week 2 or 3 was
All right, the
fine,
Ravens'
maybe.
defense back then is not what it was now. So we take away that 6 touchdown game then?
No, but that was so upper echelon, so insane
And
that
they
you
blew
do it.
an insane amount of
He had
coverages
28
in that
points
game.
in
I
the
know,
fourth
but
quarter,
you have to
dude.
They
give
blew
him credit.
coverages.
They did, for sure, but you don't put up 28 points in a quarter. You don't have 6
Yeah,
touchdowns.
you do if you
in
blow
your-
coverages every other play.
Yeah, but you can't just throw it
Joel,
away, bro.
true or false?
You can't just throw
You
it
blow
away.
coverages. Do you still have to execute?
Yeah, those were good
So
passes.
then that's it.
There's no doubt.
But that's
But
it.
I can say the Ravens' defense is not what it was then. Now
20 points.
they had
Quarters is crazy,
miscommunication
though.
everywhere that game.
I agree, but when you're so great, I give you a break. You two done for it?
Oh no, for sure. I just wanted to get on all his points.
I'm excited actually. A few different points. First of all, I do think Tua is pretty damn good in terms of manipulating the pocket and using his eyes. I think his pocket presence and mobility this year has drastically improved.
Vastly improved.
That has come with health as well, for sure. I'm not ready to put him in that Joe Burrow tier without a doubt, but I think he can move around the
Coming
pocket,
soon, man.
and I think he could definitely get off his first read. Tua has made multiple throws in damn near every game this season. You see him go through his progression. You see him, like Drew said, be able to look off the safety linebacker, whoever it might be, and make that second read throw. But my biggest takeaway from this game is that the Dolphins don't have to play the 49ers in the playoffs. I think if you're a Dolphins fan, if you're a Tua supporter, that should be your biggest takeaway from this game, because their competition in the AFC, the big 3 we discussed, you have the Chiefs, who are an average scoring defense, allow the 10th most passing yards per game, but also you got to think about a lot of teams are losing to the Chiefs. The Bills, who are a top 5 scoring defense, but in 7 of their 12 games, they've allowed 20 or more points. They have a lot of that coming. I know DVOA, they're 7th. They've showed up in some games like the Titans, Steelers, and Patriots where they've allowed 10 or less points in those games, but more than half of them, they've allowed 20 or more points. You could score on the Bills. And then the Bengals, 13th in scoring defense, middle of the pack against the pass. So these top 3 teams against Miami, who Miami will be playing, don't have elite defenses. They don't have San Francisco level defenses. Even Dallas's defense, who obviously in the NFC, they're not going to have to face. The only elite defense they will have to play, and if that's either of these teams make the playoffs, or the Patriots and the New York Jets. And most likely, whichever team that is probably going to have to go on the road to play Miami. So Miami's not going to deal with the cold weather, the wind, the snow, the rain, whatever it might be in New York or New England. That's a huge advantage to them. So the fact that you're going to have to go against an above average defense at worst with these top 3 teams, you have to feel pretty confident about with the Miami Dolphins. I've seen week after week, 2+ months now, almost 3 months of Tua playing at an elite level. This was a game I expected them to come down.
So, Dehls, can I ask you a quick question? Sorry. You said the Bengals were 13th in defense?
Scoring defense, yes.
So
Middle of the pack against the pass.
okay, so do you look at it as if Miami has to go on the road against the Bills or Cincinnati? Do you look at it as it may not be Niners defense, but it's like, all right, it's good, but also the weather, which
That's the
includes-
biggest concern, because with those 3 teams, these are probably all the teams that are going to win the division. I mean, the Dolphins have an outside chance to win the AFC East for sure. What are they, a game behind, I want to say?
They're a game behind now.
And they already have a win over Buffalo too, which is huge.
The
So
one they play will probably be the game that
yes.
decides.
So if Miami is staying at home and you're playing average defenses, why can't they beat any of these teams? I don't know if I'd be taking them to win these games, but if you're a Miami fan, if you're a Tua supporter,
slightly
but
better.
the Dolphins defense, that is what is really holding them back, because you could, rag on Tua, he's missing throws. you can't let Brock Purdy do what Brock Purdy does. I know the system he did is great with Shanahan and all these weapons, but you can't have a third-string quarterback come in and carve up your defense.
It's the lack of middle linebackers for them. It's linebackers as a whole, because Melvin Ingram, Phillips and Bradley Chubb is an amazing pass rush.
Yeah.
Christian Wilkins.
Another one.
The line is.
I can't believe
the line
I forgot
is
about
set.
Wilkins. The
Look,
line is
the
great.
Dolphins have a talented defense. The fact that they're not a good defense
On the
is
coordinator.
Josh Boyer.
It really is.
Yeah, you have Holland, you have Xavier.
But Xavier, this is probably the worst we've ever seen Xavier. He has moments of being good. Of course, he's Xavier Howard, but for the most part, this is the most we've seen him get cooked. He had a great play made to intercept the ball this past weekend, but outside of that, he struggled to a bit. Byron Jones has been unhealthy up and down. Javon Hollins is savage. He's amazing. But it really is on the coordinator to get this ship in order. It looked as if these last couple weeks before this Niners game that they were getting it together, but it was against weaker against weaker offenses. So you had to. I guess I should have took it with a grain of salt. But it never should have been. They never should have been in a position where Purdy was torching them.
Dehls, what I want to say to that is that
Purdy was solid, man.
He was.
That's an optimistic view that you're viewing that from. The Bills are only getting reinforcements defensively. Trey White is playing more. He's getting healthier. Von Miller's going to be healthy for the playoffs. That's why they're not playing him right now. Ed Oliver didn't play that first game versus the Dolphins. A lot of guys ain't play that first game versus the Dolphins.
Is Hyde and Poyer...
Micah Hyde is out.
Hyde's done,
Jordan
and Poyer
Poyer
is back.
He's
Poyer's
been
back.
Got it.
He caught a pick last week or 2 weeks ago. It was one of those.
All right.
So the Dolphins faced the banged up Bills defense, and also we're not taking into account the biggest thing. They have faced Miami already. They are prepared for what they want to do. They have film on what they do well.
But Josh is still hurt, to be fair.
Josh is still hurt, but I'm going to still trust Josh.
I
hope he's progressing.
And I'm going to trust that Sean McDermott cultivating the game plan to neutralize that over-the-top stuff from Miami.
Gotta hope he's progressing injury-wise.
I mean, have you watched him? He still can't. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's getting better, though.
The Bengals, the first matchup with Miami, when Tua was in, he did not look very good.
We're talking about a quarter.
Disagree, man. That
He
first drive,
56% of his
that
passes.
first drive, he was meticulous.
I know.
And let's be
we're
real.
talking about a quarter.
That Chase Edmonds
He had like
a
3
touchdown.
potential interceptions in that game alone while he was in.
Well,
Teddy was solid.
the first drive, he was perfect.
First drive, he was perfect.
The first drive,
Though the interception to Tyreek was awful.
that was bad.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
but he
the
had
other
some
stuff
other
on my head.
errant passes. What I'm saying is that the Bengals
I
already
was ready to
showed.
praise him and be like, yo, you have this.
The
growth,
Bengals
you know,
already.
you're
The
not
Bengals
over-
already
no,
showed.
He's not
that-
overreacting.
No, I'm Joel.
I'm not
I mean,
overreacting.
No, you're no.
I know.
Not even a little
I know. I'm giving you
Joel,
credit because
this
this is
is-
unlike you. This is
the
out
most-
of.
This is not unlike
out
me.
of character.
This is
for
me
you.
every day.
This
No,
is what we
it's-
can say.
no, it's
This
not.
is the most cordial debate that we've had
Easily.
with Tua.
What I'm
by
going to
far.
say, this is a Week 13 game.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's a Week 13 game.
with
I'm
you.
not going to say Tua. I've been consistent with what I've been saying about Tua. He's a system quarterback.
But is he?
And yes, he is.
He elevates
You
players
can be a
around him.
great system quarterback. Just because you're a system quarterback doesn't mean you're bad. He can be a great.
There's something to say about quarterbacks who elevate the play around him. Tua elevates Tyreek. He elevates Jalen Waddle. He elevates this offense without a doubt.
compared to Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean, compared to, like, you see his stats. He's top 3, 5 in
If
damn
he
near
was-
everything.
Look, I know
He
you
was-
want to like fall in love with the stats. I get it.
What do you mean fall?
There's
How
not-
about you
you-
use your eyes?
I don't know if
Use
I
your
don't know if I
eyes.
would say number one in terms of I take him over all these
With
other
my
guys.
eyes,
but
I seen the Pittsburgh Steelers drop like 4 or 5 interceptions.
for sure.
Ver-
That's also his first game back
That was
from a
first game
concussion,
back,
the
bro.
ten-
Getting
ver-
this-
ver-
one of the
versus
most
the-
gruesome.
ver-
That's not one of the
Bro,
most
he just got- he-
gruesome
come on.
hits we've ever seen.
Versus
Yo,
the
cut him some
Texans.
slack.
Versus the Texans, you had 2 dropped interceptions.
Okay, but even still, you could talk about the dropped
The
interceptions.
Texans have a sleepy good
the
secondary.
positives
It's solid.
far
middle of the
outweigh
pack.
the dropped interceptions here, the errant passes here, the lack of arm strength. The positives of Tua far outweigh that. I think we should be able to agree on that at this point.
The Tua concussion was horrible.
Awful.
He had like 2-3 weeks to come back from that in that game.
That doesn't matter. Your mindset when you go into a game and there's live people coming at you trying to hurt you, your mindset changes than when you're on the bench.
I don't want to take it. The injury was gruesome. I don't want to even minimize it a little bit. But he was ready to play the very next week. He wanted to keep playing.
Well,
Because he's different.
The Dolphins had to sit him out. They had to.
Yeah,
There's a whole
publicity would have been
there's
terrible.
He
a
was
whole-
ready to play.
There's a whole Tua rule now. That's how bad that injury
Literally,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, because it was a primetime national game and the NFL wants to fake care about it.
Take it easy.
That's
think
a fact.
it's more
I
than-
don't disagree
Because I saw
strongly.
Chris Olave have a concussion similar to that the very next week, and nobody said anything about it.
I'm not disagreeing.
It was a nationally televised game, and the NFL wanted to fake care about it.
Well, they
so they
changed
made all
rules.
those rules.
If you have that situation where you're wobbly or you're like Treylon, same thing happened where his hands got stuck there, he got ruled out right away. They've changed. Like, yes, I don't disagree. The NFL is very sketchy, but they implemented rules.
Don't like picking and choosing, right? Because in the Bills game, he was wobbly. He came back in that game and made a great play to Jalen Waddle, right? And we pray.
Yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut it off.
Shaq,
Bro.
was that Shaq?
Bro. Oh my God. I'm blanking on his name right now. Not Kenny, bro. He just chucked Shaq into the Christmas tree. Bro, they're getting Shaq out. I'm crying.
Yo.
They be having fun.
I'll show you the replay when they show it. I'm sorry. It just caught me so off guard.
But
Yo.
we praise that pass, but now 2 weeks off of that injury, I can't say this was a bad pass by Tua because of that. I just, come on, bro. Let's not pick and choose here. Let's not pick and choose. That's all I'm saying.
heard him.
But you're picking and choosing by doing that.
No, he had multiple weeks.
Bro, what, like, honest,
come back
let's be completely honest. You could point out, oh, he bodied him.
That was crazy.
Shaq too big for
All right,
shit
keep
like
going.
Yeah, he Tua's negative plays compared to his positive plays this year. You're pointing out the negative plays. I mean, that's what, maybe 15% of Tua this year. 85% of the time, he's been damn near fantastic.
He really has been.
Like, you could say nitpick, pick and choose, whatever you want. Tua's been fantastic far more often than not this season.
I never said he hasn't been. I think Tua has been very good this
so
year.
what are
He's
you're
been
no,
fantastic.
you're,
listen,
you're just
dude,
telling me I'm nitpicking.
No, I'll say
But but I've also said this all year. I've said this is a new offense. Their defenses are still having trouble
For sure.
stopping it.
For sure.
They're having trouble playing Tua. And now versus the Texans, it was an okay game. You know, Tua played amazing. They took him out in the
team
second
dominated.
half. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But, you know, he made some errant throws in that game that weren't capitalized on. Versus the 49ers, he didn't play so well.
Would you
We're
agree
gonna
that
see
every
down the stretch of the
quarterback
season
has
how
that?
he looks? Every quarterback does have
As
it.
what?
That has errant throws that defenses
course,
don't take
yes.
advantage of.
Yeah,
That's
quarterbacks aren't perfect.
Everyone has it.
But
Mahomes even has it. And Mahomes is better than, like, that's just
But I
obviously
also
not even a
understand that
conversation.
this is Tua's first year doing this in an offense that, I mean, they're scheming guys wide open.
For sure.
Like analysts that cover the NFL.
I just don't
and it's
like
not,
that.
No,
I don't like it.
It's true.
No,
And
I'm not saying
what-
you're wrong,
nobody's
but
trying
why
to-
are we using
nobody-
that to say that
nobody's
Tua
trying
hasn't
to-
been what he's been?
Nobody's trying to minimize Tua when saying that.
But you
It's just viewing it from an analytical standpoint.
So Andy Reid schemes guys open as well.
He does.
All right, so then why don't we say that when we talk about how great Mahomes is?
Because Mahomes,
we acknowledge Mahomes is great, right?
Because when things break down, there's nothing there. Mahomes makes something out of nothing.
But Tua can do that also.
Not at
to
that
Mahomes.
level.
No, 100% right. You're
Not
100%
even close to
right.
that level.
But see, now you're getting rude.
No, I'm not getting rude. He's not close to
even
Mahomes.
But we've seen Tua already
Mahomes on a tear of his
evade
own.
sacks, have a spin-off, throw a touchdown. Right on the money. It's not on their level, but to say it's not even close.
It's not.
We've seen him do it.
It's not
We've
close.
seen him do it.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just saw your fucking tweet
About what?
about the Vikings interception, bro.
What do you mean?
Oh my, bro said, cool to see. Sorry, he put a picture up of the game stealing interception that Mike White had. He threw the interception, and I don't know who this is. Cameron Beasley.
Cameron
This is his Instagram account.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
He showed how he did it.
He showed the play, and it says pick opportunity. Joel says, cool to see hard work and preparation paying off on the field. Hashtag skull.
What's wrong with that?
After
bro?
they just beat
You
y'all.
beat the Jets.
That's a good play. I can't praise that
You
play.
don't. No hashtag skull. If you didn't have the hashtag, I've been fine with it.
My-
the hashtag skull is ridiculous.
It's out
Bro,
of
my
pocket,
bio literally says I'm a Minnesota ally.
dude.
Yeah, but
I'll be
Vikings
honest,
fans
Joel,
fuck with
go
me.
fuck yourself.
Listen, I've
fuck
already
yourself,
said I'm
buddy.
off this Jets train with
Fuck
you
you,
right
dude.
now.
Fuck
I've
you.
already said that. Listen, I wish you the best, Dehls. I really do.
We're good
I
over
really
here.
do.
We got Rob, we got JD, we got Sauce.
You not
we
good.
got
You
Garrett,
haven't
we
made the
got
playoffs
Reese.
in a decade. You haven't made the playoff drought.
Mike.
I was waiting on that one.
I can't praise a player for making a fantastic play.
You
know
can
what?
without the skull.
You
Hashtag
know what?
skull.
I'll tell a great story about that. Right, Cameron Bynum. Last year, I made a video on the Vikings draft, and in that draft, they drafted Cameron Bynum. His sister was kind enough to comment on my video and
Shout
said
out.
they just drafted my brother. They're getting a hard worker, and he can't wait to be in Minnesota. And he makes a play like that. I rock with Skull. I rock with Skull.
Shout out to my boy Aiden P. You're a traitor. That's
I'm a
exactly
traitor?
what you are.
I guess so.
Interesting.
I'm a winner.
Nah,
I go to the winning side.
It doesn't
correlate.
work like
I
that.
go to the winning side.
It doesn't work like
That's
that.
why I got Joey B on my side and Mahomes. I'm all about winning, baby. I'm all about winning. I'm all about
You're a
winning.
Knicks fan.
It's all my football.
You're a Jets fan.
Don't stoop to that level, dude. Keep conversations correlated, dude. All right, we're not them.
What do you mean them?
So you're
You
on the,
do that.
So you're
You're
on
one
this
of
train.
the leaders of that shit.
No, you are definitely the leader
So
of
hold
that
up,
shit.
Dehls. I just want to make sure. So you're on the train that
What are you
Tua's
talking
elite.
about? The Knicks haven't won a championship since '73.
We're talking about the Lakers or some stupid
I don't
shit.
know. I don't have him in that Burrow tier. I don't have him in Herbert tier. I don't have him in Mahomes.
You think it's Tua elite?
No, he's great.
Semantics.
No, it has to be. He's like Hurts, Kirk Cousins, and shit like that.
I'm not too quick to label quarterbacks franchise quarterbacks.
He's not a
Listen,
tier 1
he's-
quarterback.
He's
tier 2.
on that path.
He
Let's
is.
just say that.
I
Oh,
agree.
this year, yeah.
That's it. And that's listen, Joel. I feel like you and I could have so much more civil conversations if we talk like this every single time.
Well, it won't happen.
Because you and I are disagreeing on some points here, but I've never felt more comfortable disagreeing with you with Tua than I have right now. Because at least at the minimum, we're leveling. That's all I've ever asked for.
Every week I say the same thing about Tua.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not true.
I say he's a system quarterback. I have not changed my stance.
Nah, but you were not disrespectful on him.
Exactly,
You had an
yes.
opportunity.
You call him. There's
You-
differences.
Yes.
Because sometimes you call him a system quarterback, but then you take jabs.
If
you
you
didn't
were-
take jabs today.
If you were going to gas this game, you had an opportunity to do so.
without a doubt,
But you didn't.
Oh, no, he failed
because
his
you
first
knew
test,
what's
yeah.
up. But you knew what's
pass the
up.
quizzes.
He passed the quiz.
Would you say he
he
fa-
passed quiz with flying colors?
So what's
did
his
he
grade
fa-
right now?
he
Like,
He was
a
the
B?
smartest guy in the class.
Did he fail because he lost, or did he fail because of his performance?
He
No,
got
I-
jitters. He just got jitters.
He
He
didn't.
forgot everything he learned
He
in
didn't.
class.
He made a very clutch throw to Gesicki. Gesicki couldn't bring it in.
I guess so, but there was a bunch of plays
guess
that
so.
game where he
Or
didn't
beforehand,
make,
no
he-
doubt.
yeah.
I'm with you.
Listen, every quarterback has his performances, but I'm just saying. All I was saying is I'm not ready to prop Tua up to the level you was ready to prop him. You said he's over Aaron Rodgers. He's over
is.
Joe Burrow. Herbert is a conversation.
It is.
Listen, if
Did you say I said he's over Herbert?
you said it's a conversation.
I've never said that.
Yes, you
I think he
did.
said Burrow.
I've never said that.
So over Burrow, but it's not a conversation with Herbert.
Listen, I tell you my opinion on Herbert. When it comes to talent,
I
he is more
don't
talented
disagree.
than Joe Burrow.
If you
I
go
don't
back to the
disagree.
Tua, would you rather? You can see you say it's a
Oh, I know.
conversation.
I
no, it is.
definitely
It is a conversation.
Between him
But
and
I'm
Herbert.
taking Herbert
Okay, but it's a conversation.
only for the fact that
if
Tua
this
wins.
if this topic was different, if this topic was not a recap of the game and it was as Tua on the level of Burrow and Herbert, we're having a way different discussion.
Also, I don't know if you saw, but AD was ruled out because of flu-like symptoms.
yeah,
He
weird.
was sick.
Yeah,
Weird. He
I
played.
just
the
wish
first,
he
like,
didn't play at all.
Probably was throwing up and shit.
Boom, give me back my money.
That's a
You know what's
I had people just come up on all the unders.
the biggest news on the week that happened last couple of days actually is that Baker Mayfield was waived by the Carolina Panthers.
God damn,
You're right, bro.
bro, I have like this like
You have flu-like symptoms?
pulling on like my like upper abdomen. I don't know what the hell it is.
Do some squats.
Yeah, mid-show. Do 20 push-ups.
Someone just mentioned, no, I can't. Someone said that Drew has literally said Tua is the best QB in the league multiple times on my Twitter. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. You think I give a fuck?
The Rams they just claimed Baker Mayfield off of waivers.
He's wearing number 17.
Yep. ugly, very ugly
Very
number.
ugly number.
What, Josh Allen, we're 17.
Josh Allen's him.
For
I
Baker,
think it's
ugly.
the Rams uniforms. I don't know.
For
what it is.
Baker, it's an
their
ugly number.
uniforms
It's
either.
just weird.
But Baker Mayfield was released by the Carolina Panthers. He asked to be released, and they honored it. At first, we all thought the Niners were going to get him. I think that's pretty clear. We thought the Niners were going to get him.
I don't know.
The Rams were above them in the waivers, though.
The Rams were the only one who put a waiver claim in on Baker.
I think they did that for a reason because they don't want the Niners winning a
But the
championship.
Niners didn't even put a claim in.
Because they thought they'd probably get him in free agent.
Sure, but you were paying him like 1.3 mil.
No,
You know,
I'm not
I think
disagreeing.
there's multiple scenarios to it. I think there's a scenario where the Niners just didn't want him, right? Baker's not good at throwing to the middle of the field.
good.
He doesn't fit their scheme. Yeah, but he's way better than Brock Purdy. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I
No.
don't.
No.
I don't even care.
I really
But-
don't know, bro. I don't know.
In
Was
saying
Baker
that,
the third best quarterback on the Panthers?
no, he was not.
I'm asking.
Yo, he might be.
He was not. He was not.
I don't know. Purdy
Now-
look good.
Now, I think the Niners, that's one scenario they just didn't want him. I think the other
shit.
scenario was that they didn't want to show anybody their cards. And that's why They didn't put out the claims, but whatever. The Rams have him now. And listen, I think this is a weird move. Their season is over. Stafford is sidelined for the season. Wolford has a neck injury. This at least gives them some quarterback depth.
Need someone to start.
The biggest reason I think the Rams signed Baker is because if he signs elsewhere this offseason, they get a compensatory pick. And this is a Rams team that has little to no picks to work with.
Depends on the salary.
So they need all the picks that they can get. But Matthew Stafford all year hasn't been good for the Rams. That's due to a multitude of things. They have no receivers. The offensive line is bad. Baker Mayfield is not going to come in here, learn the offense.
Too, right?
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. Baker's not going to come in here, learn the offense quickly, and play at a high level. He's going to be bad with the Rams. At least that's what I'm guessing he's going to do, and I think there's a lot of evidence to back that up. He wasn't good with the Panthers. And maybe this is a shot, though, for Baker, right? And the Rams, where the Rams view Stafford as a guy who you can't count on because of his injuries moving forward and his age. Baker Mayfield plays the Geno Smith role where he learns the offense for a year. They get better, and then he takes off. But right now, I just think the Rams season is over. This is one of the worst seasons following up Super Bowl in league history.
It might be the worst.
The only worst one was the Broncos 1999 and John Elway retired.
I was going to say also when Peyton Manning retired. We did win 5 games to start the season, but we did not make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams are having one of the worst meltdowns ever, and that's because they went all in to win, and they did win, so
Did Atlanta make the playoffs
warranted.
after they went to the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I don't remember. Shout out to Santos, though. $50 donation. This guy, he's a Raider guy. He said the Raiders are going to take the Jets spot in the playoffs. He also asked me if I get his money back from Boom because he took over on AD. I'll talk to people. I don't know. I can't make any promises. But
I took the matchup. That's cool.
Yeah, it's all
the
good.
Raiders would be comfortably in the playoffs if they didn't fold at the beginning of the year, man.
Yeah, for sure.
They lost six one-score games.
Yeah.
But I don't think this Baker thing does much. Maybe it's either they're going to get a compensatory pick or
they can't get a compensatory.
This is a.
He has to be signed before a certain date. He can't be signed this late season.
So it's either that or they want to use him as a quarterback to back up Stafford and hopefully take the reins when he learns the offense.
latter is more likely. First of all, they have to start a quarterback, right? I'm blanking on their third string quarterback.
Warford,
Perkins.
There it is.
Perkins.
Shout out to John.
Who's a second-year undrafted free agent, I want to say, something like that. So first and foremost, I think they just need someone to play for the last 5 weeks of the season. They said there's a chance he could play this Thursday with all the injuries they have. And I do think there's an outside chance he could be their quarterback in 2023. I mean, Matt Stafford, a spinal injury. This is someone who has had back problems in the past. He just won a Super Bowl. I don't know how, convinced Stafford is in himself saying, I have to come back. I already won a Super Bowl. I'm putting myself in that Hall of Fame caliber. And with the way this team is looking, I don't know if he's going to have elite seasons if he does come back, right? So I think that's probably the most likely scenario is just you need someone to start. Baker has been terrible this season. And I know in the perfect situation, Baker Mayfield showed, flashes, especially his time in Cleveland when he had Stefanski. When Stefanski won Coach of the Year, they won a playoff game over the Steelers. But ever since then, I know last year he was hurt. This year, you can make the argument he's been the worst starting quarterback in the league. I understand that.
Zach?
Yeah, I mean, he has.
Yeah, honestly,
I actually have some stats. He has the worst. What was it here? The worst QBR in the league at 18.2. Zach Wilson was at 43. He was third worst. He has the second lowest passer rating, second lowest completion percentage. I don't want to say who's the worst in both of those categories, but you guys know who.
Is it Russ or
Nope, it's Zach Wilson. Okay. He has the sixth highest interception percentage.
Wait, what's Zach Wilson's QBR?
18.2.
Oh my fucking God.
Keep going.
Okay. Sixth highest interception percentage, fifth lowest touchdown percentage. I don't know if Brock Purdy's better. He might be.
He's not.
I don't know. Now listen, it would have.
Did
Baker
Purdy not play well?
He did. He did
No,
against a playoff team.
I'm asking.
Played okay.
Okay.
He did everything you could have possibly asked
given the situation he
for.
was put in, he played well.
He
Given the
passed
situation.
that quiz with flying
was
colors.
okay.
He passed that quiz with flying colors.
This was an exam. He low-key took the SAT.
and didn't study.
He passed the test and hasn't come to
and
school in
he
weeks,
overslept.
months.
And
He
he
didn't
had a
study,
rush.
no nothing. He came in, he bodied it.
Bodied it and left early,
I
too.
now understand why you put Tua at the level of these other echelon guys because, You
What
just
the
overreact to
hell?
every performance.
Bro, it's
we
a
have-
backup you've never even heard of.
Baker
Backup.
Mayfield, hold up. Baker Mayfield has lost his job to Sam Darnold and PJ Walker.
Sam Darnold's better than Brock Purdy, bro.
Okay, regardless, Baker Mayfield this season has lost his job to Darnold and PJ Walker.
But we're talking about Brock
That's
Purdy.
a
here.
bad
That's
situation.
the only thing I'm saying is we're talking about Brock Purdy.
I know, but is Brock Purdy now
Like-
the Darnold
I
PJ
feel
Walker
like
conversation?
it's just so crazy to me that when we talk about quarterbacks, right? Tua, I hate to mention this,
Why
but
are you doing this with Tua and are you gonna say
It's-
Brock Purdy and Tua?
No. It's just that Tua, great situation, puts elite numbers. Everybody loves to praise him. The majority of people, right? But
No.
when we look at Baker Mayfield, the Panthers are horrible, bro. Sam Darnold's not playing well either.
They're Darnold and Walker played better
Like,
than
first
Baker.
Baker Mayfield-
They had DJ Moore. They had Robbie Anderson. Both these guys
Robbie
had
Anderson sucks.
I'm not saying you're
He got-
wrong.
but he got
Terrace
released.
Marshall showed some flashes this year.
But also at the
okay,
same
yeah.
time,
DJ
Teddy
Moore.
Bridgewater was in there and had 1,000 yards with both
Are you
him
making
and
excuses
DJ
for
Moore.
Baker
But
Mayfield?
another,
No,
I'm just saying
he was
it's a
Baker
horrible
guy coming.
situation.
But
Did you
also,
say the
he-
Panthers
Let's
going
not
to
act
make
like
the
it's not a
playoffs with
horrible
Baker?
situation.
you did.
He did.
I thought it was gonna be better. I did.
Dude, Baker sucks.
No,
Sadly.
Baker's
I'm not saying he doesn't suck. I know he sucks, but I'm saying
You just think he sucks
he's not
less
as bad
than
as
Brock.
Brock Purdy, bro. Like,
I
come
don't
on.
know.
I mean, they're
He's
both not
better than
starting.
Brock
I
Purdy.
think Brock is more mobile.
We're comparing
It's
the
just
third
that
string.
it's just
Their
that
accuracy is
people.
I mean, Brock's
you know what
probably
it
more
is?
accurate than
People
comparing the
love
third string
people
to a
love
second
to
string
rag on guys when they're down. The situation in Carolina was not good. Baker
It
Mayfield
wasn't.
was bad. There's
But
no
that
doubt.
doesn't take away the fact that Darnold and PJ Walker have played probably better in limited sample size. I'll give you that.
You know, I think the Baker Mayfield comeback story,
It's gonna be bright.
being a play-by-play analyst for Oklahoma.
Okay, that's better.
But I think with Sean McVay, there's a chance here. There's a chance. And I'm not ready to rule a guy out. I'm not.
These weapons, there's no Cooper Kupp. I mean, you're looking at Ben
I'm
Skowronek
thinking
and
long
Tyler
term. I'm
Higbee.
thinking long term.
Even next
But
year, you
Baker
could
has to
see,
swallow his pride.
It wouldn't surprise me if you see Cooper Kupp traded. If you see Jalen Ramsey trade. I mean, look at this Rams team. We talked about it last week. It's destiny. They won the bleakest futures.
What are
in
you
the
getting
league.
for the Jalen Ramsey?
I think you still get a first. He's got a high salary though.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
still
not
him.
sold.
He just had a bad year.
I
What
think
was
at
Gilmore
worst,
traded for?
You get a second at least.
Gilmore's free agent. Oh no, you're saying
No,
last
yeah,
season.
for the
Oh,
Panthers.
a third or a fourth. I want to say.
Okay.
I don't remember off the top of my
Like,
head.
the
but
thing
was around
about
there.
it is that this is how I view it. With Brock Purdy and the Niners, maybe they win a playoff game. With Baker Mayfield,
Stop.
they do.
they have a
what?
puncher's chance to
No,
win the
they
Super Bowl.
no. You're on
Yes,
fucking.
they
You're
do.
on crack
Bro,
cocaine.
what are you
And
doing?
heroin,
What do you mean?
Bro,
and
what-
bath
that's a
salts.
fact.
Like you're wilding,
That's
bro.
not
You're bugging
crazy.
the fuck
You're
out.
outta
here.
You're bugging
You're
out
outta here.
They had a chance to win it with Jimmy
no,
G.
No.
Can't do this
Are
shit.
you
Baker
no more.
Mayfield
serious?
is not coming in week 14, being able to lead
then
this
I said-
locker room,
no, no,
command this
no, no,
league,
no,
all
no,
these
no, no,
veterans.
Brock Purdy.
No, he can't. He can't.
Bro, here's the thing. Remember when I said that Daniel Jones makes them a Super Bowl winner?
The
Right?
Niners.
And I got called a fool.
That wasn't as bad
No,
as this
you
one.
didn't say that though.
No,
You said it
Daniel-
makes them a Super Bowl favorite.
Okay.
I'm saying
Said
gives them a
punches.
puncher's chance.
What? Regardless,
That's
it's not
wor- that's
happening.
worse.
It's not
No,
hap-
it's
no,
not.
favorite.
What
Favorite
do you mean?
means they're
What do you
gonna
mean?
win.
I can't do
Puncher's
this
chance
shit
means that you
anymore.
got. It's like if I'm facing Floyd Mayweather, I got a puncher's chance, right? Maybe I get a hit on him. That's what it means.
No,
it's not.
they
It's
don't
not.
have
It's
that.
not a grand chance.
No,
What do you mean with Baker? Yes, they do.
No, they
No.
don't, Joel.
No.
He's been the worst quarterback or second worst in the NFL this year.
I can't do this shit anymore. This is nuts.
It's insane.
Baker Mayfield?
No.
Come on, man. What are we doing?
Brock
here?
Purdy is at least more mobile. He's not going to play hero ball like Baker Mayfield
Brock Purdy's
would.
better.
He might be
Better.
No,
It's-
he's not.
I mean,
don't know.
at the end of the day, we're comparing a second string quarterback to a third string. It really does.
We're comparing backups. We're comparing backups.
I
Puncher's
feel like you
fucking
guys
chance.
just think. I feel like you guys just
Audacity.
think Baker Mayfield has nothing left in the tank.
I think you're just too nice.
He's cooked.
I'm not
cooked.
too nice.
He's cooked, bro.
I think. Look, I don't think Baker Mayfield is the world's best quarterback, but I think
he's
he's
arguably the
better than
world's
Brock
worst-
Purdy.
Here's
not
the thing.
saying much,
Ryan
though.
Tannehill left Miami after having a average career with the
He was good in
Dolphins.
Miami.
I'm with you.
Average.
But then in his first second chance, he sees the opportunity.
Yeah.
In Baker's first second chance, he's been
folded.
cooked.
Okay, but
Sam Darnold, bro. He played over him, bro.
we have to use context now. Tennessee had Arthur Smith, Mike Vrabel, Derrick Henry.
Let's use
A.J.
context.
Brown.
Baker Mayfield has been good in his career.
When he's been healthy.
When he had
one
a
season?
perfect offensive line, the head coach of the
Running
coach
back
of the
core.
year, Nick Chubb was one of the best running backs. Like he had
And
all
his
of
rookie
this.
season, you know what?
All right.
I
And
mean,
that's
we're-
everything the 49ers are.
But you're
literally-
years removed from it now. Like Baker, I know he was
Injuries
banged up last season, and this year
Boy,
he's been terrible.
He was hurt last year, bad. Like,
Baker is not as bad as Brock Purdy.
Do you remember the 10-minute video of Baker throwing incompletions or missing?
Yes, I
Odell?
remember. I also remember the
There was
stretch he went on in 2020.
There was a 10-minute
and he
video.
won the Browns their first
And
playoff game
how
since
many
1992.
games did Odell play with Baker?
7, 8.
I was gonna say definitely less than a full season's worth. I'm lying. They played a full season his first
then
year.
the next year
and
was
the
like
next year they
7,
played.
8,
So let's say around 20 games. So in 20 games, he was able to accumulate
He's not good.
a 10-minute video of incompletions, missed passes, or just completely did not see him.
Do we know if these Niners vets would really bring in Baker with open arms and want him to be the guy that leads them? Or Brock Purdy, who's been there for training camp, OTAs, he's been working in practice. Like, they know who Brock Purdy
Well, they don't.
Purdy
They
the
don't
person
know
is.
Baker, so they know Brock. So it's Brock, of course. But
It's Brock's
when
team
when
going
we're
forward.
talking about a
Hilarious.
professional sport,
It's Brock's team.
when we're
Yes.
when we're talking about professional sport, guys are gonna gravitate to the people who helped them win.
For sure.
And in the offseason, we saw everybody on the Jets wear Zach Wilson shirts, the MILF Hunter shirts, right? Now they're all wearing Mike White shirts.
They're supporting
You
the quarterback.
you gravitate towards who you think gives you the best chance. If Baker goes in there and he's playing well, they're gonna gravitate towards him.
I mean, it
That's
doesn't
what
matter.
it
The
is.
Niners didn't even put a claim from him. They didn't see anything.
I know, of course, none of this matters now, but come on, man. I just feel like Baker's
No,
gonna
a
prove you
puncher-
guys
a
wrong in like
puncher's
2 years.
A puncher's chance for a Super Bowl is nuts.
So wait, do you think it was more the situation?
if it
or
was
him?
sorry,
Or
Rip,
both?
if it was a
That's
full
not- I
offseason
feel like-
OTAs
I
preseason
feel like-
with Baker in this offense, maybe,
Bro, I feel
but
like-
not this late in the season.
I feel like that you think me saying that is an indictment on Baker when it's more an indictment on how great the 49ers are. All they need is average quarterback play to go to the Super Bowl. And that's what Baker can provide. When they went to it the first time in 2019, Garoppoolo was throwing for under 100 yards a game. Like, they just need an average quarterback. I don't think Purdy's average. I think he's below average.
I don't disagree, but Purdy, I think, would make less mistakes than Baker. I think he's more mobile. I don't think he's going to play hero ball. I think Baker's going to do all of these things.
Purdy's going to make less mistakes.
I think so, yeah.
All right. We just saw him make a lot of mistakes versus Miami.
A lot?
Yeah, I think so. I think they weren't capitalized on, but he made mistakes for sure.
I don't know.
Baker
And
did.
I
don't
think
know
as
about
the
a lot.
season goes, we're gonna see, man, San Fran, they really not.
Well, I'm not expecting them. Listen, this puts just more pressure on the Eagles. They're, I think, by far the favorite to win the Super Bowl now with San Fran losing
in
Jimmy
the
G.
Super Bowl, or just make it out to the NFC.
Make it out the NFC. Yeah. That just puts more pressure on Philly. But
Now we have to come.
we're
out.
built for it.
My goodness.
We?
All right.
I got you. Just making sure you make.
All right. So we're gonna take a quick 3-minute break. While we're on break, if you guys could help us out a lot, it would mean a lot if you guys could download Boom Fantasy, place a bet in for tonight's game.
Link is pinned in
Yes,
the comment
link
section.
the link is pinned, and we're gonna have the QR
Chat
code
section.
on the screen. We're gonna be back in 3 minutes. So see you guys then. And we're back. You may have missed it. You may have missed it this week. The Lions beat the Jaguars 40-17. They're now 5-7. Since they fired the defensive backs coach, they're 10th in opponents' points per game, 3rd in points per game. After the Miami game, they ranked 32nd in pass DVOA, and now they are 19th. That's a huge turnaround. Jared Goff's playing some of the best football of his career.
Looks good.
He looks really good. In their next 5 games, the Vikings, they can beat them. The Jets, they can beat them. The Panthers, they can beat them. The Bears, they can beat them. The Packers, they can beat them.
Are they sneaking in?
This
Are
is
they
a
sneaking in?
This is a very winnable stretch for the Detroit Lions. They could possibly make the playoffs, and I think it's awesome because Dan Campbell was getting a lot of slack because the Lions started off poor.
It's a fact.
And this is an awesome turnaround. I mean, everybody's playing well. The offensive line, the defense, Jared Goff, the receivers. Jamison Williams is back. He could be a huge spark to this offense. I think the Lions deserve a lot of credit, and they've really turned it around.
Real quick before you go. Earlier in the season, when teams start off hot, Giants, for example, we shit on them because of their schedule. Oh, they haven't played anybody. The Lions over the stretch have beaten the Packers 15-9. They beat the Bears. They beat the Giants. They lost to the Bills, and they beat the Jaguars.
The Giants are a playoff team that we viewed for the majority of the season.
And the Bills,
but the Giants we all viewed as everything needs to go right for them to win. They've been winning games, but they can't have mistakes.
Wait, are you hating on the Lions?
No,
I'm
that
just
was
saying.
a blatant.
I'm just
that was
saying,
a hater statement.
Let's calm down a little bit. Let's pump the brakes before we say
wait,
playoffs.
are these
them
games
Super
not
Bowl?
winnable?
Are we calling them Super Bowl contenders?
No,
or are we
but-
calling them a potential playoff team?
Drew, you know what's funny?
They could win some of these.
No,
but
he's doing
let's
this solely
relax.
for the fact that we said that they could beat the Jets.
You know what's
Let's
funny?
relax.
You know what's funny about this,
No,
Dehls?
calm it down.
Because
what's funny about
what if
this?
the Vikings beat them by 20? We're like, oh, actually, they're
You
probably
know
not
what's
that
funny?
good.
You know what's
Beat them
funny
by
about
20.
this?
It's a division
Oh, the
game.
Lions. You're trying to give them slack for beating these teams that aren't very good. But I know a quarterback that beat teams that had elite defenses back to back, and you've turned your back on him. And his name is Zach Wilson.
All right.
He's 5-2.
So
watch
moving
your
on,
mouth.
because we don't talk about Zach Wilson on the show anymore. You may have missed it. It would have been pretty hard to miss. Jalen Hurts, over these last 2 weeks, have put himself right back at the top of the MVP conversation. I'm sorry, Riv, was there something wrong?
No.
Did you think you were going to say? Yeah, I thought we communicated. Anyway, we already admitted this. So,
Shit.
Jalen Hurts
Communication was extremely off. just
over 2, what I was told, poor games where, he's out here completing 70% of his passes, throwing touchdowns, very few turnovers. Last week, ran for 157 yards against the Packers, 5th most by a quarterback in NFL history. This week, he throws for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns almost exclusively from the pocket. This was a game where the Eagles had no run game. Miles Sanders, 10 carries, 24 yards. Boston Scott, 6 for 16. Gainwell, 5 for 15. Hurts, 5 for 12. He carved up this Tennessee Titans defense from the pocket. People said, oh, what if the run game is not going? What if the defense isn't going? Well, he got rid of the whole run game agenda by throwing for 380 and 3, and he got rid of the whole, oh, what if the defense is holding up when the Packers scored 32 on them the week prior. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes have really separated themselves as top 2 in MVP consideration over these last couple of weeks. I'm trying to tell you, man, Hurts is him.
The Titans made it a point of emphasis to just hone in on the run game.
Didn't work.
It's a mistake.
Yeah, and
Mistake.
We got
things
Giants,
were there.
It's
Giants,
a mistake
Bears,
when
Cowboys.
It's a mistake when Jalen Hurts is throwing the dots that he's throwing. It's a mistake when A.J. Brown had a point to prove
Devonta
this
Smith,
weekend.
don't sleep.
Smitty.
And the
100
Slim
touchdown.
Reaper, Devonta Smith, being a problem. This offense is just super versatile.
but that's how you got to beat them. No, you got to start with stopping the run game.
Yeah, we
you
we
can
got
just
a
throw for
3-game road
403.
streak. We got Giants, Bears, Cowboys on the road.
That Cowboys game, that's Christmas Eve, I believe.
Yes.
That's going to be,
going
yeah,
to
that's
be
the one. That's the
nasty.
one.
Go.
Yeah, I do because I found one. You may have missed it. Justin Fields returned this week, and he went 20 for 25, 252 yards. He had 2 interceptions, but I think this was arguably one of his most complete games in terms of passing the ball. He was great rushing the ball. He had a touchdown, 71 yards.
And that
Just
play was disgusting.
absolutely
to
nasty.
their credit, the Packers' credit, outside of that one run, they
contained-
locked it up.
They
locked
contained him.
it
But I
up.
think, just coming back, Justin Fields showed that dog in him. He was amazing. Outside of those 2 interceptions, he was pretty much perfect from throwing the ball. He's been great all year. I hope the Bears get him some help. But yeah, since you stole you may have missed it.
Bro,
the
right
next
before
one's
you
Fields.
went, it sounded like you wanted me to do it.
Oh, it's okay, bro. You love Hurts more than me, so you can have him.
You may have missed it, is Odell Beckham was posted up with Michael Parsons and Trayvon Diggs at the Dallas Mavericks game. And he came out and said that there's a chance, a very good chance that he could be joining the Cowboys. Now, another report came out saying that he might not be 100% back from his ACL injury. And I think that is something that we did assume and kind of know. Of course, he tore his ACL in the very last week of the NFL season. The fact that Godwin was playing week 1 was a shock to us all, given the fact that how late that he injured it in the season. Odell injured it even later than Godwin did. Odell is also a lot older than Godwin, and at this point in time, he is. He is. Odell's over 30. What happened?
Taiwan Walker.
I thought Odell was like 28.
Phillies? Damn.
It's went to the Phillies.
Taiwan Walker. He'll be great for the first half and suck in the second
He was
half. That's what
amazing
does.
where he was at.
Nah, he really was.
He was
He's
on
right.
I knew that.
Oh,
Show just
sorry.
casual.
He said he was great where he's at.
But there's also concern that Dallas might not be fully in on him because of this report.
sure.
So we'll see what happens with the whole Odell saga.
Yeah, the biggest thing about Odell is having him for this stretch, this playoff run, and if he's not going to be available, what's the point of paying him a contract right now?
Not disagreeing, especially if he wants like a 3-year deal. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's going
I
to
feel
happen.
like Odell's missed like 2-3 years on his career, man, with just injuries.
It's sad.
Yeah, for sure.
It's sad. It's,
And Baker.
He's one of the best we've ever seen.
And Baker. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could just talk him off as
he is.
One of the best we've ever seen.
He is.
Yeah, to start his career, he was on a historic pace. Like would
I've
have
seen,
broke
I've seen some
records
good
everywhere.
guys. Andre Johnson, Chad.
It's crazy.
Randy Moss.
It's
Clears.
exactly.
Not Randy, but the first two you mentioned, yeah.
Odell's not cleared, Chad Johnson.
I was gonna say Chad.
crazy.
Chad's definitely a
That was
conversation.
actually
It's
extremely
a conversation.
Odell
for
starting
real,
his
though.
career is
Riff.
was on a Justin
I get what
Jefferson
you're
level.
saying, but
Right.
let's not act like ability. They not right there. Like that's
That's
disrespectful
fine.
to Chad.
No, yes,
the
I-
numbers you might have it, but
Like, the numbers
ability, like that's disrespect.
Why?
Chad was
That's
nice. Like
ability.
Hmm?
Ability.
I'm signing with
it's
Odell.
but you made it seem like it's like clear.
I did say
like,
cleared.
Like Chad, his route
Chad
running
was
the
nice.
building. Was
But Odell, his
Odell's
first
route
few
running
years,
was crazy.
Chad-
Odell's
His
first
speed-
few years,
Chad,
bro,
his
Chad is
speed-
arguably one of the best route runners in our generation.
No, absolutely.
In our generation with Antonio Brown, Devontae Adams.
I
He's
don't
arguably
know.
up there, bro.
He's not a better route runner than Tay.
I didn't say he was, but he's up there in that conversation. He's one of the best we've seen route running.
Chad
nice, though.
was amazing. Chad was an amazing
And don't
wide
sleep
receiver.
on Andre Johnson, man.
I'm not sleeping
just
on Andre. I'm just keeping it a bean. Odell
Let's
gave us some of the best football
let's
at a
see
wide
what's-
receiver position to start their career ever.
Now drop W's in the chat if you think this is a W live stream. I want to see the W's in the chat. Make sure to hit the like button. We're at 193 likes. Gotta get that to 200. We have 308 people watching. Let's get that likes button up to 200.
Shout out to our boy
Sorry.
Orlando. Shout out to our boy Shaz. Shout out to Chino. Appreciate you guys
And
being in
I have two
the
trivia
live stream.
stuff for you guys.
real
right?
quick before you go, Odell, his rookie season averaged 110 yards per game.
And he missed the first 4 games of the
He
season.
had 1,312 touchdowns, followed up by 14, 15,
So-
13.
Yeah, I
14,
can only
10.
give you Andre's best seasons. He had 1500, 1500, 1600.
I mean, there's no doubt
Odell's
Andre was
never
way
done
more
that.
consistent.
I know, but his first 3 years,
No,
he
yeah,
would have
if
done
you-
it, and then
if
he
you talk
got
about
hurt,
but
and then he
Andre's
went to
best season, his 1600, 1600, basically.
Andre was
that's fair.
It's a
amazing.
bad quarterback play.
That's different.
So in the TikTok comments and in the YouTube live stream comments that I'm seeing right now, people want a would you rather on Justin Fields. We know he's been playing very well.
W's.
He's been a great rusher. He's been improved as a passer significantly. So this is would you rather Justin Fields edition.
Let's do it.
First name up, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Why are we
Damn.
thinking, boys?
Because if Fields does progress as a passer, I mean, he becomes a one-of-one type quarterback.
That's what I'm thinking. Give me Trevor, though.
Trevor
Give me
is very mobile in his own right.
Yeah, I'm going with Trevor
I would
Lawrence.
take Trevor, but it's close.
Jared Goff.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Can't sleep on how Jared Goff has been playing this year. I agree.
The
Justin
ceiling
Fields is
higher.
more electric. The ceiling is higher. Right now is playing better is Jared Goff.
Well, that's not the question. It's who would you rather?
Would I rather
who is playing
for the
better.
Lions playoff chances? Would I rather Goff or Fields in this moment? I'd rather Goff because he's a better passer.
I'll tell you what, Joel really put it perfectly. He did, and that's not it's not being disrespectful to Justin Fields. Justin Fields really has shown out in his sophomore year, but we got to give credit to Jared Goff. He really has exceeded all of our expectations. They are 5-7. They're not a winning team right now. That being said, we can't ignore the fact that he has been playing some really good football. I would rather Justin Fields, but I can acknowledge that Goff has been or has exceeded all my expectations for him this season.
To a degree, but Goff's still showing his peak.
But that's
Fields can
really
reach a
good
higher
football.
level.
One of the better offenses in the league.
Jared Goff's peak was a top
But
5
also,
MVP candidate.
you know what? You also can't hide the fact that he's in front of one of the best offensive line. You have the Eagles, who's the best. You can make the argument that the Lions are the second best offensive line. They've been that great.
Next name, Daniel Jones.
I'd rather have Justin Fields.
I'm going with Justin Fields
This
as
one's
well.
tough for you. You're the Daniel Jones guy. Niners favorites.
I just want to know why you guys answered so quickly.
His ceiling's higher.
Ceiling.
But
I would rather Fields. He's more dynamic for me.
Fields is more dynamic. He's a better runner. He has a bigger arm. His accuracy.
Bigger
isn't up there.
arm?
Yes. What are we
Bigger
talking about?
arm?
Yes.
Daniel Jones can make some throws, though.
He can.
What do we like?
Justin
Jones is
Fields.
more
Said that
accurate.
too easy.
No, he can.
They
no,
call
he
him
said
down
that.
for a
Justin
reason.
Fields more.
Jones is
Oh
more
yeah, got
accurate.
it.
Yes, for sure.
The only
Justin
thing that
Fields
you
has a
have is
cannon
the
in the
rushing,
arm.
and even still, we're not gonna we all understand Daniel Jones' rushing ability. It's not on Justin Fields, no way. But Jones is still a very he's a great rusher.
Fields
for,
clears those.
Of course,
As a rusher.
arguably you have Lamar, and then there's Fields right there. I would take Daniel Jones.
Mac Jones.
Taking Justin Fields.
I'll take Fields.
I'm not sleeping on Mac Jones. I would take Justin Fields, but Mac Jones is somebody who gets slept on when I think he's a good quarterback.
I would also
Going
take
for
Justin
it.
Fields.
Okay.
What do you mean? He's better than Mike White.
I've seen Justin. We've seen Justin Fields. It's Lamar. It's Jalen Hurts. You see the explosiveness early on. The passing comes with some time. Calm down. We've seen this.
2 years.
People in the
this. We'll be ready in
comment
2
section
years.
are saying Fields' weapons are trash. Have you guys seen what's going on in New York? That's the only thing that's
yeah,
bothering me
There's
here.
actually no weapons.
It's the
Next
only
name.
thing that's bothering me.
Russell Wilson.
Right now, Justin Fields.
Yeah, I'm going with
Yeah,
Justin
for the
Fields.
rest,
Very
rest
comfortably.
season, yes, and even
Or like
in the future.
life. Yeah.
Even in future.
Yeah. Very comfortably Justin Fields. I'm taking a lot of these guys over Russell Wilson. I'll be honest with you.
I'm going Russ.
You're an idiot. That's actually crazy.
Kyler Murray.
I would also
K1.
I would also take Kyler Murray.
Let's take K1.
Justin Fields would never be the passer that Kyler is.
They never say never.
Never say never, but Kyler.
He's
yes.
bigger, too.
I am going to take Kyler Murray, but the intangibles Justin Fields has,
He's a leader.
I don't think Kyler has.
Good
And
point.
Fields can progress into being a great passer, and I think he can be better than Kyler Murray
At passing?
not at passing,
then
but
that's
at
it.
their peak. I think Justin Fields can be a better player than Kyler Murray. And last name, Ryan Tannehill.
Justin Fields.
I'm going with Tannehill.
Fuck with Tannehill.
I think
I
I would.
think this is going to age so poorly in a year. I think this.
Oh,
like,
this is would you rather right now?
Regardless,
rather
this
Ryan
year,
Tannehill right
whatever, it's going to age so poorly.
Ryan
Why
Tannehill,
do you say
respect
that,
Ryan
though?
Tannehill.
Justin Fields is. I've said it before. Quarterback is not quarterback anymore. Quarterback is a playmaking position.
Ryan Tannehill is a playmaker.
Okay. Justin Fields is already one of the
Why
best
are you-
playmakers in the sport.
Joel,
and now
Joel,
if the passing
you've-
gets
That
there,
is-
if he becomes if he jumps to a 62%, 63% completion percentage
with you.
next year,
I'll tell you
my
what,
God.
Joel. This has
And
been.
they got 120 million cap space.
This has been probably the spiciest I've ever heard you talk.
You act like
You know
Fields
how
is
high
a
I'm on
finished
Fields.
product right now.
he's
No,
not.
listen, and I'm high on Fields too, but also at the same time, it just seems like you've just been very strong on because you hold your position. I'm fine with that, but then the opposition, you're coming very harshly because I say that in the sense of let's not pretend like we haven't seen what Tannehill is at his best. Let's also not pretend that Tannehill didn't do it in the playoffs. Let's also not pretend that Tannehill he's not Justin Fields when
What-
it
I
comes
was
to
gonna say,
mobility.
how
Of
would
course
you-
not.
how do you
But
label Tannehill?
Tannehill is also not. It's not like he can't do it.
And
He's
no,
a
for
mobile
sure.
quarterback.
Not only that, but Tannehill has been behind.
Okay, but you
What do
understand
you
what,
mean?
I mean.
He's
is
a
a
quarterback who
quarterback.
can move. It's a quarterback who can move.
Okay.
No, he can move more than just can move. You're acting like he's like just a
Tannehill
slow.
can get
Bro,
gritty.
we're comparing Tannehill, Justin
No,
Fields
we're
right now.
not.
We're
But
talking
that's-
about two completely different
What I'm saying is that
universes.
Ryan Tannehill has been behind one of the worst pass blocking offensive lines for a couple years now. They don't have great receiving options. The best receiver right now, because Traylon Burks is out, is Nick Westbrook-Akina, and Ryan Tannehill still finds a way to win and get it done. Let's not act like Ryan Tannehill has not been playing at a very high level for the Titans.
You done?
Yes.
I would take Justin Fields. Not think twice about it.
Nothing.
Well, I guess to start a franchise, yes. If you want to win a Super Bowl right now, and you got the team to do it right now. I think teams would much rather take Ryan Tannehill.
The comment section right now is killing me.
Why?
Now Fields suddenly has tools to be an MVP.
I'm not going that far.
Like, what's...
Well, Tannehill was playing at MVP level.
He has the physical tools, yes, obviously. But
I mean, technically, yeah.
So a lot of quarterbacks.
If he progresses
as
a passer, he already has the running ability. He just needs a team.
Do we understand how hard progressing as a passer is?
We do.
But Fields is one of those
He
guys.
has everything else,
and he's the guy who's put in work. Like you could see, he's put in work over this
I'm
offseason
not
in college
listen.
too. He's someone who has that reputation of being a hard worker. This is literally what we saw from Jalen Hurts a year ago. Except the team wasn't as good. We got to remember this is Justin Fields with no weapons. None.
Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool is nothing.
Mooney's
better
hurt.
than the Titans.
Mooney's hurt, and Claypool got there a month ago.
Cole Kmet.
Stop it. Cole Kmet is average at best.
That's better than a Okonkwo.
Tannehill with no weapons won his division.
When
multiple times.
Last year.
AJ Brown played.
AJ Brown played. He
Derrick
missed
Henry's
games.
a backpack.
Derrick Henry missed how many
They had a
games?
great
When he
defense.
played,
You thought Derrick Henry was going to be
How
washed.
many
talking
games?
about?
When Derrick
Before
Henry
the
played,
season,
though, he was the best player.
He
Clearly,
missed the second half of the year, but he had a great defense. He's had one of the best
But
coaches.
Tannehill
He has
was
one of the best coaches in the
game
NFL.
managers.
He's
No shit.
Tannehill's been in the system year after year. Justin Fields has had no weapons
Why
outside
are
of
we
Darnell
being
Mooney.
hard-headed to
He has.
Tannehill playing
This is
well,
a
though?
first.
So Luke Getsy's not a good
By the way, I don't agree with the Tannehill thing.
I'm not. But you have to see the potential. The potential of Justin Fields is immense.
We're saying
And
right
no
now.
one
We're saying
can
right now.
say
We're
that.
saying right now.
No one-
I
We're
would
saying
still,
right now.
I would
Would
still
you rather?
rather have Fields. He can do more.
Fields is better than
If you
Tannehill.
Who's better right now?
If you put-
Who's a better player right
Fields
now?
better than Tannehill.
Who's a better
right
player
now?
right
No,
now?
would you rather? It's would you rather have?
All right, but who's a better player
but
right now?
That's
close.
really the question.
It really is
It's
close.
close.
Because
Yeah,
Fields
it's
has to
Tannehill.
progress as a passer. I understand that, but Fields is literally progressing week after week. That's how young he is and how
Where'd you get this shirt
few
from?
starts.
It's moving
I'm
me
not sure.
immensely
It
right
might have
now.
been like Instagram or something.
I need to see your receipts. So when
Yo,
got
Drew,
you.
this year, Ryan Tannehill, 11 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, 97 passer rating with an offense that has nothing. You thought Derrick Henry was going to be washed this season. I didn't forget that.
I'll tell you what,
He's been up and down.
very
Been up and down.
sneakily,
Yeah.
he has been not as great as the numbers say.
He hasn't.
Has
because
Tannehill just not been a
to stop
fine
the
game
Titans,
manager?
The Titans don't
Is
have
that
a
not
good
what he
offensive
is?
line.
Upper
This guy
echelon-
won it
I'll
already.
give you that.
game
I'll
manager.
give you that. He's been an upper echelon game manager.
That's it, and I didn't
Nothing
say
wrong with
anything
that.
more than that.
Yeah,
Especially last year when they had nothing.
Yeah.
The offensive line was garbage.
I've
So
said
we're talking- wait,
regardless, bro. Like,
What?
because we're just disrespecting the fact that Fields is doing all of this for the first time. This is a first-time head coach, a first-time guy who's fucking calling plays. You have
Luke Getsy's
you've
been
had-
very good, though.
Who's-
You,
who's
I
this-
Bro,
understand,
Luke
but
Getsy has
Joel,
catered the
look,
offensive
hold
field.
on, real quick.
But
Look
Joel,
at
you're-
Drew.
you're-
Real quick.
relax. Who's disrespecting
Look,
Fields?
because you guys are taking Tannehill, who's been in the system year after year, who I know he's been in the league for 7 8 years. This Fields' second year, and he's making these progressions.
Is Fields ever
We're
going to
just
throw
saying
30
Ryan Tannehill's
touchdowns?
better right now.
Maybe
Yes.
30
Yeah, easily.
Maybe I don't
Easily.
know.
We're saying Tannehill's
Yes.
better right now, bro. That's what we're saying.
It's a conversation.
It's not a conversation.
conversation
Ryan Tannehill's
for
better right
sure.
now. The offensive line in Tennessee is not good.
If
The
if
weapons
you-
are not good. You talk about Fields having no weapons. Claypool, Mooney, and Komet are better
Bro,
than anything
Mooney
Tannehill
and
has.
Claypool played together for 2 games. 2 games.
Claypool would be wide receiver number 1 on the Titans, bro.
It's not saying much.
That doesn't say anything.
So
not a
why are
good
you not?
number
Why are you not
one.
They
crediting
got
Tannehill
Claypool
for
2
doing
fucking weeks ago, bro.
Why are you not crediting Ryan Tannehill for playing well with nothing?
Because you're propping up an upper echelon game manager to a guy who is an explosive playmaker who is doing things with his feet that we have
hold
not
on.
seen many
What is
quarterbacks do in
Justin?
the NFL
What is
history.
Justin Fields right now?
What do
Is
you
he a
mean?
star?
No, he's
Is
budding.
he a game manager?
It's very hard to put a label on Justin
There's
Fields
no
right
label.
now. There is
You
none.
know what
Dynamic.
you're getting out of
Yeah,
Tannehill.
that's
Dynamic.
actually perfect. He's dynamic.
I'm just saying right now, like, for example, if I'm the 49ers and a quarterback's on the market, I got to win this year.
Take Tannehill,
I'm
of
taking
course.
Tannehill over Fields, bro.
Well, that's different because you have a team in place.
Oh, now it's different.
If
right?
you if
That-
you need a
this
guy,
is would you
if you
rather?
need a guy
Wait,
to
whoa,
just
whoa,
go out
Joel,
there, be a
Joel,
ball player,
Joel,
get first
you're
downs,
losing
make
me.
big passes.
You're
If you
losing
have
me.
if
You're
you need
losing
a
me.
pocket passer to
Oh
not
my
make
God.
mistakes,
You just
to
told me
just-
that Justin Fields has nothing. You just told and Joel and Joel's scenario. Oh, that's different. You have a team in place.
You take the
If you
experienced
put
guy.
my
Because
point being is
for
if
the
you have a
Niners,
team in
just
place,
because you have the
and
Niners
Fields
situation,
has
that's
this
not equal to
potential
the
that he
Bears
has,
situation.
then he
'Cause
should
you're
be able to
saying-
get it
'cause
done.
You're saying for just this season, Tannehill's a better pocket passer. That's all the Niners need. They don't need Fields to go out because Fields is going to make mistakes. Fields is young. He's developing. He's not as good as reading the field
So
as
that's
Tannehill.
it.
He's
We're
going
just
to make
saying
more.
who would we
That's
rather
it.
right now,
But
bro.
this
That's
isn't a who would
it.
you rather for the 49ers. That's what you guys just turned it
No,
into.
that's not what we did.
Just because right now Fields he's lacking as a passer.
So for the Jets, if you to win a playoff game right now, are you taking Tannehill or Fields?
You should take Tannehill. You not think?
Yes, a team that is ready to
So
win
now
a
it's not
playoff
just the
game.
49ers. It's
So
just
if you're
still
ready to team that's ready to win a playoff game,
Joel, do you hear
don't.
yourself?
But
Yes, I
Joel,
do.
you're
But
telling me if you want a quarterback
guys, there's 32 teams in the league.
I'm fine
Not
with-
all of them are ready
No,
to win.
but Riv,
Obviously,
I would
But
take
Riv,
I
he
would
just
take
told me.
Fields on 25 teams.
Look,
I would take
I agree.
Tannehill on
He
7.
just
Fields
told
has
me.
more for the future. If I'm building around a quarterback, yes, I'm going Justin Fields. But my would you rather right now is who's better right now? It's Ryan Tannehill.
But Joel,
bro.
you just told me that in a situation that a team is in a position to win, the missing piece would rather be Tannehill than Justin Fields.
At the moment, yes.
He is more refined as a quarterback.
So,
Tannehill,
so
yes.
then why did we just get into this screaming match?
Because I would, if you told me pick one quarterback, who would you rather have? I would rather have Justin Fields.
I also would.
If
But
you
you're
want to
telling
throw in
me
the
in a
situation,
situation
oh, well,
where
if he's
a
on the
team-
49ers or the
disagreeing
Jets
with
and
you.
they have to win a playoff game and they do X, Y, and
no
Z.
one's
No,
dis-
I'm just saying, just
Joel,
who would you
this is
rather
why-
have?
this
It's
is why-
Justin
We're
Fields.
saying
This is
who's
why
better
you're
right
giving me
now.
a
It's
headache.
Tannehill.
It's Justin Fields.
Oh my!
I would
Right
just
now,
Justin
you're
Fields.
stop.
Oh, it's Justin Fields, but you rather have Tannehill on the Niners and Jets, right?
If you're a team ready to win
can't make
and Justin
mistakes.
Fields is as good as he's saying, which I think
Because
Justin
Fields
Fields
makes
is.
mistakes. He's young. He's developing.
Joel,
He has
Joel.
fucking 15
Joel,
career starts.
I'm
Like,
hearing
what are we
you.
talking
I'm
about?
hearing you. Let me talk, damn it. If you're saying that Justin Fields is as good as you're saying, which I agree with you, that's why I'm getting angry at you because you're not letting me finish because I'm with you.
I'm letting you. Go
I'm
ahead.
with you.
Them
I
live
think-
cameras came on and Dehls went crazy.
Hey, I respect it.
That's spicy.
I respect it. My whole point being is you're telling me Justin Fields has all this talent. I agree. He has this ceiling that Tannehill might not have.
He does. Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Wait, hold up. Does Kyler have the ceiling of Justin Fields?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because he doesn't have
I
the
think-
Justin
Ceiling's
Fields'
higher.
ceiling is higher than Kyler's?
No.
No. I don't think Kyle. No,
No.
because
No,
he
we
doesn't have the
could-
intangibles.
We need to see Fields develop.
Can
still more as a
Justin Fields
passer.
be as good as Kyler Murray
He
or
can be
better?
better.
I think he could be. I could
can
definitely
be
be as
better.
good as
So
Kyler,
why don't
yeah.
why don't you put Fields over
can be better.
Kyler in the would you rather?
Yeah, Dehls.
What? I think Kyler's better
How?
than Tannehill.
No. You're losing me. How can Justin Fields be better than Kyler Murray when Kyler Murray is already great at the most important?
never
Riv,
said-
you're saying he easily can be better,
I said easily. I just said he could be better.
but how?
All he has to do, he doesn't have to
Because
be.
K1's already one of the best
Can I-
rushers
can
in
I-
the game.
Well,
and
Fields is better
Kyler-
than him as a rusher.
Okay,
And in year
Do you think
one and a
Kyler's
half,
talent flattened out? Has he made progress over these last?
Fields
2
is also
years as a
taller.
player?
He's able to see defenses better. He's able to see over the offensive
the
line better.
taller
All he
thing.
has to do is
And he has
be.
the
He doesn't
intangibles.
have to be the same passer as K1. He just has to be a really good one, and then he can be better than Kyler Murray. No offense to
all
Kyler
I'm
Murray.
saying
He's
is
great.
I think Justin Fields could be better than an upper echelon game manager. That's what I'm saying by taking him over Tannehill.
Well,
I don't think
Drew
it's
and
the
I answered the question as who's better right now, and we answered Tannehill.
But it's more than that.
Would
It's
you
who
rather Geno Smith
have.
or Justin Fields?
The way Geno's playing, you have to take Geno.
Ryan Tannehill, when he had similar weapons, was playing at this level.
Okay, but
I hope you
we're
understand that.
talking
You're not
right
being
now,
consistent.
2022.
If
Ryan Tannehill, when he had his weapons, when he had AJ Brown and Corey Davis,
Wait, so you would
he was
take
playing
Geno?
at a top 7 quarterback level.
Okay,
would
but
take Geno over Fields?
Geno has the highest completion percentage in the league.
Wait, you would take Geno
Tannehill
over Fields?
completed 70% of his passes that year. too.
Geno's on a different level this year.
You have to take Tannehill over Fields. If you take Geno over Fields, you have to.
Sorry,
To a
say that
degree,
again?
if you take Geno over Fields, you have to take Tannehill over
Has
Fields.
Geno not been better this season than Tannehill?
Yeah, but Tannehill's been really good.
In 2019, Tannehill completed 70% of his passes and had a 117.5 passer rating.
In
in
2019,
the league?
In
no, and then what
2020,
do you follow that up with? What do you follow
106.5
that up
passer
with?
rating, 33
hold on.
touchdowns to 7 interceptions.
I'm confused because you guys are telling me who would you rather have right now, and you're bringing up numbers from 2 years
No,
ago.
but I'm just saying because you said you'd rather have Geno, and I said when Tannehill's in a
I'm
similar
just confused.
he's been
Can-
just
can
as
we
good.
make- is
2019
this who
did
would you
lose
rather?
me.
2020, 2019, 2022, 2024? You guys are going all over the
No,
place.
it's not all over the place because even
You're bringing up numbers from 2-3 years
So
ago.
what we're doing is showing what he can do when he has weapons. Now, without weapons, his team is still first in the division.
in the worst division of football. Yep.
Okay, and last year they were first in the AFC
And lost in the first round.
Okay, but that
because
has
why? Because the Burrow is clearly better. They have a more explosive offense.
shit.
They could-
Wait, first
Is anyone
in
saying
the
that
first in the
Tannehill's
AFC
fucking
South,
elite?
they have the same record as the Jets, 7-5. The
Okay,
Titans.
yeah.
So it's not like they're still a good team.
I
I know they're in a
The
bad
Jets are like
division.
third or fourth in the
And
division.
I saw
are.
somebody in the comments say that Malik Willis played better against Casey than Tannehill.
No, it's-
Malik
that
Willis
pissed
was
you off?
trash.
That shit
He
pissed
was
you off,
trash.
bro?
He was horrible. He had one play that went for 55 yards to Okwanku. Malik Willis, when he's played this season, it's clear the Titans do not trust him with anything. He's been trash this year because they don't have weapons. But Tannehill makes that look better than it does because he's a good quarterback.
Justin Fields doesn't have weapons either.
They're better than Tannehill's, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
They are.
We're talking about Chase Claypool, Cole Kmet. I mean, Derrick Henry alone, I would take over all of the weapons that the Bears have.
For sure.
alone.
For sure.
Justin
Does one
Fields
player
has
change an entire offense? It's
Derrick-
Derrick Henry, of course, but at the
look
same
at what
but,
what do you think that Giants offense will go without Saquon?
We just spoke. Oh, they're trash.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying
When
you're
you
wrong,
have that
but we
type of
just
level of
spoke.
guy,
We just spoke. Derrick Henry has been underwhelming for Derrick Henry standards.
he has been.
Yes, he's still one of
But
the
it's-
league leaders in
It's
rushing.
really only been 2 out of the last 3 weeks. Outside of that, he's been pretty dominant.
No doubt. Against who?
I mean,
His,
it's
his
been,
division.
Oh,
and
okay.
what about
But
his
it's been
division?
damn near every week.
They're mid.
And Khalil Herbert's been very good too
Herbert's solid for sure.
when he was healthy. Of course,
Montgomery is still good.
No, it's
Listen,
not Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry is by himself in this conversation for sure. But you can hone in on Derrick Henry. But even still, Tennessee's still winning games.
Now, before we go on to reading tweets, this is another little fun game I want to play with you guys.
Let's do it.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that are going to be free agents this offseason. I don't know. So right now, free agent quarterbacks that you'd pay or not pay. And when I say pay, I mean for multiple seasons. First name up is Lamar Jackson.
Hey,
Oh, but you pay him in
Without
2
a doubt.
seconds.
Hey,
You pay, no doubt. Next name, Geno Smith.
couple seasons. I would pay Gino for a couple seasons.
I would definitely pay him for 2-3 years.
Is there a cap on how much you'd pay him?
$30 million. That's the max.
That's the max.
I give him a 2-year deal
I'd pay
with a
Geno
team
as well.
option.
I would.
Next year.
$30 million is a ton for a quarterback that's just done it for 1 year.
It is. It
That
is
is a ridiculous amount of
I'd
money.
pay Geno. I don't know if I paid him that much.
But
I'd
what's
pay
his?
Geno.
What is he
20,
worth?
25?
I think if he asked for like 22 to 25 million, I'd pay him.
All right. I only say 30 because that's what I'm assuming that
His market.
Dan,
is gonna dictate.
exactly. It's the quarterback market, especially in 2022. It's going to be high.
Jacoby Brissett.
Short 2-year deal.
There are certain teams that could use a Jacoby Brissett.
Carolina.
Perfect answer. Shit, the Saints probably are looking at
Maybe
Jacoby
the
and are
Jets?
like, I wouldn't mind.
I don't know. I think Andy Dalton has been pretty good.
All
for
right,
the Saints
not
this year.
bad, not bad.
Jacoby
Brissett-
Dalton is not much of a
Yeah,
difference.
but Brissett, do I want starting for the next 2 years?
No,
Probably
Brissett's a
not.
bridge quarterback.
Yes.
I'd give him like a 1 year, 2 year deal to be like a backup. Daniel Jones.
You
Same deal as Gino. A little more money.
you pay him.
Again, for a year or two, I'm cool with it.
I'd franchise tag Daniel Jones. I'd franchise tag him.
Okay, I'm not mad at that because that deal probably long term, if he does play well on the franchise tag, is going to look similar.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Year or two, for
I would
sure.
pay him as well.
Same deal, year or
He
two.
definitely has impressed this year.
Team option.
For me, he's way too injury prone. I wouldn't pay him.
This was a freak injury.
He's been injured like 7 times in the last 6 years.
I don't disagree. Would you agree that this was a freak
bad
injury?
It was a freak injury, but he has a lot of those.
Bad luck.
And you know, I wouldn't pay a guy that much if that's his history. And last name, you're very high on him, Dehls. 2 straight 300-yard passing games. If the Jets have to pay Mike White in the offseason, do you pay him long term?
Can I say TBD?
I was to say, can I see the last 4 or 5 games?
Is that the real?
Because I
House
don't
of
know.
Highlights?
House of Highlights is in here. Shout out to House of Highlights.
That's the highlight.
Pick a side is always a W.
I think that's a real.
Shout out to them.
That's lit, man.
I need to see the last 5 games from Mike White.
Oh, you're not ready to commit, right?
No,
I
I'm
don't-
not-
2
listen,
games.
do
I'm
that?
not over here saying
It's the
that,
best
John?
the Jets quarterback's ever been in years.
for sure, but I need
be
to
nice
see
if-
more than a 2-game sample size before. If there's a difference between starting Mike White and paying Mike White $25 million. Huge difference.
What about 15 mil?
15 mil for a year? Yeah, for sure. 1 year, 15 mil I would do.
15 mil.
For 1 year,
Okay.
we have cap space.
Interesting.
Who's it? Because who's our alternative?
Zach Wilson.
Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett's probably gonna be around the same price.
He's better.
We don't know yet. They're probably like around the same tier.
Stop.
I think we know. Well,
Let's be
Brissett's
honest.
good. He's all right.
Hey, you know, we can't shit talk. We cannot
can't,
shit
no.
talk Mike White. You
can't.
cannot. Not yet, at least.
I was just, damn, did I lose it?
Brissett used to be
I
your
lost
guy.
it.
But he was Brissett is my guy. I like Brissett a lot.
Cool.
I would not pay Mike White, but we'll see in this stretch of games. We'll
It's
see
a
how he
TBD.
plays.
It's a TBD.
You know, if he goes on a stretch and wins games and it just win a playoff game, you kind of have to pay Mike White at that point.
I just threw the numbers out. Whatever. I just did the stat head on Pro Football Focus. Just compared Jared Goff and Mike White this season. Goff completing 65% of his passes. White 62.
Why
Passer
Jared
rating because I said that earlier and you guys said I was insane. 96 passer rating.
Jared
for
Goff
Goff,
played well against the Bills.
90 for Mike White. 7. I mean, you can't really do that. 340 yards per game for Mike White. 250. Small sample size, but through 2 games, Jared Goff's been a little bit better, a little more efficient, but
Yo, shout out to House of Highlights for being in the comments for real.
That's lit.
And
man.
shout out to 307 people watching right now. Hit
at
that
4.
like button. Get
We
those
were
likes
almost at
up.
4. We went on break right as we were about to hit
Yeah.
4.
For real, we really did.
382. Oh my.
Let's get it. Shout out to Through the
God damn,
Wire.
y'all getting me hot today, bro.
You getting red.
Jesus Christ.
Nah, I'll
It's
be
the
honest,
live
bro.
stream,
No,
man.
but what?
It must be.
You've
I
been
don't
getting
know.
crazy
You've been
today.
bugging today.
Well, first of all, the 0-5 with the Jets was so
I
disrespectful.
did I say that they were gonna go?
think the
0-5?
The
question
fact
just
that
got
you
tired,
even
yeah.
said, is there a chance they go 0-5?
Is there not a chance?
With the way this team has played the first 12 games of the season, I would be fucking shocked if they went
But
0-5.
You guys aren't playing like middle of the road teams. That if you guys were playing mid to lower teams, yes, you guys definitely have a chance.
None of these
You're
teams
playing the Bills. You're playing a hot Lions team.
outside the Bills are any of these teams Super Bowl contenders.
The
Are
Jets
you guys?
No. But I'm saying we're on the same level as damn near all of these teams.
Are you on the same level as the Seahawks right now?
Yes.
Yeah, this is awesome.
What?
But they could very well lose those games too, though.
We can, but we could also win those games.
Okay,
So when
cool.
you have
It's a toss-up.
if you have 5 toss-ups,
And
if
you're counting on Mike
if you
White.
flip a coin 5 times, what's the odds it's heads 5 times in a row?
Miami. You also play Miami.
I know.
I mean, they're not
That's
a Super
a-
Bowl
that-
contender.
No, they're tier 2 for me.
Listen,
right.
Dehls.
They're the
if-
best. I mean,
Listen,
them and
Dehls.
Buffalo.
If the Jets beat Miami Week 18, I'm a Jets fan again.
what the fuck? And then you dapped him?
he did it halfway through the sentence, bro. Fuck.
Yo, shout out to you, my guy. for
No, I'm
real.
not. You're not getting
What?
another dab. It's chopped. It's chopped.
That's crazy. All right, reading tweets. This is a segment that we do. We put out a tweet on Twitter, have you guys reply to it, and we pick some. Riv, you're up first. You have your tweet.
That's cute. This is from Donovan Stover. Stover
Shout out to
Sports
the boy,
21.
man. It's a goat.
He said Jets, Commanders, 49ers are teams that are QB away from being contenders. Hashtag pick my tweet. I gotta see the whole
A
thing.
quarterback away. Who,
I think the
Commanders,
Niners,
Jets.
Commanders, Jets, Niners. I think Niners for sure. I think the Jets, you can kind of make an argument. The
Zach Wilson progression away.
Commanders sneaky.
Commanders, yeah.
Sneaky.
I'm not sold on Ron Rivera completely.
I would say a coach. They're a coach and a
Yeah,
quarterback.
Ron
away.
Rivera's kind of been up and down.
Are we sold on Terry being like a true number one or still borderline number one?
He's not. I don't think he's a true number one.
So, like,
He's not
borderline
AJ
number
Brown.
Well, not a lot
Terry's
of
a
people are.
problem though.
He's the number one, though.
Terry's been eating.
He's a number one.
So he's
bro.
like a tier 2 number one.
Terry
type
has
shit?
been eating.
I mean, if he's
Heineke's come in.
if he's the second receiver on a team,
He's a dog. No, I'm
it's
saying
my
right.
goodness. He's a number one.
Would you
though.
rather have
Do we look-
Higgins or Terry?
Higgins.
That's
Oh,
close.
a better question. Do we
Higgins.
look at
I like
rather
Higgins
Higgins.
more though.
do we
but
look at
that's
Terry in the
close.
same breath we look at Waddle? He's a number one, but he's just
No.
playing as number
I'd
two.
rather-
But
Waddle.
Waddle is like he's has potential.
Damn.
My goodness, he has the potential to be a top 5 receiver.
That's what I'm asking. Like,
Nah,
dude, Scary
Waddle's
still
in
has
the
that
class
potential.
of
But
No.
I think
No.
DJ Moore is a wide receiver 1. I think Terry's in that same.
Okay, so the
Class and
DJ Moore.
bracket.
Okay, cool.
Yo, McLaurin's been really good
Hey.
this year, bro.
He has been.
No, he's
This
been
is- this is
really
definitely his
fucking
best
good.
year.
Sir, I have another question.
Okay.
Don't interrupt me.
I'm talking about the same shit you're talking about.
He's gonna
Right,
put up like
actually,
a
a new question.
his sophomore year
Mojo.
type of
Go ahead.
season.
From at David Boxley 2. Brock Purdy hasn't looked bad in the time he has been on the field. The 49ers can still make some noise in the postseason. This is more for you because you're not a Purdy guy.
Bro, no, this is more for you because you tweeted that if you were you, you would rock
Oh,
with
you saw
Brock.
that shit?
What do you mean? Did I see that
I
shit?
thought
Of
we was.
course.
Oh, I was like,
no, I wasn't
oh, yeah, 'cause
ignoring
Baker
it.
stinks, and I liked how Purdy looked.
So bad.
He does stink.
I think they can win a game.
If they played the Giants,
I've
the
seen them win a
Commanders,
game
for
and
sure.
Jimmy G threw like 80 yards. Purdy can do that, bro.
Because they're going to play one of those, second tier wild card. If they play Dallas, it's chop. But if they play the
What are
Commanders
they?
or Giants,
What are the Niners 10-2 when Garoppolo doesn't throw a touchdown?
Like, I
yeah,
think-
some
They
shit
have a
like
winning
that.
record despite Garoppolo not being good. Anyway,
and this is more of a thought from Nope. Nope. NO9E.
Okay.
This year's NFL playoffs is going to be the most unpredictable it has ever been.
The AFC, I think, because you have those 3 teams. I think Miami can give any of them a run for their money. So you have really 4 teams.
I think the NFC, because you got to think, because Tampa could still win a lot of playoff games.
could,
bro.
And then you got Dallas, Philly.
They could go
The
on a
Niners
run.
can still make a slight run. Maybe
They
not like a
could, bro.
championship run. but
Tom
they could-
Brady's
They
that
so a
man.
playoff game.
Yeah, playoff game or two. They could just fuck somebody bracket.
Yeah,
Nah,
no,
it's so
facts.
it's so good to be a Tom Brady fan.
What the hell?
Just root for him.
Like I don't.
I can't
like
do
you.
it no more.
I've kind of been in hell.
Mahomes,
supporting
Burrow,
this
Brady.
year.
I like winners, baby.
You're sick.
I like winners,
do it.
baby.
This is who you allowed to root for Mahomes, by the way.
He did it. I couldn't like.
You should have just denied it, bro.
I didn't think Mahomes was going like a 4-year fucking.
In 2019, I say he was the best quarterback I've ever seen him with my own two
Said that
eyes.
like after the MVP season. I didn't think Mahomes would go 4 years of just being the best.
I mean, bro, his first year he threw 50 touchdowns.
Hey, listen,
what were
man.
you to expect?
He's a grown man.
He is.
Hate him for it.
Entitled to, you know what I'm saying?
All right, that's it, right? It's my turn?
Yes, sir. That's my 3.
All right, so my first tweet is from Messi_Martinez5. He says, what does Denver need to do to turn it around for next season? That is a very good question, my
Pray to
friend.
God.
The Lord is definitely a big part of that.
Sure.
No, but what's going to actually need to happen is that we continue to bolster up this offensive line. We get healthy. Hopefully Tim Patrick's back and himself that we've seen.
Sorry, Illinois beat Texas.
Yeah, and the Lakers are getting smoked.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? And our defense can continue to be what it is. Of course, we're one of the best defenses in the league, but the whole primary focus is on this offense. We need to get rid of Hackett. We need to bring in a guy like Frank Reich. Again, I won't go to the level of getting Sean Payton. I'm not trying to get greedy. Although I was greedy last year in asking for Russell Wilson. However, we see how that has turned out so far, but I'm an optimistic man. I think bringing in a guy like Frank Reich would definitely help our situation, a guy with experience, a guy who has shown that he can get to the playoffs with a team, especially one that is going to be led by Russell Wilson and company. I would like to get another weapon on the outside next to Cortland Sutton. Having Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, his injury, you don't know if he's going to be back week 1 immediately. He did get hurt in the preseason, so you'd assume so. But I would like to see if we can spend a little money or the first-round pick that we have on a wide receiver.
Yep.
Maybe we go and we get JSN, who was seeming to drop a little bit. He has been hurt this year. He's missed a majority of the season, and it's looking like his draft stock has taken a hit. With the Niners pick, we could be in a position to select JSN. That would definitely be attractive for the Broncos. My next tweet is by Jalen Bacata, Bhakta. He says, year of the playoff upsets. Commanders and Seahawks can upset big teams in the NFC. And same with the Bengals and Dolphins in the AFC. There isn't that much skill gap 1-7 like it was in years past.
Yeah.
I
There's
don't
a
know if
significant gap between the Eagles and the Commanders.
I don't know if I agree with that statement on the NFC side. I have the Eagles. I have the Cowboys ahead of the bunch. With this Jimmy G injury, it definitely
we forgot
takes
about the Vikings.
We didn't.
no.
What do you mean?
I didn't forget about them.
What do you mean? Like they can't win?
They're not winning the Super Bowl, no.
Oh no, I didn't mean like that. Just a team.
And no,
that
they're
can-
not going to the Super Bowl either.
No, I don't think
can
that. They can
confidently
go to
say
the
that.
NFC Championship.
Can they beat
No.
Dallas
Yeah, they
or
can.
Philly?
Yeah, they can.
If the Eagles and the Cowboys see each other, they can go.
The only good thing about it that they can is that the Cowboys would be a wild card team, and would be potential that the Cowboys would play the Eagles prior to getting to the NFC chip, depending on how the bracket works out.
It's all about matchups.
That being said, I don't have any faith actually that Minnesota will be coming out of the NFC.
Thanks,
As for the AFC, if there was a team outside of the Jets, of course, because the Jets I don't see as a true Super Bowl contender, that had an elite level defense on this side, this would be a different conversation. But there is no team in the AFC, that you can look at and say they are a 100% complete sound team on both offense and defense. The only team you can look at and say that right now would be the Cincinnati Bengals, because the Cincinnati Bengals defense is or has been playing better than the Bills defense, who has dealt with some injuries. I think at full strength, they're probably a little bit better. But with what's going on with Josh Allen and his arm, can you trust that he'll be 100% healthy for the playoffs? And the Chiefs. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He's been all-world this year, probably the MVP favorite as of right now. But that defense is still one that I am not sold on, not by any means. We just saw the Bengals go ahead and put 27 points on them relatively easy. I think that the Dolphins would still put up points relatively easy on the Chiefs as well. I think the Bills would have no problem scoring on them also. Yeah, bro, he bugged out. I just think that the AFC, he's 100% right. Anything can happen in the AFC.
Oh, that was the last season? You
That was all
He
three.
had 40. He had like 5. He was like
Yeah,
2 for
Amazing.
8.
How many did Garland have?
21.
Wow.
How much did AD finish with?
He only had 0 points.
Yeah.
Oh my
1 point. He had 1
goodness.
point.
He went out
Garland had
early
tw-
then.
Like
He had
immediately.
8 minutes. Garland had 21 and
He
11.
must have had like a stomach bug or some shit. I don't know, man.
That shit, when you feeling sick, you cannot
OD,
hoop.
no.
It's
Hey,
just
Pat
weird
Matt
that he
is back.
started.
Now, Dehls,
played well?
your turn.
He had 5 points.
I mean, isn't that
1 for
average?
5.
Yeah,
1 for 5.
it's average.
Lonnie. No, he played like shit today.
So the first tweet I
Everyone
have
did.
is from Jaden8_. We just talked about it. We really have to start respecting Jalen Hurts when it comes to the MVP conversation. 3,500 total yards, 29 total touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, 108 passer rating, 11-1 record for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's taken a huge leap. We talked about this, so I don't want to be too in-depth about it, but he's definitely top 2 in terms of MVP race. This one was the one I was most interested in. When it's all said and done, Justin Fields will be better than Lamar Jackson. I mean, look at it. Showing that on the run, what he could do. Showing that on the run? Okay. I think he's saying showing his ability on the run compared to what Lamar was and throwing the football too. Justin Fields clears. Even earlier in their career, I think Lamar was probably a bit of a better passer. Now, year 2, Lamar came out, won MVP. I'm not expecting Justin Fields to do that. Lamar, his year 2 is year 2
One of the
unlike
best.
anyone's we've ever seen.
Only MVP unanimous.
Yeah, so I'm not ready to say that. Justin Fields would have to come a long way as a passer to pass the current state of Lamar Jackson as a passer. But do any of you guys think that Justin Fields could one day clear Lamar?
No.
No way, no how.
Clear? No.
Can I tell you
Can he ever
something?
be better?
Can I tell you something that is kind of crazy? And let me know how you guys feel about this. Is Hurts a better passer than Lamar?
No.
I don't think so.
Joel, let me ask you that question, bro.
Those are my 2 guys, and right now Jalen Hurts is a better passer.
Bro, Jalen Hurts is a better passer than Lamar. I think I'm with you, bro.
Yes.
It's crazy as hell how fast
Why
and
is
how
he a better
quick.
passer?
I don't know if I've seen the development of a quarterback as strong from one year to the next in terms of passing, which is why Justin Fields and I have a kind of restriction because I have not seen a player develop in their passing the way that Jalen Hurts has.
Are you saying that because I feel like sometimes the receivers can make you
For
look
sure.
better,
That's
Yeah.
a fair point.
and Lamar
And that's
does
what's
not
happening.
have
Can I
it.
ask you, bro? I feel like Jalen Hurts puts it on
No,
the
he
money.
does. He does. But I feel
every
like Lamar
single
does that
throw.
with nobody.
He
It's
Jalen
just-
Hurts
it
is
just
more
looks
consistent.
yeah, it
Jalen
looks
Hurts one of
better.
the better deep goal ball throwers in the league for sure, but I think Lamar's the better passer.
Hurts is more consistent. I
Bro,
do think
he
he almost
puts-
always throws the ball in
Correct.
stride
Yeah.
for the receiver.
Correct.
It's always right on their hands. Lamar can do it too, and he doesn't have the receiver. So that's why like those 50-50 balls that A.J. Brown comes down with 80% of the time, Lamar just doesn't have a guy who could do that. So that I can understand. But even still, even in tight window throws that
Hurts has some
aren't wide
dots.
open on the sideline, moving like I do think right now Hurts is a better passer, which is crazy because this is really his second year starting. Lamar is starting 4 or 5 years.
He
Bro,
wasn't that good last year.
Jalen is the truth, man.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
like
Hurts
that's
was not
why
that
I've
good
been
last
so
year.
like 180 with Jalen because my biggest question was his ability to pass. Because last year the Bucks decided we're gonna stop the run, force Jalen to pass, and it wasn't even a game. He took that and he's used it as motivation this year.
Then
he
he
has
just did against Titans. They did the same thing and
and
different
he
result.
is meticulous.
Yeah.
Every single pass is right on the money. I'm getting goosebumps. Honestly, he's been that amazing.
And to have only 3 interceptions on the whole season.
He's been crazy.
Shout
and
out-
and
shout out to
honestly,
King Woods.
2 of those. I remember one that interception was week 1. It wasn't his fault. The second one was
A.J. Brown
AJ
dot.
Brown that went through his hands. Like I can't remember the third.
Shout out to King Woods for the $5
That's
donation.
a fact. We're gonna
Shout
talk
out.
about the Cowboys, bro. Don't worry. We're gonna
out to
talk
you.
about the Cowboys next.
And then the last one we have here, it's kind of we talked about it, but after the Jimmy G injury, it's Seattle's division to lose. Do you think Seattle can now take over the AFC? Or
It's the
NFC
Niners
West?
division to lose.
Still a
Still,
Niners division to lose.
It is their division to lose. Still,
Who do you think will win the division?
The
the
Niners.
Niners.
I hope Seahawks get in though. Fun story.
Are Seahawks a game back? 2 games?
Might be 2
A game.
a game.
A game.
They're 1 game back. Have they played this year?
They played once. Yep, they played once.
Who won?
Niners won.
Niners
They
won.
play December 15th. Oh, they play next Thursday is the Thursday night game. Seahawks.
that's
Must,
a- that's a
must
great
win for
Thursday night
Seattle.
game.
Must win for Seattle. Okay. Okay.
in Seattle.
Those were all your tweets.
Yep.
Okay, my tweet
How
is
many do
from
you have?
3. Is from @RussellT33. Do you think the Chiefs wide receivers are good enough come playoff time? They have a ton of receiver depth, but don't have that star receiver that will make big plays. Tony is their best shot, but he's got injury concerns.
Yeah, Tony can't stay healthy. I mean, you're not really looking at the receivers for Kansas City. You're just Patrick Mahomes is going to make it work, right?
And I don't think the receivers are bad. I really don't. I think
Juju's
that
been good.
Juju is a good receiver. He was heavily slept on coming into the year. Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the league by far. As long as you have him, you're going to have a receiving game. And then everybody else is kind of plug-and-play guys. Sky Moore has been better as of late.
Yep.
MVS got to come down with those balls. He drops.
just the story.
He had
He made
two,
up.
He had 2
He made
drops.
up.
Yeah, he did make up for it, but you got to catch him when it's there. He had an egregious drop in the red zone, in the end zone.
Oh, the diving one.
Yeah, but I think the Chiefs are fine. They have the weapons. They have enough talent offensively to be fine offensively. The real concern is the tackles. Orlando Brown hasn't been good this year. On the other end, I can't even name the right tackle. I think it's like Niang. I think he might be hurt. It might be somebody else.
George's Niang? No, that's the basketball player.
That's my twin.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's Lucas Niang. But
Lucas, there it is.
their tackles are the real issue
is
on
your
that
twin.
team. The interior
They look
offensive
just
line is
alike.
great. It's just
You
the
look better,
tackles
though.
and
We got to get Bro on the show.
Now you look better, bro.
and just the defense corners. Trent McDuffie's inexperienced. Joshua Williams is
That's what I'm more
He
worried
was on
about.
okay.
Barstool Sports, and they gave him. He had an amazing interview. Honestly, yeah,
yeah, he's a cool dude.
he is.
This next tweet is from @MattDahl83. What do the Chargers do if they miss the playoffs with Herbert on our team again?
You fire Staley,
You fire Staley, and you do everything you can to fix up the defense.
and you get Sean Payton.
I really
What
think
about
the defense is
What about
fine.
the wide receivers?
Rush defense still
I
hasn't
would
been
say,
great,
I think you
dude.
draft a deep threat wide receiver.
You still trust
You bring
Keenan
in Sean
Allen?
Payton.
I
Desperately
think
need
the
a D
defense
tackle.
has the talent. It's just Staley
Correct.
doesn't have the scheme in place for the defense. I think you bring in a defensive mind that knows what he's doing. That defense turns around like that.
Are you saying for head coach, or are you saying just an experienced defensive coordinator?
I mentioned earlier on the show that Lou Anarumo is Lou. I keep getting his name wrong. Lou Anarumo. It might something like that. It's very hard to pronounce. I gotta get better at that. He can be a head coaching candidate. I think he would change around the Chargers defense instantly. But you can't reject Sean Payton.
I would hate to see Justin Herbert go from defensive-minded head coach to defensive-minded head coach. Just
Hey, but
selfishly, you know?
Yeah, because you need offensive guys to develop quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Jets have solid, and then we've seen how Zach Wilson.
Let's
turned
just
out.
look at all the teams that have gone to the playoffs and really contended for a Super Bowl. A good portion of them are led by an offensive
For
mind.
sure.
Outside
Yeah.
of the Patriots, I guess.
And the
'cause
Bills.
Yeah, but they haven't made it. Well, they did go to the AFC
And
Championship.
look how great Brian Dable is. I mean, come on. You know?
Chargers should have had him. And this is the last
they
tweet.
folded
It's
so
from @AintNoWay654. AJ Brown is currently a top 5 receiver in the league, and people do not want to admit it.
This is your
He's
your
not top
guy.
five.
This
So you
is-
got
Tyreek
it's
Hill.
the freak.
Miami has 2.
It's Jettas. It's Stephon Diggs,
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase.
Still put Cup in there.
You wouldn't have AJ Brown over Stephon Diggs?
No, not this year.
no. He's top 10, probably top 8. But I think that's where I had him coming into the season, like 8th or 9th.
I think you had it like 9.
Here's the
Something
thing.
Like around there.
Here's the thing, and this is not a crazy statement because we have had multiple conversations about this.
Nice.
AJ Brown has the skill set and the ability to be the best receiver in the league. There was a time where I firmly did believe AJ Brown was the best in the game. This was like 2 years ago before the injuries really started
Even
to
with
pile up.
Tay in the league?
AJ Brown really had a different feel to him. His ability to catch the ball, his big body stature, his ability to take a quick screen and
Crib
just beat.
At 225.
It's
is
ridiculous.
impressive.
And his ability to stay on his feet and go through traffic is second to none at the wide receiver position. Probably DK's in that conversation also when it comes to physique
For
and
AJ,
dominance.
you're just concerned about the knee injuries
Absolutely.
because at that size, at that weight, how much pressure you're putting on those knees every single step. That's the biggest concern with AJ Brown. Outside of that, I mean, he's going to be a consensus top 10 receiver every year.
He's not top 5, and that's due to the skill at the wide receiver position.
It's tough getting in that top 5.
But he is one of the best in the game. And that's not a slight to him. It's an acknowledgement that A.J. Brown,
Would you rather have Cup or AJ Brown?
I would rather have Cup.
I'd rather have AJ Brown
But why, though?
because he can do more things.
But does that really matter, though?
I think Cup is better.
It does. I think if AJ Brown had the volume Cup had, he can just do more things.
Do you think
can
he can
involve-
handle the
he-
volume Cup?
He's a better
It's hard
X
to
receiver
say.
than Cup. There's no doubt about that.
You saw Cup got hurt this year.
I just have a tough time sitting with
Sounds like a
that
lot of people
when
can handle
AJ
that
Brown's
type of
more
volume.
physical.
we just
he's
saw
faster.
Cooper Kupp have the greatest wide receiver season we'll ever see in our
Definitely
lives.
had.
I don't think he's saying AJ's
Tyreek
better.
might
I just think
break
he's
his
saying
No,
he
he
would
just
rather.
said.
But let me ask you this. Let me
You
ask you
think
this.
AJ's better in Cup? Or you would
If
rather
you
have
if you
him?
switch AJ Brown with Cooper Kupp on the Eagles offense,
They're still amazing.
they're still amazing. But I feel better with AJ Brown.
I
There.
feel like Cup would be better.
I don't know about that.
He gets open. Not that AJ
With the
does.
amount of
He's
goal balls
always
that
open.
Jalen Hurts
Me and
throws,
Tay are like the only ones that are
I was
always
gonna
Cup
say-
can
open.
take it over the top
Okay,
two.
AJ Brown might be the best 50-50
he can't
ball receiver in the league.
haul
though.
in 50-50 balls like AJ Brown.
But that's the thing. He doesn't really have to do 50-50
He
balls
can't.
because he
He's
gets
always
by
open.
defenders.
Yeah,
AJ
but when
Brown
you
is
just
a
run a
great
go
runner, too.
route,
I'm not saying that he's not a
A lot
great
of guys are
route.
fast.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
I'm just. I'd rather
He
have.
just-
I'd rather
Cooper
have
Kupp
AJ
is
Brown.
still meticulous in his route running. He has one of the best hands in the league. He's still one of the fastest in the league.
Cooper's-
There's not
you
much
you
Cooper
gotta put him
can't
over
do.
just because of what he
Fastest?
just did.
He is one of the
he is
fastest.
really fast. I know
Yo,
why you're saying that.
I don't want to say this either.
Whoa!
We are a
We got him,
family
y'all.
show.
We got
but
him.
bro,
And we're live.
let's not
he's fast as
disrespect
shit.
him.
Cooper Kupp is fast.
Are you being?
He's very
He ran a
fast.
4.62 at the combine, bro.
Are you being?
I'll be honest. AJ ran like a 4.56 or
He's
something.
like a 4.4 receiver though,
I know his game speed is faster, just like with Cooper Kupp.
but he's not. Cooper Kupp's not as fast as AJ
Waddle or
Brown.
AJ Brown?
I like
Good
Waddle
question.
better.
I do
Yeah,
like
it's in my
Waddle
head.
better too.
Hmm.
That's a good one.
Right now,
Yeah, right. After like both of them number ones, who would you take?
damn.
AJ ran a 4.49. Okay,
God damn, that hot.
that's nice.
Ooh.
Damn.
That's
I
a good
think
one.
I think I would go Waddle.
Waddle's nice.
I think I would go Waddle.
Super
Next,
tough.
would you rather has to be on AJ Brown?
They're both.
I like
They're
that.
both in that next 5 up. So after the top 5.
Jalen Waddle is he creates so much separation. His hands are for sure. He's one of the fastest, probably the second fastest receiver in the National Football League.
Yeah.
So we promised to talk about the Cowboys, and we are.
Teammate.
Exactly.
The Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles both had dominant wins on Sunday. The Cowboys beat the Colts 54-19. The Eagles beat the Titans 35-10. The Eagles are 11-1, their best start since 2004. The Cowboys are 9-3. Now, I think most people have the Eagles as the best team in the NFC.
Correct.
Are the Cowboys right now the only team you feel confident in beating the Eagles in a playoff game?
For sure. Right now, they're fourth in points when it comes to defense. They're also a top 5 defense in terms of yards given up. The Dallas Cowboys have been clicking as of recently on all cylinders. In the last 5 games, they scored over 40 points 3 straight times. Shout out to the guy who donated. I don't have his name off the top of my head. If you guys have that, I'd be very appreciative. King Woods Reacts. Shout out to you, bro. He's 100% right. What the Dallas Cowboys did to the Colts in the fourth quarter was straight up domination. And it was
Defensively, yeah.
on both sides of the ball.
I didn't like his comment though, because he said we struggled with them, but yet we beat Green Bay and they lost to Green Bay. So
No.
if he wants to play that game,
Were y'all home?
Fourth.
Were y'all home against Green Bay?
I
Y'all
don't
were on
It
the
was
road.
on a road.
It was on the road?
In Green Bay.
Either which way, both. It was an amazing performance by the boys for sure. And by the boys, I mean your Eagles in this situation.
No, it was at
Are
Philadelphia.
Very particular.
Eagles.
Correct.
It was at home.
It was at
At Philly?
Philadelphia.
At Philadelphia. Okay, there you go. I mean, playing in Lambeau is one of the tougher environments.
Wentz has a win in Lambeau.
But it was both sides for me. I feel like yes, Dak Prescott wasn't at the primary point of giving credit to because he really wasn't asked to do much. At that point, the game was out of hand, but the run game was dominant. Tony Pollard had his way whichever way he wanted it. Ezekiel Elliott got into the mix of things, over 70 yards and a touchdown. The crowd was screaming his name. They wanted Zeke to get into the end zone. Zeke is a fan favorite. People like to give Zeke all the criticism because Tony Pollard has been better, averaging over 5 yards a carry. Tony Pollard's been special for sure. But the fan base loves Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott was the beginning of this Dallas Cowboys culture changing. He came in and completely changed how the offense was run, and the fan base loves and rallies around Ezekiel Elliott to see them get that touchdown, to see him go into the Salvation Army bucket and do that celebration with Dak was very cool to see. But they've been rolling, man. Offensively, they've been doing whatever they want to do. Dak has seemed to become himself a little bit more. Did have an errant throw early where he had the interception. But other than that, he really wasn't called on to do much else. He played a perfect game. The run was dominant. And, of course, this defense that has been all-world all season long, they've really cleaned up the run game allegations. That really doesn't seem to be an issue anymore. Cowboys are for real. I still have the Eagles ahead of them just because I think the Eagles all around are the most complete team in the National Football League. I give credit to the Bengals being the most complete on the AFC, but it does not come close to what the Eagles have over there. The best offensive line, one of the best pass games, one of the best rush games, or the best rush game, I should say. One of the best defenses in the league. I believe they're number 2 in terms of yards given up. The Eagles are still number 1. But the Cowboys are right there. They're really a great team.
Do you have them in a different tier? Same tier as Philly? Different tier?
Damn.
I have them in a tier 2. I think Philly's tier 1 NFC.
It's close, man.
I have 3 teams in tier 1.
It's I say
In the NFC?
No, it's 2. It was 3. But then the guy got hurt. So
I
it's
say
2.
I have them in the same tier because similarly how some may feel like Tua needs to prove it, I feel similarly I need to see Jalen in the playoffs.
Yeah,
which
that's
is why
kinda
when you
where I'm
say
at
that
with it.
you need to see it, I'm fine with that.
That's fair.
Because it's a fair assessment. Dallas has been there. Dak has been there. Dak has played well. So I feel like that's why it's I feel like I do have them in that same tier, but even still, I do have the Eagles over the Cowboys.
Listen, when it comes to the Eagles and Cowboys,
He's been solid.
they both had dominant
first game in
wins.
2017 is holding him up a lot.
I mean, against the Rams,
Talk about Dak.
Yeah.
against the Rams, he wasn't bad, and against Seattle, it was really the Ezekiel show.
I was gonna say he
still-
hasn't lost them games, but I don't think
We still don't know what
Now
Dak is
listen,
in the playoffs.
when it comes to the Cowboys and Eagles, they both had dominant wins. But I feel like the Cowboys winning is kind of getting overrated a little bit. And I'm not talking about, from a defensive standpoint, yes, it was amazing. We're talking about a Cowboys team that struggled against the Colts for 3 entire quarters. It was 19-21 at the start of the fourth quarter. Mo Alley Cox had a fumble that was returned for a touchdown, and that started the spiral of just negative events for the Colts. Matt Ryan was intercepted when targeting Granson. It led to a Pollard touchdown. It was 40-19. Then Deron Bland had an interception where Ashton Doolin had it, but Bland just ripped it from him. Ryan's interceptions weren't even bad ones outside of the second one to Granson, to be honest. It was a tip ball, Granson interception, and Doolin ripped by Bland. The Cowboys ran the ball well, but I thought that they were in perfect field position for the majority of the game because their defense was putting them in that position. The passing game was really non-existent. The entire game, like the fourth quarter, we know that they had the field position, but throughout 3 quarters, the passing game wasn't nothing to rave about. I still do think they need one more playmaker. Their defense created turnovers, 5 turnovers,
They're amazing.
2 fumbles, and 3 interceptions. But for 3 quarters, it was a toss-up game. They played a fairly decent game. The Colts were clicking offensively for some drives against Cowboys. Philadelphia's win was more dominant. They passed all over Tennessee from quarter 1 to quarter 4.
Against a way better team.
Yeah, Hurts nearly 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 2 touchdowns against his former team. One was the defensive PI where he just fell down and A.J. Brown catches it wide open, and then the other one,
It wasn't that he fell
lost
down.
him.
A.J. Brown ran through him.
Yeah, he trucked
Yeah,
them.
that was
man.
insane.
And then the
That felt
defense,
personal.
the Eagles' defense held the Titans to 209 yards of total offense.
Derrick Henry did nothing.
They shut down the run game, and they had 6 sacks. And the Eagles, their score was so lopsided, and they created 0 turnovers. The Titans, they took care of the ball, and they still got blown out by 25. The Colts had 5 turnovers. It's just the difference. When talking about the NFC, the Cowboys are a contender. The Vikings are a sneaky contender. I know people don't want to give them their respect. There are concerns about the Vikings, though. The Bucks, I can't count out Tom Brady,
You
man.
can't.
I can't. There's a reason why I got a Super Bowl jersey patched. He's the GOAT.
Gross.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. It's been tough to keep the support of the Bucks and Tom Brady and company because this performance against the Saints was like pulling teeth. But it became a great game.
W.
But that being said, man, it's not a game that the Bucks should be sweating. They don't look great. But you're 100% right.
In the playoffs, it could click for
Tom Brady
It just
and the
happens.
offense.
And what I'll say is, before the season, I knew the Eagles were great.
For sure.
Their roster is
Amazing.
phenomenal. You can say it's the best roster in the NFL, top to bottom.
And we have draft picks.
The question
Top five draft pick.
The question was whether or not Jalen Hurts
And we don't have to pay him yet.
will hold this team back. That's it. And he hasn't. In fact, he's elevated his play. They're not babying him. He can do stuff.
But the Band-Aid is off.
He
baby.
can do stuff out of structure. He's a great quarterback. With this roster, with Hurts being a great quarterback, there is no reason they shouldn't win the NFC. Even if the Cowboys faced them. The Cowboys have flaws defensively. Their offense is sporadic. The Eagles should beat them. There's no reason why the Eagles shouldn't go to the Super Bowl, and it's as simple as that.
No, you're good. In terms of just, I think Dallas, you can make an argument. Great team. Defensively, they're elite. The Niners, defensively, are elite. Those are the only 2 defenses I'm scared of for Hurts. You know, like, maybe not scared of, but those are the only 2 that I think would give him trouble. But in terms of this Titans game, you know, Hurts was amazing from start to finish. Pocket presence was unbelievable. Every play was perfect.
It's amazing.
And I was arguing with my boy Seb the other day on Twitter because he wanted me to praise Hurts for the regular season as if I haven't been. But I said the same. My argument has been the same. Last year, he had a good regular season, and in the playoffs, he got shut down. This year, he's having an elite regular season. If he makes that, because we want a franchise quarterback. If he makes that jump in the playoffs, there's nothing to say about him. If he is the person he was yesterday, maybe even to a lesser degree, if he's that guy, there is nobody in the NFC that can beat us. It doesn't matter what they do.
Take it further. There's no team in the NFL that
yeah,
that
but
can
the
beat them when
Chiefs,
you're
you
playing
still
like that.
always got to keep that eye up because they can score with anybody.
But their defense is not like that.
There is, but in a shootout, you're scared of Mahomes. No matter what, in a shootout, you're scared of him. But there is no just speaking on the NFC.
He's beatable.
No, you're just a hater, but I get it. But
Only by Joe Burrow and Tom
that's-
Brady.
hey.
Literally.
Like the Bucks
Burrow.
can still make a run. Of course, you got to think about the Bucks, Tom Brady. But if Jalen Hurts is like this and our defense comes to play, AJ Brown doesn't have his faults he had like 2-3 weeks ago. Devonta Smith is still that guy. We're getting Goddard back, or however you say his name. Dallas.
You said it perfectly.
You said it
I said it perfectly this time.
That's the first time. There we go.
We're getting Dallas back soon. If Hurts is like this, there's nobody that we're gonna really run through the NFC. And I think in the Super Bowl, whether it's the Chiefs, the Bills, or the Bengals, if he's the same way, I think we're very comfortable in whoever we play. And we're going to have home field advantage, which is huge because Philly is one of the toughest places to play, especially in the playoffs. I know y'all remember that Nick Foles run. There was nobody that could come in there. We had the Meek Mill, Dreams
so
and Nightmares.
good, he got a statue.
Yeah, it was just dangerous.
He got a statue in Sean Taylor then.
Falcons,
His shit was
Vikings,
disrespectful.
you named it. They walked into that building. Teams were scared, and that's the same way it's going to be once we play this playoffs. So shout out to Hurts, shout out to the team. We're going to the bowl, and I love it. Another year, and we have a top 5 pick.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like
crazy.
bring whoever. It don't
crazy.
even matter. So it's like, God, I'm
They could
losing.
Are
use
y'all
an edge
trading that
rusher.
pick? I say y'all and I look at Joel.
know, it's
That's
like-
so
It's
crazy.
really disrespectful.
Will Anderson.
I ain't even mad at you. 'cause
Will
my
Anderson,
guy.
they're going to get top.
I don't
three
give a
for
fuck
that.
who we get. It don't matter. We
Yeah.
getting whoever. Y'all know the draft more than me. I
Yeah.
don't-
It's a very
What's
big,
that guy?
like-
Marvin Harris Jr.
he's 2024.
He's a problem.
Yeah, no, he is.
Whatever. Okay.
But that this draft class is much more like trenches focused. A lot of good pass rushers, interior defensive linemen, offensive
That's what they
linemen.
need.
Yeah, I mean, you got a couple of tackles who are getting older who've been banged
Apparently,
up,
Serge said you cursed us.
Who?
Joel.
Curse too.
Us, the Eagles. He said the same thing about the Packers. No way they shouldn't make the Super Bowl, and they didn't make the Super Bowl.
I'm really surprised at that statement. I don't think I've ever said the Packers should win everything.
In the
Last
playoffs,
year,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't remember.
And for me to be that emphatic about
Serge
the Packers,
he's a historian. I don't know.
He literally is a
He
historian.
watched every
I don't think
episode.
I don't think I
Watched
should.
every
He can
second
find
of
it,
every
too.
episode.
I may have picked them to go,
Yeah, no.
That's what he's
you
saying.
said- Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
but I may have picked them to go,
He
but
said
I didn't say
That's
there's
different
no
than
way
saying
they
there's- yeah, I
shouldn't.
feel
No,
like
he
it's-
said-
He said they shouldn't make the Super Bowl.
He said you would be shocked if they didn't make the Super Bowl.
Because you had the Bills.
Yeah, let's be honest.
If
That's
he- if
something
he
you would
sa-
say.
it sounds
That sounds
maybe
like
not the
something you
Packers,
would
but
say.
every-
if, he
everything sounds
sends,
like-
if he sends a clip, I'll admit I'm wrong,
But
but
I'm
I
telling
You know
I
he'll
know
find
you
it.
did.
Serge
Yeah,
will
I picked
find
the
it.
Packers, yeah, but
I know.
Serge,
I know
you
said
got
that.
your mission, Serge. Find the clip.
Yeah. And
with the Rams, no.
there were no way.
No way.
And I think, Riv, what you're saying, there's no reason to think that Jalen Hurts shouldn't play this way, right? He's basically every narrative that's been out there, whether it's the run game isn't going, coming from behind,
Whatever's going, he makes it work.
defenses, whatever it is, it makes it work because this offense is just so difficult to stop. This RPO style, this read option style where you could have Jalen Hurts keep the ball, you could have the running back keep the ball, you could, do a rollout and hit Goddard or AJ Brown over the top, or you could just drop back, throw for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns. You have the ability to either at any point in the game, unless there's some bad weather conditions that's going to stop you from doing that. And playing in Philly is tough, and also playing that Philly weather is tough, where I know Jalen Hurts and them boys are used to it. They've done it for 2 seasons now. AJ Brown's played. Tennessee's not exactly the coldest spot, but I know he's able to do that in the playoffs. He's gone on the road
He played in
before.
Philly, baby.
Yeah, for sure.
They get icy out
They
there.
went on the road Baltimore. We know that's all ready to do.
I
Or,
hope
they could do it.
you didn't curse the Eagles, Dehls.
Why would I curse the
You like a
Eagles?
lot of loser quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson. You
Unanimous
like the
MVP.
Jets.
Didn't he have the Rams winning though?
I did have the Rams winning, yes.
You like
We
the
got some
Jets.
positivity going on.
But right now,
I'm a winner, man. Mahomes, Brady,
Burrow.
Burrow.
The only concern really I have for Philly is you're probably gonna get the bye. Being off for a week when
It's
you're
tough.
this hot, when you have everything going for you, you could come out flat in a game. Especially
That's what the leadership comes from Jalen Hurts.
for
So
sure,
have the boys ready.
for sure. And I think this is Cowboys topic, so I want to talk about the Cowboys. We sometimes forget in a long regular season what happens in the playoffs and what happens with Mike McCarthy and his years of negligence in terms of clock management and play and call. I know he's not calling plays, but just
was that on
overall,
McCarthy that last year?
I'm gonna be honest.
Probably
It ain't
not.
even about Mike McCarthy. What the Cowboys' downfall will ultimately be is Dak Prescott.
What are you doing?
That's
Bro came
simple
here and
as
stole
that.
my show. I listen, Dak. Would you
gonna
rather
say
have
the
Dak
same
or Jalen
shit?
Hurts?
I think Jalen Hurts is playing better.
I'd rather
I
have
think
the
Dak Prescott
idea of Hurts.
is a great quarterback, but we can't ignore that he's a 500 quarterback against teams that are playoff teams. In fact, I think he's below 500, and really, he doesn't have a true signature moment. There's not something that tells me that in the playoffs, when it's money
rookie
time,
year?
Dak Prescott is going
His
to
rookie
perform
season?
in those lights. And when we talk about the Eagles and Cowboys,
Are we gonna ignore it? What I
it
just said.
was
Weren't they
great,
run heavy
but
first,
that was
though?
years and
2017.
years ago.
But that was his first
That,
appearance.
but that offense has totally transformed from being a run-heavy offense
Zeke was
to now
amazing.
relying on Dak
It was
Prescott.
amazing, but Dak was the best player that day
No, they
outside
were
of Aaron
run-
Rodgers.
Oh, you talking about that? They were run heavy that year, though.
But even,
But
I'm
we've
not
seen-
disagreeing.
Talking about the
But
playoffs.
Dak
We've
was the rookie of the year. If you didn't know
We've
that.
seen seasons where Dak Prescott had his squad and Carson Wentz with the banged-up Eagles receiving core
4K.
was winning the division. Dak Prescott,
That was embarrassing.
I think
for
he
him.
is a great quarterback. There's no doubt. But if it's the Eagles and Cowboys and it's a quarterback duel, Dak does not have the advantage over Hurts. It's even. It's it.
Okay,
it's
that's fair.
even.
Okay.
And when it's even, and you look at what the Eagles have on the roster, it's more than what Dak has. And Dak is not good enough to elevate that and win those
That's
games.
where you lose me. That's where you lose me because you
I'm
said a
more
lot of
McCarthy
facts.
than Dak.
You said a lot of
I'm more
facts. Go ahead. You were
McCarthy.
talking, bro. Go ahead.
I don't even know where it's going. My biggest issue though was Mike McCarthy in the playoffs in these high leverage situations where things just got to go right for you. Where you have there's very small margin of error, right? When you have two playoff teams, obviously two teams that think they go to the Super Bowl. It's different when you're doing that than when you're playing the Commanders. And no disrespect to the Giants, when you're playing the Giants, guys
this
who
week.
are average teams to below average at times.
The Colts
who
are a
need-
good defense
Who
and
need
we're gonna
everything
back
to
them
go.
up.
Who need
We're gonna
everything
beat
to
the
go
shit
right
out
to
of the
win.
Giants.
When you have an Eagles team who can make mistakes and still win games offensively or defensively, just because of how both sides of the ball are, and Nick Sirianni, who is likely to win Coach of the Year at 11-1 record, I mean, this is a team that doesn't make mistakes. Offensively, Jalen Hurts, we said 3 interceptions on the year, only a handful of fumbles. Most of their turnovers these last few weeks have been by the skill position players. It hasn't even been by the quarterback, right? So when I'm putting McCarthy in these situations going up against elite teams, I don't know if I'm calling Sirianni elite coach yet, but I mean, he's on pace to if they go to the Super Bowl. Elite teams, elite quarterback play, elite offensive lines, like that's where you're really going to be splitting hairs and separating. And I think that's where Dallas has the biggest disadvantage. I think Dak's a really good quarterback. I think he can elevate guys around him. But right now, I don't know if this roster is ready to go to a Super Bowl when you don't really have a wide receiver too. Odell doesn't look like a sure thing to, even if he does get signed, to be able to play. Your best running back, Tony Pollard's a stud, but you know Zeke's always going to get his touches, which he's great around the goal line, but you should want Pollard to be taking 70 to 80% of the touches. I don't think that's going to be the case. And we mentioned their deficiencies defensively. So the Cowboys in a weak NFC, I think, are a tier 2 team. But right now, this, just to relate to the Niners, everything puts the Jimmy G injury puts the most pressure on the Eagles, because right now their biggest competition was the 49ers with the Cowboys as a third option. But right now it's just the Cowboys and it's the Eagles. And I think the difference between the Cowboys playing, between the Eagles playing the Cowboys and the Eagles playing the 49ers with Jimmy G is a big difference.
I do. And I
That was a
think
great
that
monologue.
I do think that if the
assertiveness in your
Niners
voice.
had
God
never,
Very handsome.
I think if Jimmy Garoppolo never
I think
gets
it's a shirt,
injured,
bro.
I might have the Niners coming out the
different time
NFC.
now.
I got the Eagles shirt on. I got to come
Good
right.
fellas,
You
D.
know what I mean?
I'm gonna rob you.
I think had Jimmy
XL?
G not gotten hurt
What's
for
you,
the
a medium?
Niners,
XL.
Oh fuck.
I'm a medium. bro. I'm
Medium.
fucking
That was
6'5".
disrespectful.
No,
bro.
my fault, bro. I'll be forgetting you 6'5", bro.
Not everyone got a size 28 waist, bro. Not everyone's snatched like you.
Everybody is snatched like you.
had Jimmy G never gotten
Bro's
injured,
just trying to get his statement up. He's like, yo, shut the fuck up.
had Jimmy G not gotten injured, I would have put a lot of stock into the Niners being favorites out the NFC.
Facts. I'm with you.
I think
In that
his
tier.
injury just changes so much.
He was
I
playing
like the Niners a
great
lot.
football.
He has
Great
been.
football.
Hey, Niners still going to the NFC Championship with Purdy.
They can beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, stamp
I
that.
believe in Purdy, bro.
Now this Sunday is going to be a great game. Sunday Night Football. Dolphins versus Chargers.
We're spoiled.
Dolphins 8-4, Chargers
This
6-6.
is must win for Chargers, right?
Both.
Last time Tua and Herbert faced was Week 10, 2020.
You know who won?
The Dolphins won.
There it is.
Herbert had 187 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tua had 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But this is the second duel.
That's a Zach
they're gonna
Wilson
go
line.
And we know, and we know that the Dolphins, they're 8-4 right now, right?
12.
I don't think they're in desperation mode just yet.
No.
The Chargers are in desperation mode. They need to win this game.
They're not, though.
So previewing this game, and then next segment's going to be NFL Pick'em.
Do we know if Armstead's playing?
It's at L.A., the Chargers.
Not yet. Still
Ooh,
not.
it's going to get nice weather.
Who do you
strong
have
chance he doesn't
winning
play
this game?
for a couple weeks. Do you want to go, River?
I think this is more for you. Go for it.
All right, no problem. All right, who do I think is going to win? Surprise, surprise. I'm going with the Dolphins. Now, let me talk about the Chargers because I'm sure people understand that. I'm just going to ride with the Dolphins regardless. That being said, about the Chargers, with Keenan Allen back, this offense is completely different. You've seen Keenan Allen and his presence since coming back. It's been felt immediately. That doesn't only just open up the entire field for Justin Herbert and these other wide receivers, but Austin Eckler as well, who has been a prominent pass catcher and had a significant role in that aspect all season long and last year as well, which is why he was one of the league leaders in touchdowns. And Austin Eckler has been awesome so far this season already, but Keenan Allen and his presence just makes the entire offense better. You see it in Herbert's play. It's just you have that safety blanket in Keenan Allen that you know that if you have a dire situation like we just saw against the Raiders on 4th down, him scrambling to his strong side, puts a perfect pass to Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen makes an unbelievable one-handed catch. Keenan Allen makes Keenan Allen-type plays. Now, why I think that the Dolphins are going to come out with this win is because, one, there's a lot of people talking crazy on them right now. And for once, it's not people on our podcast. There's a lot of people that are very happy and very excited that Tua had his first quote-unquote shitter of a game. The first time that Tua meets a little bit of adversity, people are quick to jump on it. And I'm sure that Tua and company are going to want to take those rumors and put them to the trash immediately. There is going to be a quick turnaround in the locker room, and I'm sure they just want to remove themselves from the whole Niners situation and any thought process of that. This defense from the Chargers, for whatever reason, allows a lot of points. The rush defense really isn't good. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, I'm expecting them to have a really solid game. But there is no one that can defend against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on this team. We're going to see if Jalen Waddle will be playing as well as Teron Armstead, because as good as Nick Bosa is definitely the elite of the elite. Joey Bosa is a great pass rusher by himself. Khalil Mack is a great pass rusher by himself as well. This is a solid defensive line unit as well. You can't sleep on that. If Teron Armstead's not going to be playing, that's something to look out for. But with that in mind, I'm sure we're going to see some quick plays set up for Tyreek Hill, for Trent Sherfield, and even still, what happened?
That guy
Said something crazy?
That was just like a me and him thing.
Okay.
What, are you
Whatever.
mad? You have a
Yes, I
different type of
am. I'm
relationship.
left out. I'm sad.
I just
I'm sorry.
said
I'm
they were-
jealous.
They were talking about Jalen Brown being better than Paul George. I said JB. I said I do fear JB clears PJ.
Yeah, it's like a little
Ball no.
dick rider.
All NBA.
Jesus. But on the flip side, Miami's defense really has been very lenient in what they give up to the opposing offenses. Justin Herbert has been playing very well lately, and Keenan Allen is going to have his way with them. Josh Palmer has not been a slouch by any means. Also, Gerald Everett has been very serviceable at the tight end position. This is going to be a shootout, I expect fully, especially on Sunday night. These are two quarterbacks that have to prove themselves. Tua, who has now put himself in that conversation with these guys. Whether you believe that he's better than them or not is a different conversation as a whole. But at the minimum, Tua has put himself in the conversation with the guy who was selected after him, and a lot of guys who feel like that's a mistake. It's time for him to silence that noise and put up a dominating performance.
Serge, sorry, real quick. Serge said he found the clip and put it on Twitter.
Please look at it.
What's it went? There we go.
Play it very loud.
Is it copyrights?
This is our clip.
I'm just kidding.
Didn't make it out of the. I would be shocked if the Packers didn't make it out of the NFC and have a trip to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. When was that? Was it right before the playoffs?
This was. I remember this episode.
Probably
This was in like
playoff-
January.
It was like our playoff predictions.
yeah.
Nah, I made
Serge,
it worse.
he did that shit in like 15 minutes.
Now he was on it quick. He knew right away. This game, I think, is really going to show you the differences between the Chargers offense and the Dolphins offense. We talked about it before. I don't want to see, if Brandon Staley gets fired, them hiring another defensive coordinator. You're going to see the Dolphins offense have guys be open. You're going to see Tua making throws down the field and make it look easy. While on the other side, Justin Herbert's going to make some fantastic throws, and you're going to be like, well, this guy has all the arm talent. He's the one that's able to make all of these tight window throws at any angle and out of the pocket and whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you're going to look at the scoreboard, and the Dolphins are going to be winning this game. That's because of the better coach team. They're the team that has more explosive players on offense. And frankly, right now, Brandon Staley and his coaching staff and a bit of a lack of speed on offense is holding back Justin Herbert and this offense. I do expect Miami, after I wouldn't say they got embarrassed, but disappointing week when they had their first real test of the season, this later into the season, I should say, second half of the year. Now they're going into the Chargers. They have a tough stretch. They have the Niners, Chargers, and I believe the Bills coming up right after that. So these 3 games against all teams that are looking to make the playoffs, obviously, 2 of the 3 are going to make it. Chargers on the outside looking in right now. They have to make a statement win, because last week against the 49ers, they came up short. Now they have another opportunity on prime time, the whole world watching, all of the noise you heard. Well, it's the first time they play a tough defense and they fold. You have Waddle going down to injury. The good news is Armstead did practice last Friday. He was a limited participant, but the fact that he practiced at all last week, I think, is a pretty positive sign. So he could play. Obviously, you're going up against Khalil Mack and Bosa. That's going to be a formidable pass rush any given week. So having your starting tackle out there is going to be very important. But I do think the biggest takeaway you're going to have from this game is looking at these 2 offenses, these 2 quarterbacks. One quarterback who has all the arm talent and all of the hype surrounding him, and you have another quarterback who is more cerebral, more accurate, and you're going to see one offense have guys wide open, be schemed open perfectly, and see that quarterback hit it. And you're going to see Justin Herbert make a lot of throws, but it's just going to be hard. It's just going to be difficult. It's just
What are you talking about?
No, what he's saying is
it's
facts.
true. You
What he's
have
saying is
Herbert, who might be
facts.
the more talented
Who's
guy.
the better quarterback?
Justin Herbert.
Do you know why he's
The
saying
way
it's-
you're talking.
But do you
makes
know
me
why?
think that
I'm
you
very
think-
confused.
I
Listen,
don't
what
think I'm
he's
making
saying-
it more clear.
It's
No,
crazy.
I was actually confused.
No, what he's saying is perfectly sound. What he's saying is Herbert has the ability to make these plays, but it's difficult because he does not have the scheme that the Dolphins have.
When's the last
He does
time?
not
I
have
don't
the
remember the last time I
weapons
saw a
that the
wide
Dolphins
open
have.
touchdown for Justin Herbert.
No.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Don't remember.
Josh Palmer, the long bomb touchdown, but that was like on the first drive of the game. They probably schemed that for days in advance.
You guys are characters. In terms of Tua versus Herbert, there is no debate. There is no conversation. Herbert's clearly the better quarterback.
No conversation.
Tua is just playing at a great elite level right now.
This
So
is a
you
guy
have to-
that supposedly supports the Dolphins.
He did say that.
I do like you guys'
He
jerseys.
said Fit Fam. He did the whole.
Yeah, shit. But Herbert is clearly the better quarterback, and
Clearly.
we've talked about this all year. Herbert, they call him the social media quarterback. He gets all the excuses
lost me. He
in
lost
the
me with
world.
that. The
But
dumbest
I
thing
think
ever.
this game is a circle in the map, because I think this game, like we said, the Chargers basically have to win out. This game really is the time where Herbert needs to show, all right, I know the situation is not the best for me. I know that my back is against the wall. I have to put my backpack on and I have to carry this team to a win. And I think this is going to be the performance that Herbert really puts people, like he that social media quarterback shit, he's really going to put to bed during this one. I think he's going to have a amazing monster performance. Justin Herbert. I think he's going to put on an absolute show, because he has to. They need to get in the playoffs. He has to get in the playoffs, for God's sake, so people can just stop disrespecting him. And I think he has a monster-like performance. But in terms of Tua versus Herbert, Tua's not in that conversation yet, and it's okay.
What do you mean he's not?
He's not in that conversation yet. Herbert is in the conversation with Allen, Mahomes, Burrow. Like, he's in that conversation. Lamar. Tua's not there yet, and it's okay. Tua's first 2 years wasn't great. Situation wasn't great. He wasn't that good yet. Now, just like Hurts, they have walked into a situation where they're playing much better. They will get there in time. I think Tua will eventually
Who's playing better?
be what? Huh?
Who's playing better?
Who's playing better? What?
Who's playing better football, Tua or Herbert?
Tua.
Okay, thank you.
That doesn't mean you're necessarily better.
I don't know. Listen, I'm just saying it's not a conversation, but
No,
one's
it's not
playing
a
better.
conversation. I mean, okay.
So it's a conversation.
Given the situation, I think Herbert's playing better.
I don't think it's a conversation. You know it's not a conversation, though. You just want to have the conversation.
No, I listen. I
But if you-
say
I
it.
think Herbert has had to overcome more than Tua and is still playing at a
I
great
disagree
level.
with that statement.
This season, it's absolutely true.
Prior to this season, it wasn't even a thought that Tua was going to do anything. Well, a lot of people believe that Tua was not capable of this.
They both have 3 years in. It's not even close to who's better.
No, listen, I've said it multiple times. Herbert is better.
So what's the
But
conversation?
there is a conversation.
But it's a mute conversation because you know who's better. So what's the point of having the
Because
conversation?
Tua now has definitely put himself with that company because of how well he's played so far.
So he's already
and he
top
doesn't
6, top
lose
7?
also. That's another huge aspect of things. He's putting up the numbers and he doesn't lose. It's a great combination.
He does lose though.
This is his first loss this season.
Oh, you talk about this season? I mean, why do we wash away the fact that he choked last year to get them in the playoffs?
He did. But
That matters.
He's one of him and Jalen Hurts are the only two of this. Well, now Joe Burrow, but he has the best record out of the quarterbacks that he was drafted with.
He also hasn't made the playoffs, just like Herbert.
Yeah, he was a game away last year. As
Yeah,
we
he
said.
choked. He choked 2 games
He choked.
to make the playoffs.
He choked.
His rookie season, he was
I'm not
thrown
going to
into
count his
that.
rookie season. I'm not going to count his rookie season.
No, I'm not going to say you're wrong. Against Tennessee, it was
He
a bad
choked.
performance, but he was raining. It was raining,
I mean, you think Herbert chokes
and
in
he
the
also
rain?
had a listen. The Titans were just a better team. Also,
Blaming the weather is crazy.
The Titans were a better team
You picked them to win, though.
because I was happy and hopeful.
Now, Riv, I'm going to tell you something right now, man to man.
Broski?
The other day, I think it was yesterday on Twitter, I replied back to you, respect me as a man.
Yo,
Did?
that had me crying. That was today.
Did you
Had me rolling.
reply to me that?
Yeah, I liked it.
What did I say?
Or no, that was.
I don't think it was to you,
No,
actually.
you
was
said it to
somebody
someone else.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
hilarious.
But, Riv, I feel like when you're on the show, there's a mutual respect. We respect each other as men.
Okay.
And
Where are you going with this?
being on the football show last year, the entire year, you not being present for the majority of it, having Dehls and Drew here,
Double teamed you?
you know, I love you guys.
I think somebody just
But-
called me 14 in the comments.
But I'm going to be honest. There were a lot of days that you pinned me against the wall and double teamed me.
Hey, yo, come on, bro. Pinned
When
against the wall
we
is so fucking crazy.
argued Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson, you guys did not give me the benefit of the doubt for saying Joe Burrow was better at that time.
I did say it. I
Pin
did.
me
I
against
said,
the
Drew was
wall.
probably on your side.
I don't remember the times when Drew's on my side, to be honest. I don't.
How
It's
convenient.
few and far between.
Hey, this whole episode, it's kind
We've
of
been on the
and you.
sides.
Yo, we've been.
on the side, similar sides.
I've taken the Joel role at this episode.
But I know
You
that
have indeed.
I know that
Seven saying
with
dumb
you
shit.
guys, it's something about y'all, and it's because you guys have been friends for a long time. That when you agree on something, you're very fixated on that, and you love to just sandwich
Make
it.
out? Okay.
We go Trunks and Goten.
But Riv here is unbiased. He's one of the most unbiased people I've met
I'm
personally.
biased.
In football, I am indeed unbiased.
I'm biased.
So when Riv's here,
Football.
Yeah.
So when Riv's
Basketball.
here,
I'm biased.
yes,
I'm biased.
A little bit.
Yes.
Just a little bit. You are a little bit.
Me, Riv?
How?
To a degree.
Bro.
I mean, everybody's technically biased.
Me
to their players.
biased?
You are
No
to a degree.
way.
So when
I
Riv,
admit when I'm wrong.
so when Riv is here, and he knows I'm spitting facts, he lets you guys know about it. But Riv, what you just did was speak facts, and I'm gonna let you know about it. The Chargers are winning. They're in desperation mode. Mike Williams, hopefully he plays in this game because that's gonna be huge. Corey Linsley might be back. And are we forgetting? Joey Bosa's not gonna play, but they got Khalil Mack.
They do.
They got Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack's one of the better players in the league, still one of the top edge rushers in the NFL. He can get after Tua. The Chargers secondary, not top 10, the middle of the pack. The run defense is horrible, but they're a middle of the pack pass defense. Last time we seen Tua against that, the Steelers, he didn't look that good. If there's one thing about Staley is that he can coach pass coverage. That's what he can do. The run defense has been awful, but pass coverage, Chargers do pretty well in that. Ultimately,
I'm crying.
What the hell is this?
ultimately, you look at the Chargers.
Yo, they're thirsty to go for us in the comment section.
Ultimately, Justin Herbert needs a win versus the Dolphins.
Cut you off real quick. Junior Rudy, shout out to you.
Shout out to Junior Rudy.
$2.
Justin
Zach Wilson
Herbert
for less.
needs to get into the playoffs.
Facts.
And I feel like this game, people are just blindly taking the Dolphins and saying, you know what, I'm taking them. One thing about the Chargers is that they're inconsistent. They'll lose to the Raiders this past week, but they'll go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs and make that a game. They'll compete with the top teams that lose to mediocre teams. I think they're going to put on a great performance. I think Justin Herbert's going to show out, and they're going to win this game. And the Chargers, they got to win out to make the playoffs, and I think they know that. This is desperation for them.
It is. I'm trying to figure out who I should root for as a Jets fan. I don't know if I should root for the Chargers, so maybe the Dolphins slip, or the Dolphins, so then the Chargers can't get the last wild card spot. I'm kind of torn. I don't know.
This conversation's ridiculous.
Oh, they're wilding.
I'm sorry.
By the way, Joel, the man tweet was, you said, I don't care what the Buccaneers record will be going in the playoffs. Tom Brady can beat anyone. And then just him replied, you literally said the last pod, Bucks are done. You said, please respect me as a man. Yo, that shit was funny. But I know you seemed a little bit confused about my monologue. What I was trying to say is, I think the Dolphins' offense makes things very easy for Tua. Well, the Chargers, it's quite literally what I said.
You said that Justin Herbert's going to have the flashy plays, but Tua's going to be more cerebral, and he's going to really have the production.
No, what I meant by that was I said Justin Herbert has the arm talent and makes the flashy plays, while Tua is more accurate and cerebral. I think that's fair to say.
Well, it's cool, because, Riv, we on his side right now.
It's going to be a good game.
Y'all on that side.
It's going to be a good game. I'm
going
not
with
letting
the Chargers,
When do we miss? When do we miss?
Hasn't been often.
Oh, you
just missed.
You just
You
missed.
picked the Dolphins over the Niners.
You just missed together. Actually, both you idiots just missed last summer.
I wasn't on the basketball show.
NBA Finals.
Wasn't
You
the
both
basketball
missed.
Well, how about football? When we
You
pick
won that one.
the Rams. Hold on. There's only one way to do this.
What the fuck?
Ramley.
Ramley.
Never forget.
and you abandoned them this year.
You
They
indeed
suck.
did.
What am I supposed to do? Fucking
Ball
root for a
knowers know when to
3-9
jump
you
off
had,
the
you
ship.
had Stafford over Burrow.
I did.
Don't forget that.
He just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, because he was carried.
Did you not have Stafford in your top 10?
Yeah, but not over Burrow. No way, no how. You're crazy.
You guys are gonna look foolish when Herbert throws like 350 with 4 touchdowns.
On to the last segment of the podcast, NFL Pick'em Week 14. First game up, Raiders at Rams.
Bro, I'm going with the Raiders. They've been playing decent recently, honestly. Man, this comment section has been amazing.
Give me
They've been on
the
some
Raiders.
They're begging for me to do dolphin noises. I'm crying, bro.
I'm taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders.
What if Baker plays?
He doesn't know the offense. It's too soon.
They said there's a shot, which
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Vikings at Lions.
Lions, baby.
Give me Minnesota. Skull
We're
Nation.
roaring.
Going with the Vikings.
Skull Nation.
I'm going with the Lions too. Last game, the first matchup, it was very close, and the Lions defense has gotten way better. I'm going with Detroit, man. This team, I have a good feeling about this team, man. I really do. Ravens at Steelers.
If
Lamar's not
Lamar
playing?
doesn't play,
Lamar's highly
This is
unlikely
gonna be
he
the
plays.
worst game ever. I'll take the Steelers.
I think I'm also going Steelers.
Oh, God, I think I take the Steelers
I
too.
actually hate
I'm going with the
picking them.
Steelers as well.
Oh,
Kenny
there's
Pickett's
no-
okay.
there's no
I
way
changed my
they
pick.
win,
I'm going to
actually.
Ravens.
Okay, there's a chance the Ravens win now.
Ravens could win. Their defense has been much
I
better.
just can't have the same answers.
They just offensively are a
Yeah,
mess.
they had Tyler Huntley starting
I
now.
said they'd like to hear you roar.
I do have the Steelers in this game though. Browns at Bengals.
I'm going with the Bengals.
Going
the
back.
One second game.
I don't think that
Moves you?
I don't think that the Browns gets. I don't think the Browns sweep the season series with the Bengals.
I take
think the Bengals
Cleveland
take-
upset.
Taking the Bengals. It's your boys.
He's my
Much like the
boys.
Bengals last game, they were in
like to be a
desperation mode.
Cleveland
I think the
fan.
Bengals understand this game. They can take the division lead. And because of that, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yo.
Somebody said I can't get the
that's
beautiful
nuts, that's
picture of
nuts.
Joel being double teamed against a wall out my mind. Hey, yo. No, you also saying that was nuts. Like, pin me to a wall and both of you double team me.
Bro, the beautiful image has me crying. I'm actually crying.
Next game, Jets at
Joel,
Bills.
you can't just cut off a good moment like that, bro.
Hey, yo, that wasn't a good moment.
It was hilarious.
Drew was fucking daydreaming.
What's the game? I'm sorry. I'm locked in.
Jets at Bills.
Ugh, I'm going with the Bills.
Bills,
Holy
comfortably.
shit.
I'm going with the Jets. They're sweeping.
You're an idiot.
You know, it's funny.
Put money on it. How much?
Yeah, put money.
How much?
That's double or nothing. Me and you.
What double or nothing?
The Jet is bet.
No,
Facts.
but we never came up with a
Well,
bet.
now double or nothing.
Oh, what are we double or nothing? I mean,
I told you make
no,
up
no.
something.
I know I do. I'm not betting on it, but
How about whoever? Let's do this.
okay.
Let's make a different bet. Whoever loses this bet on Friday has to. No, I'm trying to think. Something with
Listen,
liquor.
Riv, there's only one Jet quarterback that can beat the Buffalo Bills.
Oh my
That's
God.
Zach Wilson. Mike White ain't gonna beat them. He ain't gonna beat them. And I want to hear no. You know what? Let's bet this, Riv. If Mike White doesn't beat the Bills, you got to come on the show and apologize to Zach Wilson.
No, I'm not sold.
You got to say, sorry,
picking my
Zach,
squad.
you beat the Bills and Mike White couldn't. I respect you now.
Not taking that bet.
Despicable.
We're not for
I'm going with
underdogs.
the Buffalo Bills. Respectfully.
I'm
No,
not-
disrespectfully.
thank God.
And I'm
Because
going to
if you were on
Buffalo
the Jets, there's
Bills.
no way we'd
I'm
win.
going with the Buffalo Bills in a landslide. They're going to show Mike White who's who.
By scoring,
They're gonna
points on
own the division.
Offense when Mike White doesn't play.
They're going to
defense.
own the division. They're going to own Mike White.
Doubt it.
We're going to come on this show
and
and talk about Mike White being, what, 1-2? Get out of here.
1-2. Oh,
Get
no.
that fraud out of here. I want Zach back. That's who I want back being my quarterback.
Someone said if the Jets win, Joel needs to give us the nectar. What the hell does that even mean?
Next game, Texans at Cowboys.
What are they on?
Cowboys.
Cowboys
Easily.
for sure.
Cowboys.
I'm going with the
Cowboys for sure.
Cowboys.
Comfortably.
Eagles at Giants.
Eagles. They are banged up, and
Taking
we're gonna
Philly.
beat the shit
The
out of them.
Giants
Eagles.
might flip. Oh, might get out of that playoff run. Oh no.
It's crazy, man.
The mighty have fallen.
Well, I knew they were going to fall off.
Cracking
did
the
call
fuck
it.
up
You
at
did
Going
call
with
it.
the
Thank you for
Eagles.
that.
I'm going with the Eagles.
Next game, Jaguars. I'm going with the Eagles, by the way. Jaguars at Titans.
Oh
Titans.
my god.
Nah, he cooked you. He
my
cooked you. He
God.
cooked you. He cooked you.
This is
We're
ridiculous.
talking about
Titans.
the Italian sculpture.
No.
Oh.
No. Trust me, no.
Titans.
I'll take the Titans.
Oh, hello. Titans and who?
Jaguars.
I'm going with the Titans.
Titans.
Yo, Joel, loosen up. Have a little
take
fun.
Titans.
It's a live show.
We're 3 hours and 30 minutes into the
Exactly.
show.
I'm here sweating. I'm still having a grand old time.
Jags-
Wait.
Potential upset,
We
though. I'm
3 hours
I'm
and
pulling
30 minutes
Joel.
while taking a break.
That's probably why.
That was a
That means we're like
4-minute
4.
break.
No, that means we're like 4 hours. It's like a 4.5.
Well, we started
hour
at
video.
6:30.
No, well, this is only an hour and a half. This one.
Well,
And we had the
6:30
last
technically.
one.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
So he said 3 hours now.
Nah, that'd be nuts.
I'm going with the Titans in this game. Chiefs at Broncos.
Chiefs.
Hope you guys are ready
Denver.
because the season of misery.
This is all Drew
It's
has wanted.
all worth
season.
it.
It's all he's wanted.
If we beat these damn Kansas City Chiefs, we haven't beat them in what? Is it 10, 12,
I'm
10,
gonna tell you.
10 games in a row? We are 0-8 against Patrick Mahomes. This is the one.
You're like
That
us
they're
with
0-9?
Embiid.
This is the one.
We've never beat the Bulls.
We are beating Kansas City on Sunday. Stamp it.
The Chiefs are winning comfortably.
Very comfortable.
The real question is, do they score more than 13 points? The Broncos.
I don't think
so. I don't think so.
I might take the under.
Panthers at Seahawks.
Seahawks comfortably.
Going with
Seattle.
Seattle as
I'm
well.
going with Seattle. Buccaneers at Niners.
I'm going.
Shit.
This is going to be a good game, man.
I'm going with the
Purdy's
Bucks.
test. Give me Purdy.
I'm going with the Bucks.
Give me Purdy.
I'm taking the Niners. The Bucks really have not been dominant at any point in the season.
You're gonna regret
Somebody
that.
said Chiefs win
You're
40
You're like
3.
you love doubting great quarterbacks.
I don't think so.
Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. You're doubting
I don't
him.
doubt him. I just don't like him. He's a Patriot for 20 years.
All right, but you like the Jets.
There's too much
And, the,
pressure.
and
I
Tom
think.
Brady owns
Because
them.
I'm loyal.
And Tom Brady owns
I'm
them.
a loyal man.
My favorite QB owns them.
I'm a loyal
Stop
man.
playing. Dolphins at Chargers.
Well, I didn't pick mine. I'm going with the Bucks.
Me too.
I'm also picking the Chargers because I just picked them.
I'm going with the Chargers. It's easy for me.
Dolphins.
Listen,
man.
they need this one.
They
Y'all
need
forgot how easy the Dolphins made offense look before Seattle.
I just
I mean,
don't
excuse me, before the 49ers.
They really made it look easy against the Steelers for sure.
His first game back from concussion.
Oh yeah, that was actually their first like average defense they faced since they faced the Niners.
Chargers a lockup?
The Chargers definitely have an average pass defense.
We'll see. It's gonna be a nice game.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys know where I'm
Hope it's
going.
not chilly.
They're in a dome.
Oh, perfect for Tua.
Monday
Have a
Night
day.
Football. Patriots at Cardinals.
This is so gross.
Patriots.
Actually, I guess it's not the
Patriots.
worst game.
Patriots have been playing very well defensively.
I'm going with the Patriots as well.
I'll
Probably
go with the
shut
Cardinals.
down Arizona.
And Drew, the comments are asking.
Yeah, they wanted the
You to
Dolphins
do the
noise.
dolphin
I'm
noises?
sorry. I got two in my head with it, man. The streets wanted it too bad. I got nervous. I can't do it when
So
I'm
you can't
called
do it
out.
anymore.
I could do it, but Too much
Respect that man.
Too much
Shoulder.
pressure. Too much pressure
I
now.
spit facts.
So that's gonna do it for this episode of Pick a Side Podcast.
Appreciate y'all showing out,
235.
man. We had like 400 people in here.
Yeah, shout out to you guys.
Bunch of donations.
For the record, we
had
are going live every single episode from now
Right
on.
back.
So Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. The basketball episode is always Friday or Saturday. It's gonna be around the same time. We'll
Can't be
update
this
you
Friday.
guys. Yeah, you're right. Because it's Dell's birthday, so happy birthday to Joe Dell's. Put
Drop
that
it in the
comments
comment
down below.
section.
Happy
Let it go in
born
crazy. December
big
9th. Wish my bro a happy
Dehls.
born. A go was born December 9th.
Big
Come on.
2-5,
Dehls,
2-5.
man. I can't wait for that. Friday.
Gonna be lit.
We're going to be drunk together.
But yeah, we're gonna be going live every single episode, so make sure you guys tune in and make sure you guys deposit $10 into Boom Fantasy. That's our main sponsor for the podcast. We really appreciate them. You can get a risk-free entry up to $100 when you sign up, and you can also get entered into an NBA League Pass giveaway from us. So thank you guys for watching. You can follow us on Twitter at Pick a
Man,
Side
old
Pod,
man feels, bro.
Instagram and
like they know the
TikTok
real
at
you.
Pick a Side
Means
Podcast.
you halfway to 30, bro.
I was talking. I think I might have been talking with Chelsea. Am I in my late 20s or I'm in my mid? At what point are
Mid.
you in your late 20s?
27.
20. So I only get 2 years.
Yes.
And then I'm in my late 20s.
Yes. Well, you're in your mids at the moment. 24, 25, 26 mid. I would say 27, 28, 29 is your late. He's there, and you older than me. Tough.
I am.
Somebody
I'm
asked me to
24.
show my
I'll be
third
25
leg.
next year.
When?
April.
Well, I'm fucking 4 months older than you.
You were born in
They
97.
want me to.
I was
They
indeed
want me
born
to
in
give
98.
Joel
I know,
the pick a side.
Doesn't matter.
Well, there's
Man,
that.
so thank you guys for showing out. Before we get off the stream, make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's get to 300 likes. We got 284 watching. At least we got to match that number right now. Shout out to you guys for watching and supporting us for real. The turnout was amazing. First live
You
episode.
said you want
In
noises
a
for your
while.
birthday? What type of noises?
What?
Dolphin noises.
Ain't no
I said
noises?
Jets W for the born. That's all I want.
Thought you meant other noises.
You didn't take that into account in your analysis.
What are you talking about?
My birthday weekend, the Jets got to win.
It's a Jets thing to do ruin your birthday.
Damn.
Fuck. No, not this year. They're different.
I hope
Different
so for
culture.
your sake, bro.
What's that, the 9th?
I'm gonna be a Jets fan with you
Friday?
again.
Yeah, yeah.
You and my
You know what,
grandma,
bro?
same birthday.
I
Yo,
think
for your birthday, I'm gonna be a Jets fan for you this weekend.
I don't want that.
Invite me over to watch the game. I'm gonna be cheering.
Shops.
I'm gonna be dapping you up.
After the disrespect you showed me last Sunday, it's not happening.
Listen, man.
Cade Moldren, we love you.
Listen, man. You disrespected Zach Wilson. You disrespected Zach
This
Wilson.
is mid as fuck.
You didn't give
Damn.
him a chance.
I actually did.
No, you didn't.
I gave him a year and a
You
half.
didn't give him a chance. That's not enough time, bro. It takes a while to learn the quarterback position in the NFL. Come on, what are you talking about? That's my gripe with you.
Jalen Hurts did it in a year.
I guess so. He's in a picture perfect position. Nick Sirianni, offensive mind.
This is every week. I can't wait to
Let's
see
end the show before it's another 40
So
minute
that's gonna
debate.
do it for this episode of Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.